What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to yet another edition of Just Another Friday Night.
On Friday.
On Friday night.
It feels like it's been off for a while.
I know, right? It's like we're running around, we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck. In case you don't know, you've never been here before, welcome. If you have been here plenty of times before, then you're like, there's no need to introduce yourself. Dumbass. So I go by CM. Across me, the man who helped me start all this about 2 years ago now.
It's been over 2 years.
It's been over 2 years, yeah. Double A Adamantium Adam.
Hey, everybody, what's going on?
And the lady in the middle, returning for her, fourth, fifth time?
I don't know.
Probably the distinction, it used to be the distinction of the only multi-time, solitary co-host. Yeah, like a fill-in, she's like the Ed McMahon to Double A's Johnny Carson. So I don't know if that makes me the guy that's like, come on down.
Well, I would say she's like either Jay Leno or David Letterman.
That's right. Who was Johnny Carson for Carson? Yeah. Right, exactly. There you go.
Well,
there you go.
My favorite.
Kara's in the house. She says, "Love that shirt, Charlie. Thanks so much, Kara. I believe this was a gift from you to Amy. I will not deny I'm wearing a girl shirt tonight. I believe.
I don't think it's a girl shirt.
It fits a little snug in the upper part. So.
Well, you're a little
buff,
robust.
But I do love this shirt, though. I wish I had one.
That's a cool shirt.
Facebook user says, "Cheers, guys."
Steve
in the house. Steve, we appreciate you watching via the group. So, Steve, here's to you, buddy. Having some cold Victoria. And, new nails.
Oh, yeah.
There she goes. The Easter nails are going. There we go. Cheers, Steve. Here's to you, buddy.
Somebody said, "Love my shirt."
Love your shirt, AA. Very nice.
I don't know who that is. So thank you,
Jerry D. Maybe.
Thank you. And it's for a reason. I am wearing this shirt. I do like Prince, but there is a specific reason.
Holty says, "What up, fam? What up,
John?
Holty Bear?" Let me try to do it. Adam doesn't get in the comments real quick if I can not listen to ourselves. And no, I can't see all those. So
yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Roxanne.
Yeah.
Hey, Roxanne.
I was gonna say because I know she's a Prince fan.
If you guys are watching us via the Facebook group, we apologize. Your name just comes in as Facebook user. Put your nickname at the end, --rocks whoever. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's only when you're watching through the group.
Yeah.
Now that we're trying to broadcast live over 3 different formats, you can watch via our page, via YouTube.
Which Jack watches there.
Yeah, well, we will, and so does our good friend Big Ken over at Maybe I'm Tripping. But yeah, if you're watching, like we came up through the Facebook group, the Friday Night Faithful, it does not show your name when you're commenting for some reason. So apologies. Technology, guys, I can't do anything about it. But what is up with you two guys? Double A, how was your week? How was work?
It was okay.
It was okay. There you go. There's that. How about you, sis? Nick's on the work talk. Okay. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
We're not here to talk about work. We're here to talk about all things pop culture.
I had a good week.
All right.
How was your work?
Yeah, it was good.
All right.
Good. I hopefully made some new fans, new connections for us, and I'm trying to get the word out there. So,
which we did pick up a few.
Yeah, we did pick up a few. Yeah, did you guys? We want to apologize right now for the audio on last week's show. I forgot to switch to the external mic. There was a lot to set up in a new place.
I know.
Oscar put on a great show. He was very gracious. Gave us 3 beers, and just overall, he had a match for the U.S. title and lost, unfortunately. But
he won.
He won the match. But he did not win
by
the title
count-out.
by count out.
Oh, okay.
So, and we all know that the title cannot change hands by count out. But that was a lot of fun, right?
That was fun.
I would definitely go back and watch Oscar's show just to sit there and chill. Great time over at Wrestling Shop in Rolling Oaks Mall. Go out there, check out some friends. I saw Thunder Rosa did a great promo with her new belt.
I was like, damn it, couldn't she have came last Saturday? I was like, son of a bitch.
Untamable Amy, I don't know if you know this, but the AEW Women's Champion is a wrestler named Thunder Rosa, and she is not from here. She's Puerto Rican, I believe,
but she
lives here in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was co-run a school here for a while. I believe Hybrid Wrestling, I believe, is her school, and so she goes to that shop pretty often. So that's pretty cool.
That's
She did a really
I've
great
been
promo
in
for
that
them.
shop before.
Yeah.
You.
He's got some Marvel toys in there too.
Yeah,
I know. My nephew, Amy's son, has gotten some stuff out of there. Corey's in the house. Corey says, "What's going on, guys? It's Corey looking forward to Moon Knight this coming week. Definitely, we haven't had anything to watch in a while, so Moon
It's been a while
coming up. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. Everyone talking about the Batman scene. We all three saw it. Let me hear your thoughts. Amy, what did you think about the Batman scene?
The one that
The scene with the Joker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I was asking you earlier. I really didn't. I didn't care for it.
Sam, what do you think about his look? They're taking the vat thing pretty damn close. Huh?
Yeah, it really uglied him up there.
I thought he was too gruesome. It's like not the Joker that we know, and because I asked Sam if he's like that in any of the comics, and I think he said in one, but not as
well.
gruesome.
There's times when he's gone to the extreme. Like there's one story arc where he actually does cut his face off, and then puts it back on. So
he's like doing a little remodeling.
Yeah, doing the remodeling for sure.
I'm fine with it. Again, we get a different interpretation of the Joker. It's not the same like everybody else's. It's a different one, and actually one where Batman's actually asking for his help.
Yeah,
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. It definitely had those vibes.
So again, we're seeing a different kind of Joker, and kind of like a year one Joker, I guess too. Year one, year two. Which I was happy with too. I'm kind of glad they're already establishing that they have a history. And that he's in Arkham, that he put him there already. So.
Yeah, that's neat. But I think it just makes fans hungry for maybe like that story, and it's like then we're kind of.
I'll be good if they kind of leave him in the background. I'll be good if they use him like here and there sparingly.
Yeah.
Do you think we need a Joker?
I don't know. That's what Brandon and Nene were saying about what their thoughts were. The guys from Let's Talk Geek.
I know they want a Joker. They're like they love Joker,
but hide him out for a while and then bring him to the front. That could work. I don't think we need it. I think that other villains could.
We need
be given the forefront.
Kind of like a Freeze. Bring Freeze back. Bring Poison Ivy back. Kind of reestablish Poison again.
It's kind of interesting though, right? Like now that they've gone this way with the Matt Reeves version, the darker Batman, the realistic, serial killer Riddler. I know. Yeah. Until Amy was not the hugest fan of the Batman.
And you can see why. I mean, there's a lot of
definitely
types why you can see it wouldn't be the top.
But do you think AA you can go that direction now with this Batman? Can you go to a Clayface, or is it too gonna be too cartoony for this Batman?
That's why I'm kind of worried. I think Freeze you can do.
See, because it seems like with this Riddler that's like a serial killer, you're going to kind of keep it. Then you're going to do the Joker because he's also like a nut. You know what I mean? They're more like these like true psychotics. See, that's
the thing that kind of sucks is like, with the Bell Batman and with this Batman, it's like, man, you kind of like have reservations. You want to see those characters, but you're like, oh man, they're making them really, really fucking serious.
Yeah.
Like Bane wasn't like getting pumped up with Venom. It was the painkillers, I guess, were making him not feel punches or shit like that. So I mean. And
that is the way of the bat lately is to go ultra real, which it kind of makes me think, are we going to eventually look back on like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever as like these that were kind of campy? Maybe a lighter side of Batman is overdue.
See, I'm thinking they might put Two-Face in.
Yeah, which we've seen.
I'm kind of like, we've already seen him twice in the franchises, and
I think I like that aspect of it being more of a serious, like.
Tone,
but I wouldn't mind seeing Ivy again. I like Poison Ivy.
But yeah, I'm always for like the female bad guys.
Sure,
because there's never enough of it.
And she's kind of dangerous too because her whole body is poison.
Yeah,
so it's not like Batman can just like grab her or if she kisses him. It's like holy shit, like. Man,
but it's gonna be how would you approach that in the Matt Reeves version, the realistic version?
I think you can do it.
Is she just a again another psycho? You know what I mean? Like,
that I feel like if you're doing movies when you have to add new characters in, you have to give a background story.
Mm-hmm.
How they became that way. So.
We got two comments. I don't know who they're from. Sorry guys. Drop your names. First one says, leave the Joker behind for a while and give us different villains for a bit. Give them some time to shine, which I agree with. There's always going to be Joker. You're always going to have Joker. And then there's another one that says Team Poison Ivy.
There you go. I agree with you though, sis. You do got to kind of give a little bit background when you're introducing new characters. But I think that there's a really good way to do it. You can sometimes do it in one or two sentences. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, that's that guy that that fell into clay. But see, like me and AA always talk about Clayface and Mr. Freeze so much because they have such great and intriguing stories, engaging.
Like they're cool bad guys.
And especially in the Batman the Animated Series, you're almost feeling for those characters. Over Batman, you're like, well, fuck you, Batman. You know what I mean? Like, there's these guys are, kind of right.
Jonathan says, bring the Mad Hatter back. out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That would be interesting. I always enjoyed his episodes. I'm not a big fan of the Mad Hatter, but I did enjoy the animated series episodes.
It would be interesting to play with that if you did it in a way where maybe Bruce goes into some of those things. There's a great episode, sis. I don't think you've ever seen it, but where he wakes up from like being Batman, like he got knocked down or fell out. He wakes up
episode.
And
great episode.
And he's there, and he goes to go to the Batcave, and there's nothing there, and he's like, "What the hell?"
It's a perfect life for him.
Yeah,
everything is perfect.
He's like, "Alfred, where's the whatever?" And he's like, "Are you sure you're all right, Mr. Wayne?" Whatever. And then he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then he's like, "Man, are you joking?" Like, telling Alfred. And then like his dad walks out, and he like freaks out, and he's like,
his mom and dad are alive. He's married to Selena, or he's engaged to Selena. He's just this big old playboy billionaire. I mean, everything's perfect. Everything's just top notch.
Yeah. It's a really, really cool episode.
That's
in the animated series. Okay. Yeah, that's where you get a real education.
I wouldn't mind if they kind of did like a Scarecrow too again, but make him the actual bad guy, not some kind of like what would you say liaison to the Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
and he was just kind of like a puppet.
I heard people saying like, what about like Hush? What about Hugo Strange? What about
and that Hugo Strange one was a good one too. Yeah. He could be something really cool too.
My thing about those things is like, well, those are the villains that Batman has in the comics that are more rooted in reality. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, well, you're just kind of doing the same thing. They're going to be like a psycho, a serial killer.
It would be like kind of like Riddler.
What I like about Ivy is that like she always jokes about it in the funny Harley series on HBO Max. She's like, I'm not a criminal, I'm an eco-terrorist, and you're like, okay, she's like for the plants. So it's like that's an interesting angle. Like what's like fuck the humans or whatever. Like let's have the world overrun by plants. So I could see that being really fun.
Justin Martin, our man in the house.
Jane Mart.
Purple rain.
He
says, love the shirt. I'm getting a lot of love for his shirt. John says, Killer Croc. Can we do that in this Matt Reeves? Can we do it?
You can do that. You can definitely go with the circus vibe and the guy that's a freak in a sense, and strong and just kicks Batman's ass. I think Killer Croc would be a great one. Justin, so glad to see you here, brother, from Ohio. If you guys don't know, Justin Martin from GraphX Plus, co-creator of our amazing logo that we never get tired of looking at, stickers out now that you can scan and get directly to our website, www.justanotherfridaynight.com, where you can get a hold of our merch. You can get a hold of our YouTube, our Spotify, our TikTok, our Twitter, our Instagram,
all the good stuff.
So go check it out. Thanks so much, Justin, for popping in.
And then Rox came back. Roxanne, she said yes, Scarecrow.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I mean,
that's cool again another animated series. It's really cool. What do you do with a man that has like no fear? You give him fear. So
I mean, very Michael Clark Duncan of you there.
Right, thank you.
Kingpin from the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
On Netflix right now, streaming.
There you go. Yeah, I think that there could be stuff. I thought it was a cool scene. What did you really say? What you thought about the scene? That was a fine scene regarding, despite how he looked. Our guest on the Batman episode, one of our guests, Anthony Caruso from Tis the Podcast, said it reminded him of the Lee Bermejo art from that hardcover Joker one.
Yeah.
That's the story I was talking about.
I didn't think about that.
What's that one called?
Just Joker.
It's called Joker. Yeah.
And Brian Azzarello is the writer.
Brian Azzarello,
yes. Great story. That's actually kind of where you see the Penguin kind of like more in this kind of line of the mob boss.
I'll show it to you when we get home. But
kind of helping Batman too a little bit too.
Yeah. It's interesting.
But obviously it's kind of cool because it's kind of like he's not afraid of Joker. Like when Joker comes in, he's like not afraid. It's like they're like old buds and like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, oh, you're out. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man,
I
for
would
sure.
like to see more like origin stories. I really like.
Well, that's what I'm kind of excited about this Penguin one that Colin Farrell's going to be doing. So
it's going to get a show. That character's going to get a solo show on HBO Max.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know he was getting this.
They're going to do a solo show. They had already, I think, kind of announced it, so that'll be interesting. But anything else, guys, in the world of pop culture this week? Stood out?
They said Nova. Marvel's got Nova Corps coming out, which I'm like, damn. They beat DC the Green Lantern. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like,
they touched on it lightly in Guardians.
Yeah, they do. Right? Yes,
so...
but I could have sworn. Well, you know what? They bought it back because in Infinity War, Thanos destroys the Nova Corps. But I guess when they snap they bring them
bring
on.
him back.
They bring those jerk offs.
Remember
back.
that when John C. Riley was there? I forget that he's part of the Marvel.
Oh man,
Marvel
and
universe.
you reminded me too, guys. Is anybody watching Winning Time? The Lakers, the rise of the Lakers dynasty in the '80s. Man, fucking funny show. John C. Riley is killing it in that show. He plays Dr. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers. But man, he's fucking killing it in that show.
Yeah.
It's very rated R.
Okay.
Very rated R. They're showing Magic getting his action on very early in his career.
All right.
But man, that dude whoever, I don't know the guy, but there's times that I'm like, damn, that looks like fucking Magic.
Really?
Like,
okay.
Like the
cool.
dude, there's times where you're like, holy shit, is that Magic?
So, Double A, is the story like? Is it say kind of true to some of the Lakers Showtime stuff?
So far, yeah. So right now they're still kind of building, but it's pretty much it's like the story of how, because the Lakers were shit for a long time. They were going to the finals during the '60s, but then the '70s they had like a real bad slow, even with Kareem. And it wasn't until they started drafting and Buzz took over as the owner, that Showtime Lakers started emerging more and more. But man, fucking funny. I mean,
I want to check it out. You said it's only 3 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
Sex, drugs, rock and roll. God,
you know, we have our episode that we did on obviously The Last Dance. You know, the Bulls. Bulls. But you watched some of that with me, sis, right? And you said you were going to go back and watch.
Yeah, I wanted to
you were
finish
really into the episode that we saw.
Yeah, there's like a line that John C. Riley delivers, like, you know, if I don't have a heart on, I'm not excited about it. You know, like, some shit like that. But man, he's fucking hilarious as Dr. Jerry Buss.
Yeah, it was funny when you text me. You know, I was like, oh, which way is he gonna go? Because you're like, hey, are you watching it? And I was like, no, I'm not. But I was interested. I added it to my list of things to watch.
And what's cool is that they make it look like '70s, like kind of like '70s film movies.
Oh, nice.
You know, so it has that kind of scratchy look. You know,
any good cameos like from current people or commentators or anything like that?
No,
not yet.
So far, not yet.
Okay,
no.
Very cool. Corey says, waiting for HBO Max, but what I'm hearing is the backstory.
This is a backstory of Batman. His thoughts are to keep the story build. Maybe part 2 will be Batman gets hurt and he goes to train with Ra's al Ghul to master his techniques. Meanwhile, villains, including Joker, start taking over Gotham.
Yeah, that could work. I think that definitely could work. We'll have to see what happens, I guess, regarding the show with the Penguin show, and then. You know, I guess we just don't know what Matt Reeves is going to do next. I mean, with the Batman, but I think obviously people
and hopefully he stays on because DC has a bad habit of getting rid of their fucking directors.
Yeah, yeah. Even all those moves make for sometimes
like you had two big movies with Tim Burton, and it was like, okay, now we want to make it lighter,
right?
Like they're very big movies. Why do you want to change what this man is doing?
Yeah.
You know? And sure enough, they just completely fucking 180 that one.
Especially with that first one brought to, you know, the screen and for fans of comic book movies. Rock says Colin Farrell was so good.
I mean, he was, man. He killed it in the Batman movie.
Definitely was. But anything else, guys? Pop culture things that you saw that came out? I don't know if you saw this, but there's going to be a big Harry Potter game that's coming out. You can play. Marquise sent me the trailer for it, and you can like build your own wizard, and you get to walk through Hogwarts and like go to Ollivanders and get your wine. And, like it looks really,
that sounds fun.
You know, like in depth. You know what I mean? Like you practice dueling. You know, you practice spells, potion making. You got to go to potion class. You even got to like, I guess if you need stuff, you got to like find the room of requirement within Hogwarts. And it looks really like you even get sorted into a house. So it's like once you're sorted, like that's it. That's your house.
You said it's only on PS5.
I think it'll probably be on all the most current platforms. Okay. The graphics were in the trailer were like, holy shit, that's like crisp. I'm like, that's got to be a current, you know, gen system. So that's something pretty cool, I think. I don't know if there was anything else really big. James Gunn saying that Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Man, that's crazy, right? He's like he's saying he's working on DC projects now, and then he's going back to Marvel. It's kind of like, man, this dude is kind of like in demand for, I guess, like the C characters.
Yeah, he's shit hot, companies, man, for sure.
Well, what do you think he would do on a big, like on a Batman movie, on a Superman movie, or you know, a big Marvel movie?
I don't know, because
like not C-listers. Don't give him C-listers. Like
he wouldn't have the creativity that he has with these characters. I think they're kind of like,
because I mean, it's do whatever you
should
need.
see Peacemaker. This is really hilarious.
Yeah.
Gina does a great job.
I just can't get over the damn outfit.
I know, but it makes the show even funnier.
Yeah, you watched The Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah,
you know, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was kind of going in because I saw it again recently, like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, man, he's so much more like deadlier in the movie than he is in the show.
Yeah,
I mean, he's great in the show too, but it was like, man, like. You know that scene in the truck where they escape, and then the guy's like looking at the camera, and then all So you just see Cena with the shotgun, and he just like
Yeah.
blasts that dude's face off. I'm like,
I haven't
holy shit.
rewatched it in a minute, but that movie is highly rewatchable. The
It
Suicide
is. No,
Squad.
Idris Elba really carries that movie. Him and Cena really carry that
Yeah.
movie a lot.
There's a notorious episode of Now Watch This that we did an episode on the Suicide Squad that never got released because Lucky said that there was audio issues. It probably just was kind of trash.
Yeah.
You know, we and Joe were
Yeah.
sidetracking a lot, but while we were doing it, you know, I was watching along with them. I was virtual, but I was like, this is like a great rewatch. I was like, I think I watched it 3 times.
I love that movie
because it came out to HBO Max right away, and I
Yeah.
saw it in theater. So
Yeah.
very good on that one. So you know, Gunn obviously in demand. You know, if I was going to give him somebody big, it would be Deadpool. I would see what he could do with Deadpool.
I think that's like the marriage everyone wants.
Right. I think
Yeah.
that would be. We'd see what could really happen with.
But
that.
I think Ryan Reynolds has his eye on somebody else, I believe.
Let's also get Guillermo del Toro to do Swamp Thing,
Hey, man, that would actually be really good.
That would be really
Wow.
or
good.
even Man Thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know Man Thing's background.
It's pretty much the same shit. Remember, I told
you.
you it's weird that story. It's like the creators of both characters were all actually like living together, trading ideas. Man Thing came out first, I think, or something, but
Mhm.
Swamp Thing is the one that ended up being more popular. So
Yeah.
everyone thinks that Swamp Thing is actually the original one. I think it's actually Man
Yeah.
Thing is the original. Swamp Thing, Man Thing.
Swamp
They're
Thing
both
is the better
doctors.
name. Yeah,
You know, and I think they both get, you know, they try to invent something that both turns them into fucking
and
creatures.
they look very similar.
And they, yeah, exactly. And I think they have gone back and forth like, hey, motherfucker, you know, this was our idea. You know, and you took it over at DC.
That's
so-
some good stuff right there, man.
Corey says Thanos killed Nova Corpse, not snapped him out. No, that's what I said. He killed them, but I think with the snapback, the Nova Corpse came back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Situation. Hoping that Nova Corpse transferred powers when Thanos destroys him, and Nova has made its way to Earth just after Thanos defeated. Or Guardians of the Galaxy find him in space or something like that.
Okay.
No, I remember because it said in Infinity War that he destroyed the Nova Corps. Somewhere
Yeah.
along the way, they say he went over there and he just fucking destroyed that.
Right.
whole
Right.
Nova Corps. Which I think they're a bunch of jerk offs, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do the show, but
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to just beat DC, like I said, to the
To
punch,
the Green Lantern
because DC is fucking taking their time.
I
on
gotta
that
say the
shit.
Green Lantern one probably would have been more interesting.
It's going to be
but
more
they're-
interesting.
They're just dragging their feet. They dragging their fucking
the
feet.
Nova Corps is just a big ripoff of the Green Lantern Corps.
What did we say the other day, man? When they push back Aquaman, they push back. I was like, you just keep
You're
fucking
killing
yourselves.
him,
You're
man.
fucking yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, you denied us Green Lantern and even the Snyder cut. I'm like, wait, why you guys hold back? Like,
But, you know,
y'all
instead of like Marvel doing Nova Corps, I wish it would just really focus on Ghost Rider. You know, you're already doing Moon Knight. You're gonna do Werewolf by Night. Get the Midnight Suns going. You got Morbius can't be a part of that group unless they make some sort of fucking deal with.
I can't wait for Morbius.
Yeah, and that's coming out next Friday, so I'm more and more pumped about that one too.
We may move the episode. Man. I don't know. What we're
Well,
gonna
yeah,
do.
we'll see. We'll see.
We might do that, but I definitely want to go watch Morbius
Yeah.
too.
I
Yeah,
want to go see that one.
So,
a big, CM, big fan of Morbius.
oh yeah,
Michael
man.
Morbius.
Yeah. Your brother
He was
used
always
to give
doing
me-
the cartoon. I
Yeah.
like plasma.
Your brother used to give me shit for liking.
They
Morbius,
did.
and
They
I
used
was
to
like,
give
"Man,
him
that
a
guy
lot of
sucks,"
shit,
and
yeah.
call him lame. And I was like, now look at him now. Jared Leto's buff again. So I'm excited for it. I'll watch. I love vampires too. So any vampire movie, I'll go watch.
Yeah.
Could have not been Morbius.
And
I'll
it's
go watch
good
it.
to see Jared Leto looking healthy.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know?
So he's always looking.
Finally, like it's like him and Matthew McConaughey were starting to scare me a little bit
Yeah.
after Dallas
Dallas
Buyers
Buyers.
Club.
Man,
They're
but
keeping
they
that.
killed that movie. I
Yeah,
love
but they
that
were
movie
keeping
so
their
much.
thin frames though for a while.
It's funny, I brought that movie up at work today, which is like we were in agreement. So that's a great movie.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's a real good movie. Yeah, it's a real good movie. So yeah, we got Morbius coming in. Oh, and then CM, I was clicking on the story. You know how everyone's still trying to figure out who was in that multiverse crap. You know how everyone said it was Craven.
From
Craven was
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying that someone has saw the 6-armed Spider-Man,
Oh, interesting.
which is kind of interesting because he gets the 6 arms when he's fighting Morbius.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
I always
know?
forget that cover is so iconic. Morbius' first appearance. It's kind of like giving a
It
backhand.
is,
to
and it's
Spider-Man.
funny. You really, if you're not, because
Don't
Morbius
notice.
takes so much.
Is that
Yeah.
Spider-Man's bad guy?
Mhm.
Well, initially that's where it was introduced,
Yeah.
and they were fighting each other.
But
so yeah,
the Spider-Man has the 6 arms on that cover.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's fucking creepy.
yeah, that's what it was. I could definitely see Tom Holland pulling that off. The 6
Well,
arms.
and then I didn't click on the story, but I saw that there is going to be a Spider-Man in the Morbius. That's all it said. There is going to be a Spider-Man.
Interesting.
Not in the movie, but there is a Spider-Man in his
Would it be the
universe.
one
I don't
from
know who it
Spider-Verse?
is.
Or maybe Andy Garfield. Give
Man,
him
wouldn't
the
that be
6
crazy?
arms. I don't know. I love him. I think he's
not
great.
my favorite Spider-Man. But
He didn't win you over in No Way Home?
he's like my second. Tom Holland's my favorite.
Yeah, I think Tom Holland is.
And just my second. Tom Holland's my third.
Interesting.
Really?
I still can't.
Wait, so who's your first?
Toby.
Toby's number one.
What?
Cats are real purists, man. I'm telling you. Andy Garfield really won me over, man. He's great. There's someone.
I've always liked Amazing Spider-Man issue. The first one, the first movie.
Yeah.
The second one movie kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's good things in that movie. Though,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So.
Actually, his Spider-Man might have fit Zendaya's MJ probably better than Tom Holland's.
Yeah, that
because Andrew Garfield, the way he's dressed is like all grungy, like
right.
Zendaya.
That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. Yeah, well, he does save her, so as we all know, and that also coming out, I think next week. One week after.
It's like April
12th.
Yeah, man. So I was kind of pissed because
Spider-Man.
everyone was
No Way Home to buy.
Oh,
it's already available now on digital. You can buy it.
Yeah, which I was kind of pissed. I was like, oh, is that what everyone's fucking talking about? I thought that was the actual date, not the fucking digital date.
Yeah,
that's how beloved it is.
I'm telling you, man.
I was like, oh, and then that reminds me too. So I read too. So like, the last Ronin issue 5 was supposed to come out. Remember, again, I told you April 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they moved it to April 27th now. I'm like,
wow.
I just want to read that fucking story and get it over with.
So Amy wasn't familiar with that story, and then the other day we were in the comic store. She's like flipping through one of them, and then I was like, "Oh, you know about that?" And then she's like, "No, what is this?" She's like, "It's cool, the turtles." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the story of like the last turtle, or whatever." She's like, "What happened to the other ones?" And I'm like, "They died." She's like, she put it down. She's like, "Fuck this book. I don't want to read." She's like, "Why'd you even tell me that?" She's like, "You just ruined my day."
I said that's something I could probably live the rest of my life with not knowing.
Yeah, she's like, "I'll never read that." And I was just like,
they really wanted to do the Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
You know, they're so inspired by Frank Miller that they're like, okay, if this is going to be a turtle last story ever, we're going to do the last story ever. So this is going to be it.
It's from the original guys, but who knows? It could always be a verse.
Of course there is. Yeah, of course.
I guess I would read it, but I don't want to read it.
Yeah, I know. Interesting. Well, what do you guys? Should we just get into the topic for the night?
Let me read the last read. Corey says there's a lot of content coming in from YouTuber, cosmic culture, and everything always, but don't want to spoil anything for y'all in case it comes true, including theory of how we'll see Deadpool and Strange, which that's been a big rumor. Deadpool coming out. Then he goes, as far as Ghost Rider and Midnight Suns, again, there's theories of them and introduced to MCU. I know Disney now has 2 parents set for MA14, so it looks like they'll have a plan for some rated R stuff in Disney. And then Facebook user says Team Toby.
Yeah. Facebook user, Team Toby. I'm there for it. I love Tobey Maguire. That first movie, that second one,
and like I told you, CM, that Craven storyline would have to be with Toby.
Yeah,
the Last Hunt.
You could do it that way.
There's so many different stories. Like, okay, this will fit his, this will fit Andrew Garfield, and then this will fit Tom Holland. So it's kind of like it's weird.
Yeah, interesting. It's funny that Toby was like your Spider-Man too. Like, we're close in age, so it's like you would have that'd be your first Spider-Man seeing, No? All right. Well, there you have it. Oh, excuse me. All right, guys. What do you think? Are we good?
Yeah.
Let's go into it. All right, guys. Well, we're here for a specific reason. Obviously, some of the things here revealing why. And it is to discuss a man that we are all a fan of. We haven't done a director in a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. And Double A had this idea 2 weeks ago, but we pushed it back because of the wrestling thing. We had to go fulfill that commitment and be a part of that. Plus, Scott Hall passing away. We kind of lined up perfectly. Sadly, rest in peace to Scott Hall.
Oh, and William Hurt too. He passed away.
William Hurt too. Yes, General Thunderbolt Ross from the Marvel.
I told you I love that line where he tells Cap, like if I lost 2 nukes, I would have a lot to answer for. I was like, man, that was awesome.
You're really getting in Cap's ass on that part right there. But I like
that is true, right?
That's soldier to soldier right there, right? Like that's that shit's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's have a drink to Scott Hall. Scott Hall, rest in peace, buddy.
Rest in peace.
But alas, Double A said, let's get Amy on an episode. I asked him what I want to talk about. And I said, okay, what is it you want to talk about? And so, like I said, without obviously bearing the lead here with what we're wearing and what we've got on here, although we can't really see your shirt. So there. You have to stand up and show it off for us. But here we go, like this. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in the way. There we go. Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
It's a Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, look at this, is getting wet. You don't want that to happen. So yeah. Anywho, guys, this guy is one of all of our favorites. Movies, highly rewatchable, highly would buy them. And if we haven't, like I said, given it away yet, tonight we're here to talk about, as Amy called him, the demon of Film Street, Tim Burton, man.
Yeah, so we've done about 2 director episodes,
Mhm.
and this is our 3rd one out, and it's kind of like it's a movie by these 3 men that we love.
Mhm.
You know, we did on Tarantino, a Tarantino movie. We
Yeah.
did one on Martin Scorsese, a Martin Scorsese movie.
Absolutely.
Tim Burton, you kind of know, either he directed or producer or something. If he has his hand on the movie, you can usually damn well tell,
Right.
oh wow, this is like Tim Burton.
Yeah.
He was involved in somehow, and
Very
there's
Tim Burton vibes.
right, or there's even people that try to emulate his
Yep,
vibes,
yep.
and you get it, and you're
Mhm.
like, your first question is this a Tim Burton movie? But you just don't know.
And another thing about these 3 directors that have something in common is that a lot of them like to use same actors.
Right,
Yeah,
that's right,
so-
that's right. They all do that. So let's go around the board here. Sis, tell us your thoughts, feelings. We know you have many, and where you stand and what your kind of history is and exposure is to Tim Burton.
Absolutely love Tim Burton. I'm not as well versed as you guys are with like a lot of directors or producers and things of that sort, but he is one of my favorite directors. I love pretty much all his work, even the stuff that I haven't seen, like that I read about, or we were just looking up his filmography the other night, and I was reading about the movies that we haven't seen, and I was like, I think I would probably totally love that, and I think the first movie would probably have to have been probably Beetlejuice, because I think Edward Scissorhands didn't come out until afterwards.
That you would have seen,
yes,
that you can
it came
remember
out
seeing?
afterwards.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
Because
okay.
Beetlejuice came out in 88, so I didn't see it in 88, but it was one of the first
You
ones.
might have, but you would be in a
Right.
crib or
I
something like
think
that. Maybe even barely speaking
2 years old,
to
2 years old,
appreciate
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But I think that might have been one of the first ones that I did see of his that I loved.
Mhm.
And then later on, of course, saw Edward Scissorhands, which I like that one too. And just he has so many.
I would fancy a guess at a Tim Burton movie that you saw before that you don't probably know this. And one of you correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong. Because you know this, but I was a huge fan of Pee Wee Herman
Yes.
Oh,
back
Yes,
in the day.
Yes.
And obviously
you're probably right.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I
Mhm.
had it on VHS. I think that my mom and dad had recorded off the TV. We used to have HBO, and I would watch it all the time.
Mhm.
Another thing your
Yeah.
brothers would give me shit about, that I was a big Pee Wee Herman fan. But I love that movie.
They loved it too.
All the little intricacies, yeah, all the little weird stuff.
I think
But
you had Cherry, right?
I did. Now that's from the show, Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Oh, that's right. From
But the
show.
movie, which is really cool too, because they come to San Antonio and they go to the Alamo.
They do go to the Alamo.
Yeah.
And also
I haven't seen it in a long time.
we've been in those
but-
big dinosaurs that they're in California.
Right,
You and I have been in
That's
those.
really-
You were
that's
very
a
little.
really- I remember the dinosaurs. I remember that.
Yeah, but I love that movie, and I watched it over and over and over again. It was
So I
one of
definitely
those
probably did
movies
see that one first, and I don't think I knew for a long time that.
I don't think I knew for a long time that he directed it.
I think
I didn't know either until I was watching something and somebody told me.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh
I
wow,
was
that's
like well into my adulthood.
We're hoping we give people I was today years old when I figured out that Tim Burton directed that. And again, it doesn't have
Hallmark.
a lot of hallmarks of him,
But I
but
mean,
there are
that's-
moments.
There's moments, but yeah, I mean that's Paul Rubens probably most likely.
How about the dream sequences?
Yeah.
You're doing, he gets knocked
Oh,
out,
yes.
Pee Wee Herman, but then you're like, oh shit, there's some shit going on. There's
Or
some
the large-
claymation
yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, large Marge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there you can see when you find out, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But again, it is from the mind of Paul Rubens, obviously the creator of
Pee Wee.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder where, and I probably have to look it up, but where, why did I'm sure Pee Wee had a hand in maybe the director, and it's like, why did he choose Tim?
Tim
You know what
Burton,
I mean?
right? Yeah.
He
So-
saw something in him.
A little fun fact that I read because I was
Mhm.
reading that. So one of the short films that Tim Burton did was Frankenweenie, which we watched the other night.
Right.
It was a short film, and it never got released because it was too supposedly inappropriate for children.
Yeah.
But when Paul Rubens did
Ah.
watch it, and he loved it, and that's when I think
There you go.
Everything.
All right,
There you
Tim
go.
Burton.
It's
Okay.
30 minutes and it is on Disney Plus right now. You can
Right.
watch the live action Frankie Weenie.
It was really good.
The mom is Shelley Duvall and the
Nice.
dad is Daniel Stern.
Oh,
Yeah.
We were
Daniel
both
Stern.
like, what the fuck?
I was like, oh
Like,
yeah, that is
okay,
him,
like,
'cause
there's,
he
like,
looks
people in
so
this.
young.
Yeah. And there's another guy that's like the neighbor. He's an old man with a mustache. We couldn't place him, but he's in some of
He
Tim
is
Burton's
in
other
something,
movies.
yeah.
And I was like, I know that guy, but where the fuck
Do you know
do I
where he
him
would
from?
have came from?
I could not think of it, which one it was that he was in.
Okay.
He was like definitely a side character.
Oh, yeah,
for
or
sure,
whatever.
sure.
Like another neighbor, probably.
But
in some movie.
all right, let's just look it up because we're gonna fucking kill the
All
audience.
right. Well, we got that. We got 3 comments.
Okay, let's go.
rolling
Oh,
in.
we hit him up here with the talk about Tim Burton here.
Roxanne in the house. She says, "Tell him Large Marge said yeah." And then she goes, "Large Marge scared the crap
You know
out
what?
of
She
me."
did scare me
Yeah,
too.
she sure did.
I was like, man, that
Oh,
seems
and then I
scary.
was wondering. I couldn't remember, but now this confirmed that Elvira was in Pee-wee's
Oh,
Big
that's
Adventure.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
She was. Cassandra Edwards was in the biker
Peterson,
bar.
right?
Cassandra Peterson. Why did I say Cassandra?
I don't
Edwards?
know.
I don't know where I think I'm reading.
Edwards is there?
Edwards is there. I'm reading and I'm trying to talk. Which
They would
that-
make a good couple.
don't read it. Don't read it in podcasts, everybody. But yes, Cassandra Peterson was. She's in the bar. She's the one of the.
Which she's been a lifelong friend of Paul
Mhm.
Rubens for a long, long time.
Mhm.
Speaking of
Uh,
Elvira, I keep thinking of that part in her movie. Have you seen The Mistress of the Dark?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love that fucking movie. Which one? What part?
He's like when he drops the paint. Is it the paint or the number on her head? And he's like, "How's your head?"
How's
She's
your-
like,
I never had any complaints before.
Yeah, that's like everyone's
I
favorite
fucking
line.
loved it.
I
Yeah,
fucking love that movie.
and we've
I
talked
love
about them two before, specifically
Yes.
Paul Rubens and
They
Cassandra.
came up
Peterson,
together,
because
right?
They did.
Something like
They
that.
were in a comedic troupe together.
I mean, and then what 2 more iconic characters, right? I mean,
Mhm.
Pee Wee Herman and Elvira. You know, I mean,
And they're-
golly.
The main thing they're known for is that like they own their characters. Like
Yeah.
how many times we hear people don't own the
Don't
rights to
own
whatever.
them, yeah.
Jerry Siegel,
Right.
Joe Shuster, Superman. I mean,
Oof.
like
Terrible.
although I did learn that Bob Kane was really smart with Batman and
Right.
owned
Yeah.
Batman, but she owns Elvira. That's hers.
Which is smart, just
very
so
smart.
smart.
And Paul Rubens owns Pee Wee Herman.
Pee-wee,
That is
yeah.
his. You know what I mean? And that was very, very rare for the time.
And we got a comment that said, "Great flick, just corny fun." So was that your kind of first exposure to Burton?
That would have been without me knowing it.
Knowing,
you
yeah.
know what I
Okay,
mean?
so
But,
what movie would have been
like with
knowing
the
it's
signature that it was
Yes.
Burton, it would definitely have been Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, I was like, I'd never seen anything like that. I was like,
See, my
you know.
first movie is Batman, but
okay.
and there are some hallmarks in there, but man, it's really hard to see it though in that movie. It's more like you see more Tim Burton in Batman Returns
Right.
than I
Right.
think you do in Batman.
But
Definitely.
I can kind of get the feel because we just
You
watched
can,
the
you
movie.
can, but like,
you're right.
It's like even the Prince soundtrack kind of throws it off too, right? Because it's kind of like, oh shit, Tim Burton doesn't use this kind of music, and
Although the music did fit really well.
it did though, and it was perfect. Like he wrote it for all those, parts.
I think it said I read also that in Batman Returns that it is more like
Big time, the Christmas setting.
yeah, it's more like more
it's
him.
bright, yeah.
Like he kind of
Mhm.
took it further.
Even Michelle
with
Pfeiffer
that
with
one.
her wild look, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
she.
I love her in that movie.
So I want to apologize because the guy's name is Joseph Mayer. This is what he looks like, double A. I'm showing him the double A. This guy. And I realize now where I remember him from. It's from an episode of Seinfeld that saw it in his filmography, but I forget who he plays. But he's doing like this stupid voice in the episode.
But
of
isn't
Seinfeld.
he? Doesn't he come on other movies?
Not of Tim Burton's. Not that I saw.
No, not of Tim Burton's, but
CM Rizzo in the house. He said, "Was that?"
What's up, brother? Yeah, it says he's in. I'm gonna read you only the ones that you guys think you guys might know.
Right.
A movie called In and Out with Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline. where
Mars
he comes out
Attacks.
gay.
But it says
Oh.
he's the White House decorator
See,
in
I've-
Mars Attacks.
I've seen that movie, but golly,
Which again from the
Tim
master
Burton.
Tim Burton.
Mhm.
Says he's an episode of Tales from the Crypt,
Mhm.
Murder She Wrote episodes, The Shadow. Again, something here.
I feel like he's.
Some- Batman the Animated Series, he did voice work.
Oh, okay.
Sister Act, Bishop O'Hara.
Oh, there you
in
go.
Sister
I
Act.
probably know him
That's
from that
who
one
he
because I
is.
really love
That
movie.
might have been another one that I recognize him from. So yeah.
I like that one.
But yeah, not a lot of stuff. Moonlighting was an Alf. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
Funny Farm, double A.
Mhm.
He was in Funny Farm, it says.
PG Dr. Herman.
Major
Yeah.
Dr. Herman.
we got that. We got Beetlejuice, Facebook user. I don't know who you are. Again, please put your name, please, so we can recognize you.
Can I get a beer, sis?
I saw that in the theaters. I was so mad because my folks made me leave a party at an arcade to go see it. Damn.
Is that you, Jerry?
I want
Jerry?
arcade fun.
I feel like that story sounded so 80s. I'm like, Jerry, is that you?
He's
And
like,
then-
I love the 80s. What
And
the
then
fuck?
Roxanne says, "Oh, that's why you're wearing a Prince shirt." Yes, that's why I'm wearing a Prince shirt. I do love the man. I do love his music. That's because of my wife. She got me into Prince. I never would have got to Prince if it wasn't for her. So
Yeah,
but I did always love the
Sure.
soundtrack to Batman.
To Batman.
I always did. Like
It's a great
like
soundtrack.
I always loved the Joker part. I used to always dance to that part, like
Mhm.
just like Jack Nicholson would. You know,
Man,
so I
forgot how
love that
badass
part.
he was.
Yeah,
in
right?
The movie when
that's why I
watched
think
it,
people
like-
are starting to forget. I'm like, man, you can't forget Jack Nicholson.
And we
man.
were like trying to guess his age because I was like, he's got to be pretty young.
he
No.
was kind of in his 40s, I
Yes,
believe it was, or
50s.
50s. Okay.
I read this thing the other day, and it said it was 10 things you didn't know about Jack Nicholson Joker. One of the things was it was like he was the first Joker to have a real name, Jack Napier.
Yeah.
They also he was the first Joker, or I think maybe even the only Joker that killed Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah. They,
You know,
which a lot of
which
it
is
pissed off.
fine.
It pissed off a lot of people though. It did piss off a lot of the hardcore fans.
Yeah,
They're like, no, he was never.
you know, and for me, without being a deep Batman lore
which
at
I was
that
like,
time,
I believed
was
it.
"That's
Yeah,
cool."
I believed
Yeah.
it. I was like, holy shit, the Joker killed his parents.
Yeah,
Like,
and in
holy
fact,
fuck.
I'm just like kind of like that's kind of like a dark turn to it or
Right.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, even if you keep the story like from the Joaquin Phoenix one, where it's you can still say it was Joe Chill. They don't say it, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can, in a sense, the Joker's responsible because that uprising is happening
Mhm.
because of him setting things off.
You're talking about the Joaquin
Joker,
Phoenix.
the
one.
Joaquin
Okay,
Phoenix version,
okay.
yeah. And you're like, damn, in a sense,
Yeah,
he's
the
inadvertently responsible.
The Batman
for-
Begins movie is the one that follows more the year one, I guess.
Right. Right.
Story.
But that would be Batman would probably be my next big like Burton exposure where I was like,
For sure. That was my
okay,
first.
like wow, you know what I mean?
She goes, but it's so good. Rizzo says, did we get the Liefeld talk out of the way yet or not?
Oh.
Well, since you mentioned Rob Liefeld, I'm sorry, Rizzo. I know you don't believe what a lot that he says. I'm just a big fan of it. So
yeah.
Uh,
Rizzo says he wants to do an entire episode where he just gets to rip on Rob Liefeld,
Damn.
the comic book artist.
Damn,
Double
Rizzo.
A's a big fan.
I'm a huge fan. I've
I
met
like his
him.
work too.
I
You know,
hear his
just-
podcast. I
Yeah.
just like him. I know he has beliefs. Everyone has beliefs that we don't all believe in. but
Yeah,
I don't care about that. I'm into the man's art.
Right.
For
and
sure.
That's it.
yeah.
Sorry,
I
Rizzo.
wouldn't turn down any original art pieces or first appearances. You know, so
Let me see. It is, but I was still so mad. Oh, Jerry. Jerry goes, it is, Jerry.
I do it was you,
But I was
Jerry.
still mad because I was playing Ninja Gaiden.
and
And then Facebook user says, I'll give you a hint. Yo, yo, yo.
yo.
Well, you already knew it was him, though.
Right.
Yes, it was Jerry. Yep. And Jess in the house. She said, sis, what up?
Hey, Jess.
She says, hi, guys. Love the
What
show.
up, sis?
And Facebook user says, I remember being mad about that. I was like, it was Joe Chill on orders from Lou Moxon.
And I think I
Mm.
mentioned that to CM when we were watching Batman. I was like, oh, like, I knew that it wasn't him in any other movies.
Right.
That nobody knew or they didn't know who the killer was.
the
of his
killer
parents,
parents. Yeah.
except I think maybe in the comics because they never say that in the movies, right?
Did they ever get to like Joe Chill in the movies? I don't think so. Not
so.
specifically.
But
Batman
I
Begins,
knew-
it does.
It does specifically
Yes.
say Joe Chill.
Yes.
Oh wow, I don't even
Yes.
remember that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. Yeah,
Which movie?
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Christian Bell.
What is-
Which those are your favorites, right?
Those are my
That's
favorites.
your Batman, right?
That's
Christian
my
Bell is your
Yeah,
Batman.
he was telling me that you guys were like, it was on somewhere that you guys were at. And
at
y'all
a
were
bar.
just-
Yeah, we're
you guys were just like,
at the captions on. We're like
Yeah,
supposed to
you-
be
y'all
drinking
forgot,
and hanging
like,
out. We're like, fuck, we came here to watch a movie. Like, let's go home. But
It's a good
yeah,
movie.
those are really, really solid. I love those movies.
I love
So
movies.
I know Lucky the Dork Dad is not a big fan of the
Yeah, that's
Nolan
crazy. That's
trilogy.
crazy.
But you know
Yeah.
why? Because he's such a fan of Tim Burton's Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman.
that's
yeah, but
like a
man, I've
no-brainer,
always
though.
said though that Batman Begins. You know, you don't need to have another Batman origin story. That's
Right.
like just perfect.
Right. It
Perfect
is.
Batman origin story, just on him, all about him.
I like it if it's like it brought somebody into it. It's
Yeah.
Like, okay, if this was brought you into Batman, like great, then you got a
Yeah.
great start.
Yeah, 'cause
and it,
most
it,
of the movies
it finishes
like,
too.
like the first Batman is really focused on Joker. The second one is like really focused on Penguin and Catwoman. You know,
Right.
the third one's like the villain. You know, this was the first movie that actually focused on Batman,
Right.
like, all
That's
of
true.
Batman. You know,
Yeah.
his
Plus,
training,
yeah.
his attitude. You know, towards everything. You know,
This new one, the most recent one.
no,
No.
the Batman Begins.
The Batman
yeah,
Sorry.
Begins. Yeah, where it focuses on Batman because
Right.
we're so into the villains in the other
Yeah.
ones, in the Burton ones, obviously. So, but there's definitely his hand on Batman because when you look
Oh,
at it,
for
we
sure,
did watch it,
for sure.
the really gothic
sure.
look to Gotham. So me and Amy are watching it, and it's what was fun about it is we just rewatched it a couple nights ago. We started to talk about it, right? I said, "What time frame do you think this movie is in?"
And what?
In Batman.
Oh,
In
I know,
Batman.
right?
It
That's
was
what we're
really
trying
hard.
to figure out.
They're
Right?
like,
What's
the guy's
point?
got a 3-piece suit on.
Yeah.
The movies. His wife's got a bonnet
Yeah.
on. And they're walking through. He's like, the kid's got the map on. He's like, she's like, please, Harold, can we get a taxi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're
so
like,
it looks like 19.
what the fuck is this? 1950s?
They
Yeah.
look like 1950s. But
later
when you
on-
look at everybody around them, it's different. Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
and then the cops look different. They look like
But what about the cars? The way people talk?
yeah.
And you're like, what era is this? Which is really neat because it makes you think like
It was
maybe
mixed.
this is very Gotham. You know, it's like it's its own like weird
Which
dark
is cool.
place.
It's made up.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rock said Batman also got a lot of flack for casting Michael Keaton. Yeah, I mean, you know,
I love Michael Keaton.
which I don't know why everyone says Mr. Mom, but I mean, he did Beetlejuice like
Mhm.
right before. I mean,
I never seen Mr. Mom.
but
so-
it's funny.
Great
It's
movie.
funny. It's he gets
fucking
like
hilarious.
laid off or fired, and so he's like a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
mean, it showed his range from Mr. Mom to Beetlejuice. I don't know why people had a problem
And
with.
didn't
You
he
get
do? He did Clean and Sober in between as well. I
And
think,
that
and I think
too.
that's what Burton.
Yeah, he
saw
liked
him,
that
where he
movie.
was like, you know,
Yes.
think about those arching
Yes.
eyebrows and those
Mhm.
serious moments. There's a lot. He's
So he did.
This is
He
great.
did Batman Return. No, he did Batman first, and then he did Beetlejuice.
No,
it was
Beetlejuice was first.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
you
he
get
did.
a little bit of Beetlejuice in the Batman when you said that you like that part where he breaks the.
Oh, that's everything. Like, yeah.
And I didn't notice that until we watched it the other night. That I
There's
was
a,
like,
there's
oh,
a
that's
whole
Beetlejuice.
fucking Facebook group I just got added to, which is called like the something of Michael Keaton getting nuts or whatever.
You
The
wanna get
unofficial group of
Let's get
Michael
that.
Keaton getting nuts, which like that
That's
part,
too long of a
that,
name.
that part like jumps out at you because it's like that's a very un-Batman part. That's like I don't know of any Bruce Wayne that ever act like that. That's fucking
I
like
think that was Beetlejuice
Michael
coming
Keaton
to
and
life.
Tim Burton, yeah, and
I mean, man, that was his Johnny Depp first. Was
Yeah,
Michael Keaton.
that
you know?
was
that was his guy first.
that was Tim Burton's first Johnny Depp for sure, Michael Keaton, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. That movie, even if you just said it just stands alone.
You talking about Batman?
Yeah, Batman.
Oh,
I'm
man,
like,
yeah.
fucking fine.
You know what Superman had did in '78. This redid, in '89.
Mhm.
I mean, those are like two of the most perfect comic book movies to me of all time. I mean, Batman was a benchmark for so long. We had so many movies that came out during that period, and it wasn't until like probably Spider-Man in '02 where people were like, "Man, this is probably like the best comic book movie since Batman."
Which is
you
a
know,
long fucking time.
Which was a long
right?
time, but I mean, that was the benchmark movie for the longest time. Even when the Nolan movies came out, they were like, "Well, is it as good as the Keaton ones?"
And
it's kind of like,
see, there's a thing, right? Where we talk about comic book movie, right? Like, it gets so much flack, right? Scorsese talks shit, you know what I mean? Which I just heard recently Nick Cage defended it.
and
He
Francis Ford
defended it,
Coppola.
and that's his uncle,
Yeah.
right? So he's
Mhm.
still gonna go
Mhm.
against his uncle. He's like, no, what the big deal is?
I understand what Scorsese's saying. I don't really hate him. I
Mhm.
understand what he's saying.
Mhm.
He came from the '70s. We did an episode in the '70s.
Sure.
That was cinema. I mean, back then,
Right.
the cinematography. We talked about how heavily the '70s looked.
Mhm.
The realism. Remember how we talked
Yeah.
like that? The '70s were
Sure.
the decade that brought real into the movies.
Yeah.
Blood, sex, everything. So I mean, I can see where he's coming from. I'm sure to him these are like big dumb cartoon movies.
But I also feel like, did they sit down and watch the
I'm
Captain
sure he
America
didn't.
trilogy?
I'm sure he didn't.
You know what I mean? Because I sat down and watched The Irishman, and it sucked. I was like, I'm like,
but we can't say that about most of his movies. Like
That's
we
true.
do love
That's
a lot
true.
of his movies.
although
We can
Main
watch,
Streets also sucked. in
but
my
we can
opinion.
watch Casino though, right? For
Yeah,
like almost
absolutely,
3 hours.
a
We can
lot.
watch
I can
Goodfellas
watch it
for
a
almost
lot.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodfellas is great too.
Yeah, I mean, The
Are they
Departed.
viral? Oh, you put them back. Oh, I was like, did you take them on that?
Oh, no.
How many
Yeah,
times have we quoted The Departed?
All the time.
The Aviator,
Love The Departed.
the Leo movies. Him and Leo, him
Yeah.
and Robert De Niro.
For
I'm
sure.
like, golly,
For sure.
So,
I get it. It's not for him. You know what I mean? So that's okay.
but he has his right to express
Yeah.
his opinion. I'm sure a lot of people would say, you know what, your fucking gangster movies are boring too.
That might, or they're the same, or it's the same. De Niro's being De Niro. You know what I mean? You're not getting anything new out of these actors or whatever. They're just doing the same thing.
Actually,
over
I
and over.
mean, De Niro's best work has always been with Scorsese, as with
That's true.
DiCaprio. His
That's
best work
true.
has always been with Scorsese.
I don't disagree. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So but again, if you're getting something, although Calvin Candy with Tarantino, DiCaprio
Damn.
is pretty fucking stellar.
That is.
And that's an
I forgot about
underrated-
Cape Fear.
That's an underrated. That's an
I'm
underrated.
sorry, we're going off topic.
We're way off topic. We're probably talking about Tim Burton here. We'll get there. As Jerry says, it wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't sidetrack. So
Right.
let's reel it back in. Let's
read some comments real
Save that
quick.
for another episode.
Rizzo says, love Liefeld, though sometimes his proportions are off. Yeah, that's his.
What the fuck? Rizzo really wanted to get into the live field thing.
Jess says she's sharing, or she's asking people. To
Sure.
Then
This
Rizzo
guy,
says,
sure.
Liefeld original art. I guess that's like
Quotes around original.
he goes on the stop. I mean, that's fine, Rizzo. I don't care. That's fine. I'm just a huge fan of this.
Right
say
there.
all you want. I mean, if you want to hate the guy, that's fine.
Yeah.
Joe Chill is in Batman Begins.
That's
The Night King.
Let me redo. That's right. Yeah, he
Yes.
is. Now I remember.
Yes.
Richard Breaker.
Yes,
Breaker.
yes.
Like that. Yeah. Okay.
Batman Begins did Roxanne said, like, I guess focus on
Mhm.
Batman. Yes, the era is hard to pin down. 30s, 40s style with 80s things as well as far as the
And I
Batman
would say,
goes.
yeah,
Or Batman
the
goes.
80s,
Yeah.
early 90s.
Then he gets on the back computer later, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
computers are around.
Jess says she loves the black ambiance in here.
Oh, thank you.
Or in the movie. I don't know what she's
Oh,
talking about.
yeah,
I don't know.
in Batman. Yeah, no, definitely. It's super dark.
And she goes, love the Batman. It was a great movie.
Mhm.
Then it says user again. I don't know who this is. I'm sorry. We can't see who's typing. Michael Keaton was brilliant. The fact that he did comedy before helped him in the Batman role. His humor made us fall in love with him.
Absolutely.
Now, Beetlejuice is probably the one though where all his hallmarks. came out.
Yes.
And that's what's before Batman.
That is,
But that's probably-
so Tim Burton. That movie drips Tim Burton.
That's like
Beetlejuice.
all from his head. That
Yeah.
just came pouring out of
What-
his head.
What a fucking fun original idea. I adore Beetlejuice. It's always in my like maybe top 15 movies. I can watch it over and over and over again. I even brought my copy to show all of you, for those of you watching us on YouTube or even on the Spotify version or on Facebook Live right now. But I've got this great steel book.
Show me.
This great steel book right here with the thing. For the longest time, I wanted to do a promo dressed as like the Cowboy Beetlejuice for this show and do the podcast thing. And it's I watch that and laugh over and over.
It
and
just
over
doesn't.
again.
I can watch it. Well, you know me. I'm a big fan of watching.
Stuff over. Yeah,
See, I'm always
you're a
giving shit
repeat
about-
watcher.
Repeat watching it, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
sometimes
well,
you repeat watch this shit that's bad though, and I'm like, why are you watching this again?
and then he's watching it with me. And I'm like, what are you doing here?
She really liked like the regular Suicide Squad with
Oh,
the
man.
Will Smith one,
And-
and I was like, oh, this again. I'm like,
well, I really love the
Joker Harley parts, which those are the good parts of that.
And I
movie.
love seeing her in the classic uniform.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
2000 when Gladiator
good.
came out, my brother
I
was
can watch
into that
Gladiator all
fucking
the
movie.
time.
He
I can watch
would
that
see it
one
on
all the time.
HBO, and then he would see it on HBO West. Like it would just finish and
Switching
it would
coasts.
just start. And I
Yeah.
was like, no more.
I love Gladiator though.
Yeah, Roxanne is like you. Roxanne has said that John has gotten after her for Casino, and I believe it is Hell or High Water that he was like,
Roxanne?
you're not allowed to watch it.
I know you're
anymore.
still
I'm
here.
like-
What movies is the one that John?
It has to be those two because she was like, yeah. John was like, no more.
I remember
like,
she
that's
told
it.
me Casino. I don't remember the other one.
Those. I think it was Hell or High Water. The
I love
movies
that
are both
movie.
great.
I love Hell or High
But you know what I do?
Water.
Like I've told you before. Like I'm a person where I'm like I will wait
Yeah,
so I can
yeah.
savor the next
Like,
viewing or whatever.
I've texted you like 2 or 3 times whenever I finished seeing Hell or High Water. I'm like, damn man, I know I've texted you this before, but this was a really bad
I
was
feel
like-
like it's like movies touch you in a certain way.
No,
that-
absolutely. That's why
and
I love
that's
about
why
them.
I can do it. Like
Yeah.
even if it's just certain parts of a movie, like Charlie always gives me shit about watching Blade, and I'm like, I fucking love those
I love
movies.
it,
I
too.
love fucking
Yeah.
Blade.
Like I love
Blade.
those movies.
Yeah.
He's like, you're watching this again? I haven't
almost-
seen it in
look,
a while.
look,
but
let me tell you this story. This is a story about me. In 1993, my dad got out of the Marine Corps. My dad was like, he got like a lump sum when he got out. He said, I'll buy you whatever you want. I was like, I want a fucking pair of Michael Jordan shoes. So I got a pair of Michael Jordan shoes. They were some people told me they're the 7s. They're the Michael Jordan 7s.
Oh, okay.
Like right around Space Jam. They're all white. I thought they were fucking so badass. I rarely wore them because I didn't want to mess them up. So I so rarely wore them that I fucking outgrew them. And I couldn't wear them anymore. So it was like, oh
do you still have them?
no, I don't know what happened to them. Years later, they re-released these shoes because Michael Jordan shoes only come out so
Those are the
often.
ones you have now.
When they came out again, I bought them because I was like, I'm gonna own these shoes forever now. My foot's not growing anymore. But that's my thing. Like I sometimes feel like I'm gonna wear out a movie, which is dumb and ridiculous. I know, but it's like some of these movies, I know them so well, I don't really need to see it over and over again. But I love like when Double A sends me a text like that because the most recently too, he was like, dude, I just fucking watched 3:10 to Yuma.
Oh,
So bad.
yeah.
I'm like, I fucking love 3:10 to
Yeah.
Yuma. So what do I go do? I'm like, let me go buy me a digital copy so
'Cause
I
then
can
you-
have it when I want to watch it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna turn it on. You know, so the love is still there. I just feel like I'm like, I can't remember what I watched like a lot. That like, you know, she was like, let's watch Batman, right? And I was like, I don't need to watch Batman. Like I know
you're
that
good on
movie
it. Yeah.
But
really
he was watching
intimately.
it.
Yeah.
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 And I was like, let me watch it for the things I don't know or don't remember, which was great for me because, like I said, we got to talk through it.
Mhm.
I got to ask, you know, Amy, like, okay, what era is it? Because we're both like laughing. There was just certain things about it that, you know, but it's like, you know, me and your brother Will, we used to talk about like we don't watch like Devil's Advocate all the time. We wait a long time to watch it, and then
It's a
you
good
like
one.
either you catch it or you decide to. I'm in the mood for it. Like I told you too with Lord of the Rings, it's like it takes a long time for me to get in the mood for them. But like, and this was a really rare one. I still have it because I haven't watched it yet, but I was like in the mood for Fellowship of all the fucking ones. And I'm like, I'm
not gonna lie,
that one.
I got into that too, and I was watching on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like about 2 weeks ago.
It has to be like I'm in the mood to watch that particular one,
Mhm.
but you know, again, I digress about all that. I think that's fine. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like some of them, it has that ability. Beetlejuice has that ability to be watched over and over.
Roxanne says this for her, and then she also added Amy had a Beetlejuice birthday at my
I did a surprise
That is
birthday
right.
party, which was fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
And then
thank you again for
she
that,
lists 4 movies actually that John hates to see her watching:
Mhm.
Casino, Wolf of Wall Street, Some of Hell or High Water, and Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I
And
can
then-
watch some of those
He's
And
wrong
then-
on that one.
And then Jess laughs at your Space Jam shoes.
yes, she hates the Space Jam shoes. She's like, why are you wearing those moon shoes? I'm like, okay.
I love
No,
Space
but I mean,
Jam, the first one, anyways.
Beetlejuice just had. That's when you're like, okay, this guy, you know, I don't know, they gave him freedom or whatever, but he put everything. Danny Elfman's, you know, composing,
Mhm.
the eeriness, but also like how the subdivisions kind of look too in a
Mhm.
little way. You know, the green grass, the big house, you know, stuff like that. You know,
we get his when we say, well, no, because I guess she only was in that one with him. No, he uses Winona a couple times. His other muse, Winona.
which one? Like which one? Oh,
In
yes,
that
yes,
one,
yes,
in Edward
yes,
Scissorhands, you could tell it was there. She
Yeah,
wanted,
yeah.
he wanted her to be his.
well, maybe it's for Johnny. Maybe it was
Maybe
for Johnny
so.
Depp.
Maybe
Mhm.
so. But I think that maybe I don't know. There's things about I think maybe he would have used her more if she didn't have gotten,
They
maybe
didn't
he-
break up.
or maybe he didn't get with
I hate you,
Helena
guy.
because I think he would have given her some other stuff for sure. You know,
I think Christina kind of stepped in.
there's that too. I think he started
And
to
he
get
was like-
muse vibes.
They
from
were
her,
good together, her
you
and
know.
Depp. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they split, I guess that's when they're like, okay, I can't use her anymore.
And y'all know right? Y'all know the cameo of this guy, right? In Beetlejuice, his
Oh,
first
man,
appearance.
yeah.
The true first appearance. At the top of the
Yeah.
when
see, like I
Beetlejuice
don't
comes
remember
out.
that. I'll have to.
Yeah, it's
And
real
I've seen
quick.
It's
Beetlejuice
quick.
It's real quick.
100 million times.
Yeah. I mean, if
No,
you're not
it's-
looking for it,
Yeah,
you don't
you're
know.
not looking for it. You're not gonna find it.
But that's such a great original movie. I love it, like the way it looks.
It's
like,
it's a creepy. It could be creepy at times. I mean, it really could. You know, like if you let yourself go. I mean, you know, the hands. the shrimp hands.
That's fucking scary.
That was
part.
pretty scary.
Is
you
it
know?
horror? Is it horror?
No.
Is it comedy? Is it
Black comedy, probably?
you know dark comedy? Is it
Dark
is it
comedy.
a Halloween movie?
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
I think we watched that
But
one
there's
the
nothing
other day.
Halloweeny about it. We just like to watch it at Halloween because it's creepy.
Well, there's nothing really Halloweeny, I guess, about any of the horror movies except Halloween, right? I mean, Jason takes place during summertime.
That's
That's a
true.
good point.
Jaws
That's an
takes place
excellent
during
point.
summertime.
Yeah, that's true. They're not even in fall. Some of them.
Nightmare on Elm Street, that's like school year.
Yeah, one of the great
All right.
Fall.
whenever you're doing an episode of Tis the Podcast, they ask you. They say, "Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas
Or Christmas movie. And I
And I
always say it's both.
I say it's a Christmas movie because it literally takes place right after Halloween. Like Jack comes home from Halloween, like it was a great Halloween, blah blah.
But they're from Halloween Town.
they are from
Yeah.
Halloween Town.
And
It's true,
Everything mainly happens in Halloween Town.
right?
Ooh.
Right.
He goes to Christmas Town,
Which is funny, right? Because like we talked about comic book movies a little while ago, and it's like, Blade. Me and you always give it props,
Yeah.
right, for being
Yeah.
kind of the
Mhm.
innovator, or whatever. But again, we didn't say there was. They called Spider-Man, the Tobey one,
Yeah.
the best comic book movie since Batman.
And
But why? Because Blade is kind of just like it could be a pure action movie.
and I
You
was
didn't
gonna
even
say,
really know,
and I'm
like-
sorry, Rizzo, I hate to bring up his name again, but I was hearing Rob Liefeld's
Yes.
podcast, and he pretty much says the same thing like you did. See him? He goes,
John Danton.
Blade. The hardcore fans knew Blade was a comic book movie,
Mhm.
but the way they were presenting it was as a vampire horror flick.
Yeah,
like he said, they hardly make mention, unless
It wasn't
again,
really horror, was it?
well, I mean, it can be.
It's
I
scary
guess.
at parts. Yeah, the bloodbath part. Well,
That's pretty
or-
freaky.
or
Yeah.
maybe even like
I mean, they're all raving.
okay,
in it, though.
let's
That's not that scary.
let's tweak that a little bit. Maybe more like a vampire action flick.
Sure.
Which you're like, oh, I haven't had it.
But
Never
still,
had an
that's kind of what he was saying,
flick.
though. He was like, it was more advertised as that.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, who knew Blade? Honestly, who knew of Blade if you didn't see the Spider-Man comics or you weren't into comics? I mean,
You could have called him anything, and he could have just been a badass vampire slayer, and you'd have been like, "That's a fucking great movie."
Yeah, because I don't think I knew at first that it was a comic first.
Mhm.
When Blade first came out, I think maybe I did because of you, but I don't recall knowing that it was a comic book
if
first.
you had saw the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s, maybe you would have known.
I fucking love that fucking
Yeah, maybe.
movie, but it didn't make me go out and buy Blade comic books. I didn't become a bigger Blade
Same
fan
here,
as a
and-
comic book character.
I'd probably buy them. I don't think I own them, but I would buy the movies. I love those movies. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We getting off track here again?
Yeah, we are. So a rumor, Corey says the rumors are Beetlejuice 2 are in early production with 2025 release, which I've heard more and more, and I was kind of like, damn
I'm a little
it.
nervous though.
I am too.
I'm nervous too.
I thought he always said he was not going to do it. He even gave him that stupid pitch that he thought they would say no to, where he'd be in Hawaii,
wow.
Beetlejuice in Hawaii, and they were like, okay, great.
Could you do it right though with him if he did it? Could he do
I
it
don't
right?
know. I mean, Keaton and Burton said they're in. I was like, all right.
I mean, that's a good start. I'm sure you can get Winona back. I'm sure you can
I don't know.
do.
Keaton's kind of old.
You could probably even get the
well, I
Maitlands
think you can
back.
still cover all that up.
Well, yeah, because I guess he'll be Beetlejuice.
He's
but-
gonna be Batman again.
Yeah,
So,
but he's not going to be in the costume. I don't think.
What, in the Flashpoint? No, I think he is gonna be in the costume. Yeah, I mean, that's kind
Oh,
of
for
sad.
debate. Nah.
And then Roxanne says, I secretly watched Devil's Advocate 3 times in 3 days when
I read that
Jonathan was at
comment
work.
wrong. That's hilarious.
Rizzo
Wow.
now.
John's
on
all reading that.
YouTube.
He's like,
I know.
what?
Well,
Thank
at least
you,
John
Riz.
wasn't there.
It's actually Invincible Comics.
Okay.
More on
Invincible
on
Comics
YouTube.
on YouTube. What's up? CM said weenie. And Roxanne said, I call it a horror comedy. And
Okay,
then
horror comedy, all right.
Jess chimes in. She says, I love creepy any day, anytime.
I like that very much. So, as they are here, the Maitlands on my
So,
shirt.
I mean, so he has like 3 almost back-to-back hits. He has Pee Wee Herman, which is a hit.
Mhm,
Beetlejuice, which is a hit.
Mhm.
Then they give him Batman.
mhm.
That's just huge. At one
Yeah.
time, I think it was like in the top 5
Yes,
highest grossing movies.
it took
of
a
all
long time for that one to get
bumped off.
bumped off. Yeah,
Batman?
Batman.
Mm.
Mhm.
And then what is it? Edward next? Or is it Batman
you have the
Returns?
years? Sister Judy, the years?
I think Edward was in 90, I think.
Okay, so then we get the first collab then
And
with
then
him and
Batman
Johnny Depp.
Returns.
right,
yeah.
right. His new,
Right.
his new muse.
And now you're just seeing more and more Tim Burton in that one, right? More than
Mhm.
probably Beetlejuice or Batman. Now you're seeing, his full art. You get Vincent Price in the movie, one of his favorites.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what a dream for him that must have been to work with Vincent Price,
Right.
who we know that he just adored. You know what I mean? That was
Speaking
like,
of Vincent, well, we all know he loved Vincent Price.
Uh-huh.
So one
Yeah.
of his first, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, anybody knows, his first short film was called Vincent, and it was in 1982.
okay.
It was I believe it was animated,
oh, nice.
and it's about a little boy who wants to be Vincent Price. So
Which he definitely gave off those vibes.
Again,
right?
for the time, I've told Tim this many times. If there was a horror movie that you wanted to do and you wanted to get a horror guy, it was Vincent Price for the longest time. Vincent Price was your guy, was your horror guy.
he would have been a great Dracula.
Oh man,
Oh
he would've
man,
been great.
yeah.
He would have just killed it.
Looking at IMDb and then the filmography, and I think it's mixed. Well, no, I'm looking at the
All over the place.
director only section.
Well, when was Scissorhands there?
Yeah, Batman is 89, Scissorhands is 90.
Okay, so again,
Right.
we're seeing it more and more of its hallmarks coming out.
Mhm.
I mean,
Totally
big time.
right.
I mean, the look, the feel of it, it's very creepy, it's very dark.
How about this? If you would have asked me what year Edward Scissorhands took place in, or I couldn't tell you.
Because
Like,
the way that they're
Because there's the way the neighborhood is, the way that the
it's like a
people
made
kind
up
of
neighborhood,
dress.
like in
right?
WandaVision.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
is. That's a very great way
That
of putting
is,
it. It's
yeah.
a very WandaVision
Yeah.
It's like
neighborhood.
it's like doesn't even exist on the
But
map.
there's TV obviously because he goes on to television. Although it looked like an
But it's black and
oldish.
white.
yeah, it
They're
looked
like
different.
in the way they dress. They're like probably like in the 50s.
I guess Tim Burton just
But
likes
this is
that
what this
view,
is what I love.
You know,
This is what I love
That
about
was a good era.
a Tim Burton movie, though, is that it's very ambiguous. Like, you're
Yeah.
like, you could watch it anytime. It's kind of timeless. Like, he's intentionally making these timeless
Maybe he
looking
feels
movies.
like that's his era.
Well,
You ever
again,
feel like you should have been born in a certain era?
yeah, but what is his? He doesn't really. It's like I said, it's very ambiguous. It's not anything here or there. Because what time are the Maitlands living in Beetlejuice? There's cars,
that's actually probably the only modern one, probably
right?
out of those first
Well,
ones that you can
I
actually.
think his
But modernist to only an extent. Like,
his ideas
you
and his
know?
imagination are meant to not make sense. Like
And it's, yeah,
it's
I
a mixture.
like about
It's a
that.
mixture of what he likes from each.
What do we
era.
always say about fucking Beetlejuice when he's like, "You've been to Saturn, sandworms, right?" Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? Like the planet Saturn? I'm like, what's going on? But there's no explanations. There's never like no one back in. You're like, he's like, that's the lost souls room.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? That's creepy. Is there more about that? There's like nothing more about that. You're like, okay, so it's
It's
just like
left to the imagination.
that's it. Yeah, he leaves a lot. Just like I have an idea and I'm going to run with this idea, but it doesn't really like complete out, you know, which is fine.
So again, this is kind of where we get kind of like Johnny Depp kind of becoming a main star,
Mhm.
pretty much in Hollywood, you know, because of this. And you know, it's very cool looking. I love the outfit. I remember Roxanne's sister dressing up like her.
Yes,
That was
Chelsea,
awesome. Yeah, that was awesome.
Friday night or Chelsea. She's been posting some good stuff in the group.
I mentioned Anthony Michael Hall. You know, he's really a big douchebag in that movie,
Huge
but he plays it
douchebag.
great. You know, after playing nerd for, you know, pretty much the whole 80s, you know, this, you know, he gets bigger and he's like, you know, fuck you.
Yeah. What about we get Winona Ryder?
Winona Ryder again from Beetlejuice, and I mean, obviously she's like probably the biggest star in this point in the movies. You know, it's probably her for sure. She looks great in this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny in this one.
Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, but just the whole awkwardness of Edward, the outsider that comes to this place, falls in love with the pretty
I
girl.
like it too though, because she's narrating it. You find out she's narrating. Yes. She's an old lady,
old woman.
Right? And you're like, fucking Edward's still like around.
Yeah,
so young.
I love Edward Scissorhands just as much as you guys, but to me, it's a sad movie. Like it makes me cry every time. I get emotional because you want. Because you know, at the end of the movie, you know that he's still alive, but she's an old woman now, so it's like you obviously.
But he's still keeping an eye over her.
Yeah,
you know, he's still making it snow for her.
Right, you know, and I'm all like,
you know,
which you're like, again, it's kind of like he did what like the old people in Greek mythology did, like, oh, lightning comes from the god Zeus or whatever. They needed to explain something. So here's Tim Burton's explaining like why it snows, and it's this tale about Edward. You know,
Frankenstein story, his own kind of Frankenstein.
I would say that very much. And
I mean,
that,
even the way they go to his house, right?
Yeah, and what what Amy said about it being sad for that reason about the love story. I think that the father-son story and him being alone up there, the him and again, here's also too where
sad too.
What I just cannot even imagine what Tim Burton felt like. Okay, I really want Vincent Price for this role. I want him to be the father of Edward.
That's like,
and then they're like, yeah,
it's like if we could cast our favorite guy ever. I mean, golly.
I mean, he just must have been beside himself. Is that his last?
Yes, it is, because he dies during the filming of that movie.
I mean, and then
he was already really old.
And he was sick. He was very sick.
It's got to be super tragic that happened during your watch, but you're like, he forever is enshrined in Tim Burton's last film.
Yeah, I mean, what a great run too for him, though. He had been acting since like almost the 40s, So him for him to still be in there, that was awesome.
And it's a great role. And I know that Nene and Brandon are fans are showing their Funko Pop. So for those of you watching, we're showing some of our
Which
Funkos
Edward Scissorhands is that one?
This is regular Edward. It looks like
this is Edward with the kebabs.
And then this one is him in his dress clothes.
Yeah, so we rocking the Funko Life here too. That's a limited one, it says here. And now we're showing Edward in dress clothes right here. So if you're a Funko Pop collector, and actually we want to say thank you to Brandon and Nene, because apparently we won a Funko Pop that I've got to make arrangements to pick up. Probably do that maybe tomorrow if we can. Make arrangements with those guys to pick up. We won a pop. They said that we could pick any pop we wanted. We picked a Mandalorian pop, me and Double A, and we'll bring that here and keep it in the studio to sit around with us. But I adore this movie. Edward Scissorhands.
I like it too. It's a cool movie, and that's
not a lot of ghouls
I
and
think
stuff
that's
like that. You know,
kind of what got me into Tim Burton. Like, yeah, because that's kind of more his Hallmark stuff in that one. I think I saw that one first.
Like a star-crossed lovers type story.
I remember seeing that one first more than Beetlejuice.
Really?
Yeah, and that man, like I said, I never would have guessed I was Burton at first.
Okay.
At first, I never would have guessed. So Edward Scissorhands was kind of like the movie that I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I think I like Tim Burton.
I like how they're both Burton, but in different ways.
Yes.
Like
agree.
The tones are definitely different, like from
Big time
Beetlejuice
different.
To.
But there's no like claymation stuff in Edward Scissorhands.
Cool characters, like, right? That we get Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. I mean, two characters that you do see a lot, like in the Gothic culture or like in Halloween.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, anytime a spirit store opens up for Halloween season, there's going to be stuff of Edward Scissorhands and of Beetlejuice. Are we good on comments, Double?
No, the one right there on Invincible. He says there was pictures of Keaton in the suit. I thought, okay, there is I didn't see him.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is. It says, was Beetlejuice a hit or was it appreciated later? No, it was a hit because I read that they wanted part 2 right away.
Yeah,
and then that's when he gave him that bullshit pitch, and
they're like, absolutely.
Yeah, and he was like, oh fuck.
They're like, I don't care what you tell us, you're Tim Burton.
Which is funny, right? I mean, you know, the studios may own the rights to that. You know, they may not need him to do it, which would suck.
Well, they never asked for it, so
yeah.
But they may not want to do it without him.
Vincent Price, says Roxanne. Vincent Price, so he's the man.
Yeah, definitely.
I adore Edward Scissorhands, is Roxanne again. But I admit I can only watch it fully once. It makes me sad, just like Amy said.
It's like one of my favorite movies of all times, but it's a hard watch because it does make me sad.
Jeremy says, yo guys,
what's up, Jeremy? Hope you have a good birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, brother Jeremy. We appreciate that. Again, a former co-host here, always a distinction. 19, the big 19. Guys, is Edward Scissorhands a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I would say so.
100% right there. There you go. Across the board. I agree too.
Time,
it's always on my unconventional Christmas movie list, but it is also, I would put it in our unconventional love stories.
Yeah, it is for sure.
In Edward Scissorhands, so they have the barbecue, right? When they first bring Edward.
Yes.
It seems like summertime, right?
It seems like perpetual spring there, wherever they're at.
And then they're in Christmas time. So,
yeah.
So I guess I never thought about it right now, but I guess he's been with them for a while then, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to have.
Some time does elapse. Also, too, because I think she's off school at first.
Because at one point she has books with her at when they're at the strip mall.
Roxanne chimes in right away. She said, yes, it is.
But then he also, he takes him to school for show and tell. So school is on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
I'm sure it is. So I'm sure it's
again different times.
In fact, I think the mom says she's away with her friends for the weekend. So she was just away because she was she's a cheerleader or whatever. Right. So Alan Arkin was the dad.
Yes. And he was awesome.
I love that. I love when he's on the roof stapling this thing. Which again, a classic Christmas movie where he's doing decorations on the day of. I'm like, you're doing it right now? Like, why are you fucking so decorated? It's almost over. Like,
well, actually, is it the day of? Because they're having the Christmas party. That's why he's decorating. Is it Christmas Day? I don't know if it ever says it's Christmas Day. Roxanne, do you know?
I think he's saying on Christmas in the morning.
Charlie would always ask me, what's the song he sings? And then I would tell him, and he
too.
Finally remembered it by himself.
I love that too. Okay, so while we get some answers on those questions, any other comments, Double A? We'll move on.
No, we're good right now.
So now we get to what we could say is what did him in with Batman as well, but it is 92 and it's Batman Returns.
Probably one of the most anticipated sequels, probably in a long time.
And what about his other muse? Now that we've seen Edward Scissorhands, we know that Tim Burton has another muse, and it is Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
because we go right from that, a story of snow on Christmas. Who doesn't like? We have to all of our Christmas podcasters there. Jerry D, Totally Rad Christmas. Anthony with Tis the Podcast. We are friends with many Christmas podcasters. We love all your whole network.
I didn't know how much there was.
Yeah, there is a big culture of strictly Christmas podcasts, and you can get a Christmas podcast by anything, just about Christmas food.
I was like, fuck.
Christmas cleaning, how to de-stress Christmas, make Christmas less stressful on yourself. I was like, all right, I love it though, because again, who does not love Christmas? I can tell you who does love it. Tim Burton loves it.
Yeah,
because he takes us right from Edward Scissorhands and Christmas time, and we go right to Batman Returns. Which, let's get it out of the way. Is Batman Returns a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go say yes.
I really
And-
wish we would have had the time to rewatch that one. Also.
It literally starts at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like the tree is
outside,
there.
You know, I didn't like it at first when I first saw it, but I've appreciated it more and more now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good flick. It's a good flick.
I
like
really
it.
love the him and Catwoman relationship,
Mhm.
like the story there, or whatever. Because he seems like he really wants
And see,
to make it happen.
what sucks though is that that's not my favorite Catwoman.
Who's your favorite?
It's Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Just because it's
Don't get me
supernatural.
started.
That's Amy's least
Because
favorite.
well, I
Catwoman.
don't like this because it's supernatural.
Killing me.
Right.
That's the only reason.
That too. Otherwise, I
Wait,
thought she was
what?
great.
Because it's supernatural almost. With
She-
her becoming Catwoman. You know how
Yeah.
she falls off
Okay.
and it's
You
like,
said that about
Mhm.
her.
and that's probably
It's
the only,
just like random that happens. It's like
and
weird.
that's probably the only reason because the Catwoman that I like is the bank robber. There's nothing special about her.
And
There's
that's what
nothing
Sam
supernatural
said,
about
yeah.
her. You
I
know,
guess I
she's
didn't
just
think
really
of-
smart and she's just
right.
really badass.
I guess I
you
didn't
know?
think of that aspect of it. I was more of like the way that she looked, the way that she was acting,
Great. I
how
mean,
she was badass, how she was kicking ass.
Yeah.
I really liked her as
I
Catwoman.
agreed with you, too.
Yeah.
Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Who did I say?
Anne Hathaway.
She fucking blows.
I like that.
I love her version.
She was smart,
So,
and
But
she
I don't
was,
really like her
thought,
in
hot,
anything.
too.
So
yeah.
So you just don't like Anne
you
Hathaway.
know what? I did like her in the remake of The Witches, right? Is that
Oh
what it's called?
yeah.
Oh,
Have you ever
okay.
seen?
No, I haven't seen
Have
that
you
one.
ever seen Love and Other Drugs?
No.
Check
I've
that
never
one out.
seen that one. Okay.
Check that one out with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Also,
That's a really good movie.
Okay.
That's a
It,
really
the
good
one,
one.
Check
it's
that one out.
it's intense, but the one with her and the other girlfriend, Havoc.
I never
So
seen
it's
it.
pretty like
Roxanne,
it's
why
dark.
don't you like her, Roxanne?
It's dark.
And Roxanne says best Batman Returns is most definitely a Christmas movie.
Yes, there you go. See, an unconventional Christmas movie, but a Christmas movie nonetheless, in my opinion.
Unconventional is a
Yeah, it's the best. Now what we also get here. Now, do you guys know this little factoid? Oswald Cobblepot's parents,
Oh, it's Pee Wee.
awesome.
and it's also
Oh, you fucking said that.
yeah,
So in
it's-
Batman Returns, those are the parents you were talking about.
those are the Penguin's parents.
Who's the lady?
It's part of its parents. It's the other gal,
I gotta
the
look
French
it up.
gal from Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, is
Au
it?
revoir, Pee Wee. It's
Okay.
them two. They
Okay.
are. When I first learned that, which is barely like in the last 2-3 years, my fucking brain melted and came out my ears. I was like,
No, but
what the fuck? I was like, that's so rad because I love Pee Wee's Big Adventure and I love Batman Returns. And I was like, I never put that together because I never fucking paid attention that it was even Paul Rubens. But not only is it that it's him, but it's Simone from from Pee Wee's Big Adventure, the French waitress. Remember they're
Yes,
watching the
yes,
circle,
yes.
and then the big brute
Yes.
chases him around, which I think that guy plays. Is that the same guy that plays Brutus in the Popeye movie?
Could be.
Bluto?
It could
Bluto?
be.
I'm not saying
golly.
Brutus.
No,
Bluto?
because his name is Brutus too. Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Sometimes it is.
Either way, Popeye kicked his
Yes.
ass. at
Yeah.
the
Kick
end.
this fucking ass big.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn.
Man,
Fuck you.
shout out to Robin Williams.
I was gonna say, Robin Williams in the
Hey,
house.
shout out to Spinach right now. Way to sidetrack once more. Again, now we're on the Popeye.
Roxanne says, I don't mind Catwoman being just a thief, but I hated the casting choice. I actually like Anne Hathaway, but not as Catwoman, just not a badass.
See, and I really
loved
don't
her.
share. I really don't like Anne Hathaway
I just liked her Catwoman.
at all.
You know, after getting, because like I said, Michelle Pfeiffer is not the Catwoman that I read. I'm just being a fucking comic book nerd.
No, that's
Okay,
fine.
she's great. She's great in the movie.
Mhm.
It's probably the best looking, like costume wise, best looking Catwoman. You know, it's just the supernatural thing. Kind of dramatic. It's the same thing with Penguin. That's not my favorite Penguin version. That whole
With the flippers.
yeah,
You like the gangster
and the
better.
ooze. Like, how the fuck do you get
I
like
don't know.
black blood? You know. So I mean, there was just like I
He was an
appreciate the movie.
anomaly.
Yeah.
I appreciate the movie because it's Burton, but as far as like, you know, just me being a comic book nerd, no, it's not one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
At all.
I have read the people that have a problem with it. I personally don't have problems with it because again, at this time of my life, I'm not the biggest Batman mark. So I'm watching.
Well, see,
it.
I think because I'm watching animated series. Well, no, animated series when it came
I don't
out.
even think it was out yet. Yeah. But
Okay, so when I saw it later,
yeah.
I probably had the animated series Catwoman in my head, and
Mhm.
seeing this one, I was kind of like, oh, that's weird.
Right.
You
He
know?
did, and again, that happens because you're a little bit your age
Yeah,
at the
because-
time. You
yeah.
backwatch it. and
Yeah,
you're like,
because
"Eh."
I'm kind of like, you know, we had her, and then we had the Halle Berry version, which again I think was kind of a supernatural twist on her too. I
Mm.
believe.
I couldn't get through it.
No, I mean, I don't know,
No,
but
I
I think she might have had some sort of accident in that movie. I think I'm not too sure. I never saw the movie.
Right.
But then when Anne Hathaway came out, I was like, oh finally.
Like a
Like this is
normal-
kind of like my
Like I agree
Catwoman.
with that part. I just don't think her like she's not sexy, and Catwoman to me is sexy.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, she looked very good in it.
You're not a man. I disagree.
I can
was
still
like,
find a woman as sexy.
no,
though.
I
Like,
agree that you can, but I found her very beautiful and very like. There's moments, you know, the moment when she's like, you don't owe these people anything, and he's like,
like when she takes his
know,
pearls, I was like, you bitch.
well, she's a thief. She's a cat burglar.
But those were
hence
his
the
mama's-
Catwoman.
Those were his mama's pearls.
She didn't know that
But,
shit.
I mean, but as far as like returns, like it's creepy. It's fucking
Mhm.
creepy.
Yeah.
The Red Triangle Gang
For
or whatever
sure.
they're
And
called.
it is like it's hard to say it like it's way darker than the first Batman, but it actually
Oh,
is
it
way
is.
darker than
and
the
it's
first
also
Batman.
very like more mature because you've got the Penguin making like a lot of like you
Which-
know.
Passes
you know,
and ass
yeah.
grab.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, when she
Perfect.
eats a bird too, like I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so then we get like Danny DeVito. He starts becoming a big part of Tim Burton's like universe.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Walken, you know, he becomes kind of a part
Yeah,
of the
that's
That's
Burton.
my
great.
man.
And how about that too, where it's like you know you've also got that kind of villain.
Bruce, why you dress up like Batman?
Fuck.
Yeah. What about
'Cause
that?
He is Batman, you idiot.
Yeah.
And then he's like, coming at me all wrong.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. I think that movie is so fun.
It's
So,
good. It's good.
In
Yeah.
this movie,
If
to
I
me,
could see it without the comic book guys,
yeah.
fine.
Well, as a non DC fan at this time, or whatever, and I'm still loving these movies. This is when I learned that Selena Kyle was Catwoman. I didn't know that was her name. And I learned Oswald Cobblepot was Penguin. I didn't know that was his name. I'm like, all I knew of Catwoman and Penguin at that point was fucking Super Friends and Burgess Meredith and fucking Julie Newmar or Eartha Kitt. You know what I mean? I'm like, those were so I was like, oh, this is like different and cool. And then I thought it was darker. It was neat or whatever, you know.
I really liked Batman Returns.
Yeah, I love that Batman. And yeah, people talk about the penguins and the missiles on their back and all that. I'm like, it's fucking fine. Like to me, that's what I'm like. This is a Tim Burton movie now. Like now I know who Tim Burton is. I'm like, I expect that shit. The big giant.
I think
duck,
after seeing
know?
all that stuff now, it kind of prepared you now for Batman Returns, which was a big hit. Now they considered it, I guess, a disappointment because it wasn't bigger than the first one, and then disagreements started coming out between DC and Burton, and him and Keaton were like, you know what? They read the script for the third one. They're like, no.
Now this
we're not going to be a part of it.
This is the one that was supposed to introduce the Two-Face that was going to be Billy D.
Yeah, Billy D. Williams.
I would love to have seen that. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And we also would have got the supposed Marlon Wayans Robin, is what I
don't
believe.
know how I feel about that.
Me neither.
I just would have liked that a lot.
Just they would have put too much. I don't know, jokes.
I think that it would have been neat in Burton's hands. Because how would Burton have handled that? How would he have handled Marlon Wayans?
But sometimes, like, not some actors are not versatile. Like, there's not that many Johnny Depps, and there's not that many.
Yeah, I know. But listen to how we started this conversation. We're talking about the guy that was Mr. Mom in Beetlejuice was now Batman, and he was a Batman that people were behind. I think that he could have got something else out of Marlon Wayans. What do we see in Marlon Wayans in? Fucking Requiem for a Dream. Dude, I cry every time, and that's talking about a movie you can't watch all the time. That's a great movie.
That's a movie that you only need to see once.
Yeah, just one time.
Just get it out of your fucking head afterwards.
And but sadly, you know what it does? It starts to live in your brain,
it does.
Fucking free, and you're like,
I still think about that movie.
So and it's also too, it's like something really bad for you, like a real bad drug, like heroin, where it's like if it's on and you start watching it, you watch the whole thing and you're like, why did I watch that?
It's kind of
it ruins your fucking day.
Like I really like Donnie Darko, but I think I've only seen it like once, maybe twice, because it kind of like
that movie. Johnny Darko is like a fucking walk in the sunshine.
That is
a Requiem for a Dream. It's like
it is.
Oh man, like if you're already having a bad day, watch it because it's like your day's already fucked. So it's like.
It's like
I
didn't even think of it. Yeah, why did that come up?
It's like
that was my fault. My bad.
It's like I told Sam, I was
like, I need to watch it.
It's like I told Sam, I was like, I saw Lesson Zero, and I was like, I'm never watching that fucking movie again. Fuck that movie.
Yeah, but what he did was Inception me, and I was like, I'm gonna go look for it. I found it on HBO Max,
and I watched that,
and I was like, oh god, why did I watch that?
I was like, not to. I was like, don't fucking watch it.
I can tell you what, I haven't watched it since, and I don't plan to watch it again.
Don't watch it.
I was like. I don't know. It's hard to say don't watch it at least once because I was like Adam just kept on about how fucking like it wasn't a bad movie, but don't watch it. And I'm like, man, you fucking really like the Pandora's box. I'm like,
you can't tell me not to watch it.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. He made it sound so. Then I was like, oh man, what wrong?
What's it called?
Wrong move.
Less Than Zero.
Oh, okay.
Robert Downey Jr.
Brent Ellis movie.
Okay.
Brent Easton
Brett Easton
Ellis
Ellis,
movie.
the same writer that wrote
American
American
Psycho.
Psycho. Yeah. And I think this director held close to the material more than
Oh,
fucking
jeez.
the one that did
No,
American
I actually
Psycho.
heard it's worse in the book. So,
Oh, fuck. No, I'm good on that.
Roxanne says, "What did you guys think of the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman?"
I adored her.
My third favorite,
So rank them.
and
Michelle?
Michelle Pfeiffer and her.
Probably Michelle, and then Zoe, and then I don't even think Anne's on there. I'm sorry.
Hey.
She really don't like her. Yeah.
Damn.
You
I'm
know what? You know what
sorry.
else is also good in? Believe it or not, because the parts I have seen of it is Brokeback Mountain. She's actually really good in that. Anne Hathaway. She's in that.
She's fine,
She's
but
one
it's,
of the wives.
she's kind of more out of focus.
Yeah.
She's not the main focus.
Like her and Michelle Williams are not the focus of that fucking movie, obviously.
I can't include Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar because they'll be like 1 and 2.
I mean, Julie Newmar is always still kind of, it's weird. It's like her and Adam West still have like a lot of love from a lot of hardcore Batman fans, really.
Yeah.
And Julie Newmar does look great.
You know what? The more and more we're getting these dark Batman, I am appreciating more and more that Adam West Batman.
And
like
it's funny because
that
when he
Batman.
died, I mean, man, people were sad, and
Mhm.
they
You know
lit
what?
up the.
I regret that we were
I know,
there
I
with
know,
him. We
I
were
know.
there with fucking Adam
I know.
West, man. And I'm like, you know what? That's a fun Batman.
Jeremy says, by the way, nice shirt, double A. We're rocking the same one. All right, Jeremy.
Right on.
Nice.
Roxanne says, I love Requiem for a Dream and would have seen that movie more than once. Okay, well, good on you, Roxanne.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna watch that fucking movie.
Way to punish yourself there,
Yeah.
Rox.
Stay off the smack, CM, says Invincible Comics. Donnie Darko is another one I watched a shit ton of times, said Roxanne. And then she goes, I made the mistake of watching Less Than Zero. I told you, don't fucking watch that movie. Julie Newmar is so statuesque.
It sounds like Roxanne be wearing out a movie like it's like an old bald tire, just like she just worn out.
She's like, I'm a real fan, right, Rox?
Yeah. So for shit, if I had to rank my Catwoman, it would probably would.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, but I just want to like think about it real quick. It would probably be Anne Hathaway and Michelle, then Zoe. But again, like I thought Zoe did a great job, but she just didn't get very Catwoman-ish. I think she's going to become
That's
more
the thing for
Catwoman-ish.
me. Yeah, I think if she comes out again in the second one, maybe I'll like her more. It's
And
just this one seemed clumsy.
Yeah.
I didn't like that she was supposedly the daughter of Falcone either.
Although I did read that is from
Mm.
a version of the stories. where
I've
that
never
she's the
read that
daughter of
before, so-
Yeah, so I heard that they took a lot of stuff from other versions of
Okay.
different stories and kind of piecemealed that together.
All right.
So I dig it. I thought that was fine. You know what I mean? Shit, I never thought I could have seen fucking the Jesus as Carmine Falcone, but he did a good job
No,
too.
I like John
yeah,
Turturro.
John Turturro's great.
No,
yeah.
have you ever seen The Night Of? Have you ever seen The Night Of?
The show.
Yeah.
Where he's the
he was
cellmate.
fucking
Yeah.
no, he was the lawyer.
The lawyer. Oh my god,
Man.
he's so great in that. Yeah, it's the guy.
Yeah.
Dude with the psoriasis or whatever. Like,
Mm.
dude, he's chewing it up in that movie.
Mm-mm.
That's a great movie. A great show. Excuse me. With fucking what do they call him? Sinbad.
Yeah.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
You should watch that show on HBO.
Oh man, I don't know about that one either.
Which
Me and Jess watched it.
It was
yeah,
good.
it's
The
pretty
Night
dark.
Of.
The
It's
night
called The
of.
Night
It's called The
Of.
Night of.
But even that one kind of like ends on a down.
No, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee,
Alright,
no.
okay, let's move on. We're talking about Tim Burton here.
We're talking
okay?
about Tim Burton, damn it.
All right, so we get past Batman Returns.
Okay. Which was still a big hit. So
a
this
huge
guy's
hit.
still on a fucking roll.
I think we're all on the same page that we all loved it. Again,
Right
Yeah,
now.
oh, absolutely.
I mean,
now we're going to get to one that I haven't seen, and I don't think you haven't seen, sis, but I wanted to see it. I really still do want to see it, but double A, I know you're from Ed Wood, 1994.
so
I really wish we would have watched that.
and
one.
it's fucking it's hilarious, it's funny, it's again a very Tim Burton. Is Johnny Depp comes out, he does an awesome job in that one. Vampira comes out, that's when he kind of starts using her a little bit, or kind of reawakens
The
everyone.
original,
Yes.
really?
Yes.
Okay, how cool is that?
Or you know what, I'm sorry, no, whoever his girlfriend was at the time was playing Vampira. Whoever that was at the time.
Not
he was
Helena
dating.
Bonham.
No.
Okay. I can
Yeah,
check,
so
probably. Let me see.
So man, it's a great movie. It's about the cult director Ed Wood.
I like to always tell people this. We talk about stuff in other. I listen to other podcasts. I'm going to interrupt you.
No.
But people don't ever tell me where can I stream whatever. So right now it says watch on Prime Video for $3.99.
I mean, you gotta kind of really be into like the whole thing about this movie, though.
Yeah.
if you like Tim Burton, you'll like this movie. It's really out there. It's about him trying to. Ed Wood was just a terrible director, and he's real. He's a real person, and he was just a terrible director. He's directed what many consider the worst movie of all time, Plan 9 from Outer Space, where he pretty much just got clips from everything and just kind of put them in one fucking movie. I mean, you can see the strings, on the shit. You can see everything. I mean, it's just terrible. It's a terrible.
Double A worse than The Room from
Well,
Tommy
you know
Wiseau.
what? You know what? That's like kind of like rivaling it now. But for a while, that was like the midnight showing was Plan 9 from Outer Space. I think Seinfeld might have even.
I think they
did an
talk
episode.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah, where it was like, man, we gotta watch Plan 9. Like Jerry's like really insistent about going to see it. I believe it's that one. It's just one of those midnight movies that became like really big, for a lot of people. And sometimes they even show it on Turner Classic Movies, which is weird.
So let's read a little bit about the cast and who they play. So Johnny Depp is obviously Ed Wood. Johnny Depp, great. Martin Landau, rest in peace. Martin Landau.
Right. He plays Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi,
yes.
Who is Dracula.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yes.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
That's right. Movie. She's in there too. Yeah.
One of my loves, Alabama from True Romance. Patricia Arquette is in the movie. Let's see. Jeffrey Jones returns from his from Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Obviously, Jeffrey Jones.
I know.
For horrible things. Vincent D'Onofrio as Orson Welles.
Nice.
Playing great.
It's a good cast already.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And you can stop the buck here. I'll keep going, but you could stop right here. Bill Murray's in the movie.
Oh,
which Roxanne said.
Say no more.
Winner, chicken dinner.
But yeah, there's several people.
No,
here.
It's a cool movie, and it's just this poor dude's very attempt at trying to make his masterpiece, and it's just a piece of shit. It's just a piece of shit movie. It's just a garbage movie.
Her name is just Lisa Marie.
Yes, so that's it. So that was him. Yeah, and so at this time, Ed Wood was trying to use anybody he could. Like he loved Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi wasn't doing anything at this time. He was like considered washed up, which is crazy. He's Dracula, but nobody was using the dude. So he starts using him in parts. He starts using Vampiro. He uses a wrestler. It's like Tor or something. I forgot the name of that wrestler.
George the Animal Steel's in there.
Yeah, he's playing that wrestler. What's his name in that movie?
Tor Johnson.
Yes, and that's like a real dude too, and he's like a creepy looking guy, like the real guy.
You gotta watch that one.
Yeah, I want to see it. I'd pay the $3.99 for this.
And it kind of details too, like his, like he had kind of like a transgender dude too.
Oh, interesting.
Like he did a movie called Roxanne, what was that movie called? Because he actually does start wearing women's clothes and he just feels normal in them. Like that's when he really feels normal is when he's dressed up like a woman.
So comfortable.
Yeah, and he even directed some movie like.
So Johnny Depp's dressed as a woman in some of the
parts, like when I think he comes out to like Sarah Jessica Parker, like where he just feels normal. He's like, I can think straight when I'm wearing these women's clothes.
Interesting. It's all black and white too, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Because he did some movie called I forgot the name. It's some fucking weird name that it's like a woman's name that you can turn into a dude's name.
Okay.
And it was kind of like that. Like he directed that movie too, which people are like, oh look, it was a transgender movie at that time.
Interesting.
At that time, which was like in the
and this is 94.
No, 50s.
The original.
The which it kind of
Ed Wood was making.
It dabbles though, like with that whole thing.
So Double A, being as someone that watched it, where do you put it in the scope of Tim Burton movies? It seems like his love letter to this man.
And it is. Wood. That's what it really. Glenn or Glenda. That's it. Thank you, Roxanne. It was called Glenn or Glenda. That was the movie. That's the other movie that he did.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right.
It's one of those where it's like it's fine, but you got too many other good movies from Tim Burton that it's kind of like
it's gonna get pushed down.
It gets pushed down too much. That you're just like.
Earlier, it's funny we talked about the DiCaprio performance in Django, which I bring up a lot because the reason why is that Leonardo absolutely kills it as Calvin Candy, but there's literally layered performances on top of it that push his performance down because you've got Christoph Waltz is like number one. He's killing it, as Dr. King Schultz. Then you see this like outstanding performance from Jamie Foxx as Django. Then even like Samuel L. Jackson as Steven kind of is like so fucking good that it slightly like pushes even Calvin down. We're like, and I'm like, this is a magnificent Leonardo performance that gets a little bit buried. But that sounds like what you're saying happens with Ed Wood. It's really
It's a
good.
movie, and I think it was a flop. I think it was kind of flop, but it was kind of a love letter, like you said, to kind of Ed Wood, and it kind of reintroduced Ed Wood again to the people.
Well, it seems like that Burton obviously related to this guy as wanting to do probably weird, out of left field things. Which
And I'm saying, once you see the movie, you're kind of like, okay, this dude was trying to do a lot of shit, but he just no one was taking this dude seriously.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I think it's going to be on our list of things to watch, right?
Yeah,
sis?
for sure.
And Roxanne says she adores Ed Wood. It's endearing. Phenomenal. Bill Murray was in it. She goes, he was so cute. Vincent D'Onofrio was Orson Welles, but they dubbed over his voice, and that never sit well with Vincent. So he worked on that voice for years and played Orson Welles in another movie. Oh wow!
Wow, very
Wow.
good fact, Rox.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love him, by the way.
The next thing that I see on IMDb, and also in
and
94.
real
Go ahead,
quick.
go ahead,
I
Donna.
mean, this is a time that Johnny Depp was just like fucking killing it. Outside the Burton movies, you know, like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he's fucking great in that movie. And Benny and June, he's really good in that movie too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Johnny Depp's shit hot.
I mean, at this time, yeah, he was just like the guy that can do everything.
So what comes up in here next is it says a documentary called A Visit with Vincent. And we're not going to go through all his stuff, but this looks like he kind of interviews Vincent
with
Price.
Vincent Price.
So that's pretty cool. But the next big one that people would probably know and think of is one that Amy hadn't seen in a long time. I'm pretty familiar with it because I watched it several times. I like it. I know you've seen it, AA, but Mars Attacks in '96.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, right?
And Sarah Jessica Parker.
And Sarah Jessica Parker. So Burton's working with all of his guys he probably super looks up to, super loves. He's worked with literally some of the biggest names already at this point. I mean, like for him to get Vincent Price, for him to get Martin Landau, for him to get now Jack Nicholson, he probably feels like,
well,
man,
not
I'm
just
checking
that,
all the boxes, right?
But
now.
you know, Nicholson back in '89, you know, he was already like a 2-time Oscar winner, and for him to be like, hey man, would you be interested in playing the Joker in a Batman movie, in a comic book movie? Yeah, which, you know, by that point, Superman 3 and 4 had just probably killed.
Oh yeah,
you know, by that time, and he's like, yeah, okay, because his name is first in Batman. It's Jack Nicholson, I believe.
It is,
yeah. So,
and he had top billing, and I think he also, I heard he
got a percentage. He did what Robert Downey did.
Yeah, that was the first time that an actor had did that. I got it. I think like
he got like 50 million or 60 million from that movie.
And I think too it was like, oh, I want like, I don't know, like 3% of the box office.
Yeah,
and they're like, okay, whatever, 3%.
Yeah, because they didn't think it was going to be
fucking like destroyed.
Yeah.
So it was like,
blew up.
Yeah. So I mean, but like I said, yeah. So he gets to work with him at night, but he gets to bring him back, right? So here's another thing too, right? What does that say about an actor? If you come back to work with the director again, you probably had a good experience.
Yeah, he had a good experience.
Yeah, that was fun, Batman. Now I'm going to be what, the president, right? He's the president.
He's the president.
I was just going to say, who plays the president?
And actually, he plays a salesman, I believe, too. Like he has like 2 or 3 roles in that movie.
That's right. He does do 2 or 3 roles. I forgot about that.
Like he's some fucking scummy like dude too. Like some scummy salesman.
I haven't.
I know. I haven't.
And again, that was kind of like a throwback to his love, like how you said with Edward, kind of probably like his directing. This was kind of like his love for the 50s and 60s, like alien movies that were coming out like crazy.
So who else comes back? But his other villain, but the Penguin comes back.
That's right. That's right.
But we also get James Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
Like you said, his next time with Sarah Jessica Parker. Annette Bening comes in.
That's right.
Glenn Close comes in.
Right.
Fantastic. Martin Short. Michael J. Fox.
Damn.
I mean, like, you know, Tom Jones. Natalie Portman is in there. I forgot. A young Natalie Portman.
She plays the daughter, right?
Jim Brown. Obviously, Jim Brown. I love Jim Brown, right? Lisa Marie comes back again as she's the Martian girl. Yeah. So, I mean, Pam Grier. I forgot about that. Jack Black.
Damn. Yeah, he dies early in that movie.
That's a lot of like people to be.
I didn't even know about this. Ray J is in there. Ray J. We all know Ray J. But Christina Applegate. I mean, it's an outstanding cast,
and it's all like small parts. I'm sure.
All small parts, right? Because they're all telling this larger story.
Jim Brown is a major one. Pierce Brosnan
he's
and
like
Jessica Parker has
Jim Brown's like the retired boxer at the Vegas or whatever, right?
And Pam Grier's like his ex-wife or something.
Right. But you get this chance for to him to do what his alien invasion movie.
Yeah, he loved those fucking 50s and 60s alien movies, those really bad looking ones, you know, like he loved them because man, there's so many movies. It's like the Invaders from Mars, you know, like if you love the Misfits, you know, you'll get a lot of those fucking B movies, you know, like the thing from another world,
Mhm.
you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's like,
We are 138.
Yeah.
20 eyes. 20
yeah,
eyes,
yeah,
20
like I turned into a Martian, you know,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. You know, it was like his love letter to that era. And again, it was kind of like it wasn't, even though he had all these people, it was kind of a flop. So it's kind of like,
Yeah,
ooh,
and
so
this
he's
was
kind of
the-
like, he's kind of like, after all those big hits, he's kind of like, but people love it.
Yeah.
Like Mars Attacks does have a sizable audience.
Yeah.
It found a lot of love later on.
Well, it's funny to me to hear that like it was a flop because it's like it's very
You wouldn't think
tongue
it
in
was.
cheek about what
Yeah.
it is. It's like it's this. It's like
I mean, I could see how
it's called
it
Mars
wasn't-
Attacks, you know,
yeah.
and those letters, like the old movies that have an
Mhm.
exclamation mark on it, you know, like it came from outer space, you know, and then it's like the aliens look a certain way. They look like kind of comical or
yeah.
whatever, and then they're like,
Yeah.
That's what Roxanne says right there. She says Mars Attacks has so many actors in it. I loved the look of the aliens.
yeah, they look like kind of
They
like
did
a
look
brain,
like- they did
and they're
look cool.
looking, and then they're telling everyone nice shit too. They're like, no, we're here in peace, whatever, but they're fucking like vaporizing.
Yeah, they
you.
zapped them right
And then
away.
they're like, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it's fucking very weird.
They're like, we don't come in peace.
Sarah Jessica Parker's head gets all put on a chihuahua.
Her
and-
and Pierce,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
both had
like-
their heads taken off.
You're like, what the fuck? Like, but it's a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I like it. I'm surprised that I don't watch it more often and don't own a copy. You know what I
It's
mean?
fine. It's not one of those ones that I think you go
Like
back
I'd watch
to
it
a
if it came
lot.
on TV, but
Yeah.
I think like you like or like
Like right now, like
I'm gonna go
Jessica's
out and watch
Boys.
it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you haven't seen it in a while. I'd watch
so
it
I
again
put
with
it
you.
on, yeah.
Like I would show like my nephew that movie. Like I would show like if
Yeah,
Jessica's kids hadn't seen
yeah.
it, I'd be like, hey guys, let's watch this one. This is like a weird one or whatever, you know. So, but fast forward 3 years, real quick. And again, we're not going to go through everything, but we're kind of hitting the main ones. You know, we get another big one. Again, a chance for Burton to probably say, I love this story. I'd only known it the animated version, you know, Ichabod Crane, you know what I mean? Like the creepy Halloween story, the
I
Headless
love that
Horseman.
movie.
And this guy is going to bring it to live action. Like, let me make fucking Sleepy Hollow, the classic story, a live action movie. And probably people thought that can't be done. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? And I think he pulls it off in grand fashion.
It's great. I love that movie. That's always been like one of my top 3 favorite stories of all time.
Mhm.
I even have it right there.
Headless
nice.
Horseman.
Yeah.
The Headless Horseman. Yeah, nice. Right? This version.
No, it's just a Headless
Oh,
Horseman globe.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You know.
Oh, that's right. Right there. Yeah.
Man, I loved it. And you know, it's Johnny Depp, it's Christina Ricci,
Mhm.
you know, it's got a lot of his guys are back in there again.
It's got
You know,
Christopher
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher Walken.
I thought that
right?
was one because you don't know who he is at first for a long
And
time.
then you know, it's Ray
Pretty good.
Park as the Headless Horseman. He's
That's
doing
right.
the actual stunts.
the movies,
Yeah.
right? Ray Park.
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's really awesome.
yeah.
Michael Gambon, Dumbledore is there. The new
Alfred,
Dumbledore.
the one who played Alfred in the first 4 Batman movies, is there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
The
Also,
Emperor Palpatine is there.
Emperor Palpatine is there. Casper Van Dien from
Jeffrey
Starship
Jones
Troopers.
again. is
Jeffrey
in that.
Jones is there again. Yeah. I think it's a great freight.
Love the
I
look.
think it's a freight. I think it's a great, fun, scary
the look.
movie.
Yeah.
Super creepy. Johnny Depp does a great Ichabod Crane. You know what I mean? Like being kind of like like bumbling, like this bumbling. You know, they switch it up a little bit. He's not a school teacher. He's
a forensic,
like a forensics.
Yeah.
in this
kind of
Like an
like
investigator?
detective.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
investigator.
which kind of does make more sense, I think.
I think
in this
Christopher Lee's
version.
in this movie too,
I think so too.
which
yeah,
I think
he
might
is.
start the first time for their collaboration together.
The girlfriend comes back.
I think he's the
Lisa
judge.
Yeah,
CM,
he's
I think.
he's the Burgermeister. Burgermeister.
Burgermeister?
I think Burgermeister like, oh, I'm the Burgermeister. Give me some burgers. But yeah, that's what they call him. Even in Frankenstein, it's the Burgermeister or Burgermeister maybe. Burgermeister is how you say. Fuck, I don't know. Somebody else help me out.
Something.
It's like that, but it sounds like Burgermeister, but it's Burgermeister, I believe is how you say it. But they also have that in fucking Frankenstein. Frankenstein one and Young Frankenstein too.
Oh my
So
God,
the guy with the head
that's
like
Yeah, that's right.
she's like the
That's right.
Burgermeister. Yeah, it was
That's
like-
right.
yeah. I'm just seeing right now that guy, his name is Alun Alun Armstrong is in it, but he's the one guy that fucking
that
Braveheart when William
Braveheart.
Wallace fucking crushes his head with that
Yeah.
Wow.
fucking thing after he betrays him. Braveheart tangent. But love Sleepy Hollow. Since we're talking about Sleepy Hollow,
I love Sleepy Hollow. I mean that was particular one with
Mhm.
Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci.
rewatch it.
Oh yeah.
Own a copy?
Actually, I think I do.
Okay.
Mhm.
You?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
love it.
Double it?
Yeah.
All right. So then the next big one, which Amy wasn't familiar with, we talked about, but we go to all the way to 2001 now. Planet of the Apes. A huge, I imagine that
I'm
Burton
gonna
was
take a
probably.
restroom break real quick.
Yeah, I imagine Burton was probably a huge Planet of the Apes fan.
He had to
Who
have
didn't
been.
love it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Caesar, that first one,
Yeah.
it was great, and I think that this one had a lot of potential. People thought,
Yeah.
you know,
I like that he still kind of kept the makeup.
mm-hmm.
I liked how he still kind of kept that, and I liked how he made them still walk like kind of like monkeys.
They're in suits.
Yeah.
People, because you got Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan, Tim Roth is there,
and now his new
Helena
yes. Bonham Carter.
Which this is, I think, the movie where they start their relationship. I think he ends it with that Lisa Marie.
Yeah. Who wasn't familiar that they were dating, but man,
they were
super gorgeous.
Yeah,
the one I saw, good lord. The man's got taste. I'll give him that. Paul Giamatti,
Charlton Heston is in that movie too. He's playing an actual ape in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wahlberg
That's
is the lead. Chris Christopherson is in there.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson. Yeah, definitely. There's another like stellar cast of people that know from stuff.
Why would he turn down an opportunity to work with him? Right? I mean, it's Tim Burton, right? At this point, you're already so familiar with his work that you're like, wow, I don't care what script it is. I want to work with this guy.
Yeah, and then what a chance too, though, to bring back such an iconic property, the Planet of the Apes. I mean, like everyone loved that. I mean, the first attempt again, and you've got a good cast, Mark Wahlberg, all these people. You're like, it's going to be great. But
I think it was a hit. I'm not too sure, but it wasn't as big as what everyone.
No, thought. Yeah, and I also think it wasn't. Even though it was a hit, I think it might have been like one of those situations where it was like the Hulk, the Eric Bana Hulk.
Yeah.
Everyone went to go see it, but then it was like immediate disdain for it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember hating it, but I also don't remember loving it as much as the new one that came out. Where I was like, that was so good.
That new trilogy blew this one.
It was that one. That new one was like, I was like, oh my god, it's so. I was like, wow, they're.
But it's a cool attempt. They've been showing it on TV again, and I've seen it here and there, and it grabs you. It's a pretty looking. It's actually a really great looking film.
Flick, right? Yeah. You said, the makeup and stuff.
The makeup is still really good.
Really
yeah, I mean that's still really really good.
It's nothing I ever hear people really saying like. Oh man, I love that movie, or hey, do you want to watch it or whatever? I don't own a copy. I don't know that I would own a copy, but would I watch
the one I really don't hear people that love the franchise like really saying, "Hey, the Tim Burton one is my favorite."
Right, right. Sis, did you see the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes? Michael Clark Duncan, Mark Wahlberg has a unique ending.
I may have seen it.
Helena Bonham is the primary female ape in that one.
I can't recall.
See, I think you might have seen it, but it didn't stick with you.
Yeah.
So, but I know you're a huge fan of the new ones. Andy Serkis is Caesar, right?
And that one kind of doesn't have like Tim Burton kind of like flavor in there, right? I mean, Planet of the Apes is just a straight up Planet of the Apes, right? There's not really too much.
It makes you wonder why they tapped him for that. Like,
maybe it was just him. Maybe he's the one that
because it's Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, because he loves it.
Sure.
So maybe he's just like, hey, let me direct it.
Kevin Smith has movies like that where he's like, he did what's the one you like with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan? They're like, oh, it's funny or whatever, and I'm like, that's Kevin Smith directed, but he's always says
the bad experience with Bruce Willis.
Cop movie, Cop Out.
Is it Cop Out?
Yeah, it's Cop Out. Yeah, and he's just like, and you're like, this doesn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie at all. It's just very like. It's like a studio movie.
But I mean, good on him, right? For I guess wanting to keep that whole essence of maybe the Planet of the Apes,
Right. It's a situation probably where it's like you're tapped to be the director. You're just going to go direct. Like
I know, people were kind of confused with the ending too. Like I read that was like the other thing. People were really confused with the ending.
Right. Yeah, because it's confusing because
it's kind of like
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
No, I mean. I don't know when I'll get to watch it. I'm definitely gonna probably watch Ed Wood first before I watch that one.
So when that one ends or whatever, like obviously you've seen the classic Planet of the Apes, right?
Well, then in this
double spoiler alert, where you have Charlton Heston says
the ocean, right?
No,
they're by the beach.
Mark Wahlberg actually kind of goes back. He thinks he's gonna go back home on this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Only to realize that
he went into some other fucking future or
Jingo.
Where Tim Roth's like ape. General Dade took over.
Yeah. So it's neat because it has like a shock ending or whatever, which like the original does, whatever. But in this one, the shock ending is that he's like, oh, I'm home. I made it back, whatever. And he's in Washington, D.C. He goes to the Lincoln Memorial. When he looks up at the Lincoln Memorial, it's not Abraham Lincoln. It's that main ape that he's finding. Then the cops all show up, like, because he crashed. They're like, what the fuck? And all the cops come out, they're all apes.
Oh my God.
But see, people are kind of like,
what?
They didn't understand. Yeah.
Right, because he was already on a Planet of Apes. Now he's just on a Planet of Apes, but like that drive cars and have fucking guns, as opposed to the planet he was on throughout the movie where they were like rode horses and wore like old school
they're
like
more
armor.
evolved there.
I guess, yeah.
But it kind of threw everybody off. I think he
Yeah.
was just trying to go for that Planet of the Apes first ending kind of feel, and it just
Well, I mean,
didn't.
he didn't write the story though. Did he?
No, I don't think.
No,
he
I
did.
don't think so. No, he did not write it.
Okay,
It did not
okay.
say it. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all start on this one. I'm gonna run to the restroom too. But 2003 now, we're at Big Fish.
Maybe.
Oh.
Do you know that?
I do know that one.
Okay.
I love that movie.
You want to wait, or we can skip it? We can
No,
skip
no,
it.
no. Let's
Oh,
do it.
'cause
Let's
you
do it.
like that one. Hurry,
I
go to
know
the
why. I
restroom.
gotta go pee.
Okay,
Then.
go.
Okay,
Okay,
what are you gonna
I'll
talk
do
about
it.
while I'm gone? All right, be right back.
Did you read all the comments?
Oh yeah, let's read that. Let me see. Roxanne says she watches Sleepy Hollow every Halloween. Okay,
That's
all right.
definitely like Halloween feels.
Right.
So
Yeah, big time. Man, that's a classic Halloween story, right? The Headless Horseman, the bridge,
Right.
the pumpkin. I mean, the
I
pumpkin
really,
head.
I really love that movie.
Right, yeah.
I love that movie.
She said, Roxanne said Johnny Depp really wanted to wear a big nose and big feet.
For
How do you think for Ichabod? How do you think that would have gone?
I don't.
If you remember the cartoon, right? How stupid looking
Yeah,
like the character
yeah.
was. I guess he wanted to do that. That's kind of like I don't know.
I can see. I can see how he's.
But the big nose and big feet, I'm like, come on.
I love the way he looked. The way that they had him
Yeah,
dressed
right, fine.
in that
He looked
time.
fine,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I think he did a great job.
Yeah,
but
you can
maybe
kind
that
of.
was his own twist on it. If he wanted.
But
to
it
do
was kind of
that.
cool because you felt like Casper Van Dien was more manly than him, right? Like the way he acted, right? It was like
Yeah.
he felt like the other dude
Yeah, because he
was
was like.
tougher.
Yeah, like because when and he's all passing out when
Yeah.
he passes out again, and you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so I mean, he came across like that, like you're sucky. you're
You're a
weak.
weak man.
Yeah, you're weak.
But no, that's
So I think he did.
Interesting
Good. I don't
fact
think
there,
he.
Roxanne.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad Tim Burton was like, nah.
Yeah, he might have been like,
we don't need to.
I might have to say that for some Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. And then she says, we do not speak of Eric Bana Hulk.
What's that from? Is that from the?
Well, because he said something about Eric Bana. I can't remember what he said about the
hell.
Hulk.
What did he say, Rox?
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that one's not loved at all. That one's just a hated Eric. The Hulk one. That one is just not loved at all.
The first one.
Yes, the very first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him as an actor, I guess.
Oh, I love Eric
but-
Bana. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty shoddy.
Yeah. William didn't like his casting as Hulk because we had just seen Troy. So he was
Okay.
like, really? You're going to get fucking,
This guy.
Hector to play Bruce Banner,
Oh, he was
Come on.
badass as Hector though.
No, but that's what William was saying. That he was like, this dude just came out of.
Oh, like looking like a stud. Like
Hey,
he's supposed to be
he's
like a
supposed to be like
nerd.
this
Bruce
fucking
Banner.
What was he?
Bruce
He was
Banner.
in Tron. You said?
Troy.
Troy. Brad Pitt.
You see Troy?
Yeah. Who was he?
Hector.
He's
the
Hector.
main
Oh, that's
guy.
right, that's right.
He's a Legolas's big brother, and he's like gives
Legolas.
Brad a run, right? He's like he hangs in there. They fight, right?
Oh, yeah.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah,
he-
he-
I haven't seen Troy though in a minute.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I like it.
Pretty
I love
solid.
that.
That's
I
a good
saw it at
movie.
the theater.
Yeah, it's not Gladiator great, but it's
I was
like,
gonna
it's
say
good.
I
It's
usually
good.
watch Gladiator.
You know what?
first.
What would we
Who
call?
are you listening? Who are you listening for?
Oh, for Legolas.
Okay, because it's funny because like me and my friend Michelle we went to go see that movie in the theater.
Michelle from high school.
Yeah,
Oh.
we went to go see that movie in the theater, and she was a big lover of Brad Pitt, but when she saw fucking Legolas, I forgot Orlando.
Orlando
Man,
Bloom.
she fell in love with him. I was like,
Orlando
really?
Bloom was my man.
I was like, man, he's
Man, he
fucking-
gets like
he's
major
fucking
bitched out in
sorry
that
in
movie. I was like,
I'm talking about when he's in
no,
Lord of the
but
Rings.
she didn't like the way he looked in Lord of the Rings, but she was
Oh,
like in love
I
with
fell
how he
in love
looked
with
in
him.
Troy.
I
I
fell
was
in
like,
love with
what?
him.
he's a handsome fella. He's
I
a
fell in
handsome
love with him even more when he
No,
was
she was
Legolas.
like, she couldn't like, she was like hot for him like that whole fucking night. I was like, all right, chill out. You know?
It's a movie.
Yeah, I was like, chill out, shit.
fella.
I was like, I was hating his fucking character, and she's all fucking like fucking what's her name, Helen. She's all fucking like Helen. She's like, oh my god.
I was like, man, you bitch ass should have died, not Hector. I
Right?
was like,
Yeah, I was like,
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't
shit.
seen Troy and
It's good if you
forever.
have time and
But
you're
I
just
have
like
seen
if
it.
you're bored.
Unlike Requiem for a Dream or Less Than Zero, you can just watch that whenever.
I
You're
know,
just like,
right?
oh, Troy, why am I trying?
I'm
That's
not
great.
trying to have
Put-
nightmares.
Put that on. Yeah, Troy is like just great to watch whenever. So, so are we still here?
Yeah, no, we were just we're reading the comments and
Oh, great.
So yeah, let's get on to Big Fish,
So the next one that I
which
said,
is
guys,
another like kind of like very Tim Burton. Well, no.
I
It
feel
has
like a
some
lot of
Tim
people
Burton,
don't know that Tim Burton movie.
yeah, I feel the same way.
But if I'm correct, CM probably introduced me to that movie, and then I watched it on my own, and I'll watch it again.
I watched it on
love
my own because I like the
love
whole
it.
idea of it, and man, it just really stuck in my head, big time. And I mean,
It's like so creative.
Yeah.
Like
that's
and
that's like a real hallmark that I like about Burton. Is I'm like, what a weird
mhm.
idea! Like, what a weird mind.
it's like to take it from your mind and put it into
And they said this movie really hit him hard because his dad had just died.
Oh,
So
I
he
did not
wanted
know
to do
that.
a movie where it was kind of like a father son.
I really
know.
love who plays the dad in that movie.
Albert Finney.
I
Albert
really
Finney.
love
Albert
him.
Finney,
Like
yeah.
he is just
He
and the mom
man,
too. The mom is I can't,
Jessica
which is
Lange.
the
Yeah.
Jessica Lange,
Yeah.
American
American
History,
Horror-
American
Horror
Horror
Story.
History,
Yeah.
American Horror fame. But I mean, yeah, she's so adorable in this too. Like the whole thing. Billy Kudrup, we know, Dr.
Steve
Manhattan,
Buscemi. Yeah.
Steve Buscemi, Helena
Yeah.
Bonham obviously is back. Robert Goulet,
Ewan
Manny
McGregor.
DeVito.
Ewan McGregor is the
the
father,
young,
the
one,
young
the
father.
young
Yeah.
father. I mean, this is post
Star Wars. Mhm.
So I was just like, he could do no wrong, but I was like, boy, he really was good in this. Whatever.
Oh, he was great. He was
their
great.
love
I loved him.
story.
And I loved
Danny
him.
DeVito's here
Yeah,
again.
that's what Danny
You
DeVito.
know,
I love the quote unquote the telling the whoppers, the lies, the big fish. It wasn't real. Like,
Yeah.
I never knew. My dad was this guy that I didn't really know. He's just always telling these tour stories, and the son is so straight laced, whatever.
Who
but
played the wife of the son?
What's her name? See him from Batman: The Dark Knight Rises.
Is it her?
Yes.
The main character, the girl.
She has a.
Oh,
she's
that's
French.
right. She has an accent.
Yeah, she's French.
Shit.
She's the one from Inception too.
Right, the
Yeah.
wife, Leo's wife.
Yeah, the one
She's
that committed
beautiful.
suicide.
Marion.
I think she's
Yes, that's it.
Marion Cotillard.
Yes,
Cotillard.
yes.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous. Be
She's
that
very
accent.
beautiful.
Oh my god, it's just like it's exactly that movie, man. If this movie was meant to be like a love letter to his dad, you feel it. You really do
So,
feel it.
I had saw this movie on my own too, and then I loved it so much. And then when the Pearl Jam song came out,
Were you crying?
Man of the Hour.
Man of the Hour.
Yeah, I bought the greatest hits
that's
just
a
for
great
that song.
fucking song,
Yeah,
man.
I bought the greatest
That's a
hits for
great
that song.
The quote here on the back, I brought my copy, guys, to show you. I only have it on DVD. I haven't looked for it on Blu-ray, but I mean, I just love this.
It was
copy,
funny because
too.
like I had liked it, and that movie's like from what 03?
Yeah, I think we said 03.
So
Okay.
Rox and John have never seen Big Fish.
Oh wow. Okay,
Oh.
I think you will
I
like
would
it.
highly
It
recommend
has
it.
like a
Rox.
lot
I
of
think
yeah.
that y'all will both really like it.
Yeah.
And so it was funny. So I was like, a few weeks ago, or no, a few months ago, I was flipping through Netflix,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, Big Fish.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, Big Fish. I was like, man, I haven't seen that
They
movie.
just put it on too.
I was like, I
hadn't
haven't
been-
seen that movie in so long, right? So I played it, and my daughter asked me, she goes like, what are you watching? I'm like, it's Big Fish. I go, it's a Tim Burton movie. I was like, I liked it when I was like about almost your age. I was like, I kind of.
Did she watch it with you?
She did, and she
I love
loved
how
it.
she loves.
And
every
they
night, yeah,
added,
like
and she loved it. And then I saw it again like 2 days ago to prepare for kind of this episode. But I was just a bullshit excuse. I know the movie.
Sure.
I was like,
I just want to watch it.
yeah, and
We watched Batman, for God's
And
sake.
sure enough, like she was there
But I haven't
again.
seen it in forever.
She was there on the couch again, and she was like, "Oh, you're watching Big Fish?" I was like, "I love this movie." And so me and her saw it again while my wife was kind of like on her phone.
Yeah.
Or no, my wife was asleep. I was like, "Let's watch this while mommy's asleep."
Yeah.
Like it's 2 hours, and
Has
we saw
Christina
it.
seen it?
She saw it, but too long and boring.
Yeah.
She didn't really get it. I don't think.
I do feel like you have to be invested. It's
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was just the story after story after story. I think it just kind of
I
like was
really
throwing
love
off,
that. I love
and,
that.
and yeah, I mean, me and my daughter, like it's funny, like she hates when she has something in common with me. Like she wants to be a mommy's girl, but man, when you see her,
Sorry.
she likes
Too
like
late.
she likes a lot of shit that I like, and I laugh like kind of like in the
Because you're
background.
cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not that Christina is.
No,
I love
I
Christina.
know, but it's like she ends up liking a lot of shit that I like, and
Yeah.
I don't tell her because I'm like she's gonna be like, oh man.
And it's funny because I'm the opposite. Like Kal-El has shown me a lot of stuff and him
Yeah.
that we end up liking and loving because of him.
And I'm just like, wow, okay, this is like really cool or whatever. But
Although
yeah.
I started watching X-Files recently, and he likes watching it with me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well,
Nice.
her show before that was
SVU.
SVU.
Well, I'm still watching SVU,
which
but
I like.
I'm caught
don't
up.
have that on while he's around or whatever. Like
That is hard to watch.
But
well, he really
in a
doesn't
good
watch.
way.
He
In a good
prefers
way.
for me to watch X-Files over that one.
yeah, because I think he gets into like the creepy
He likes the
aspects,
supernatural.
aliens and the supernatural.
The
stuff,
aliens. So
But I mean, he would love this.
He
you know what
probably
I mean?
would.
It's a cool, like,
such
it
a
go,
great
like I said, it goes
movie.
from like story to story to story.
and I like that it's like a story being told to you.
Yeah.
Even though you're watching the movie.
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor is like really just like very positive on everything,
know.
like on
Oh,
life,
man,
on everything.
he's
I like
so
when
good.
he's in the field and he's or spoiler alerts, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, and then go ahead.
Well, they're at college. I think she's at college,
Mhm.
and he says, "I'm gonna come back every day, right? I'm gonna
Yes.
come back every day and tell
Like
you."
stuff like that. Like there's so much. It's a father-son story, but it's also like this love story.
Right.
You know, Ewan McGregor's in the love story part. And then, the famous basketball player, right? AA, George Mearsaw, whatever, is the big giant.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
You know
yes.
what I mean? Like he was actually in the NBA and he's
Yeah.
like, there's a giant in this town. Like it's like you're like, what's going on? But then again, that feels very Tim Burton at points.
Right.
The circus parts. I mean, like again, the guy loves circuses apparently. They say he has a love for clowns, right? Since we read that about him, right?
I think you said that.
Shit, no
Yeah.
kidding, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
clowns.
I really like at the end of the movie. Sorry, John and Roxanne, if you're still watching.
Spoiler alert's coming.
They
3, 2.
they show that everybody was real, just
Yeah.
not as
Exaggerated.
elaborated. Yeah.
Right.
It's like
and
the-
I really like that because like he wasn't lying. He was just making the story better for his kid.
And he tells him that throughout the
Yeah.
movie.
Right.
He's like, you want to hear it the other way, the boring way? I mean,
Right.
And I really love how like the wife was endeared to the dad. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
it's
like,
a
she
sweet
wanted
old
to hear
man.
it.
Like their stories
Big time.
are fine.
Like she wanted to live in his head, like his fantasy.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
everyone's stories like that. It's like you don't remember it like almost exactly the way it happened because it was probably just like a normal day. But when you remember
Yeah.
like like when we were like at a concert or something happened to us,
Mhm.
our day that day at fucking Dallas, it's like like when
Yeah.
we tell it, it's like much more because we're like. I mean, it felt like that, you know what I mean? At the time where it was like, fuck, man, like, Cat hadn't had a drink of fucking water. Yeah, I was like, how is this guy fucking still going? I remember unzipping that Negan jacket and just feeling like I just like lost 20 pounds, like just like steam came out of that bitch. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck, man, I can't believe we've been here all fucking day.
I told CM, I said, because the AA, he's like, I'm not wasting my time getting water. Like, I'll just swallow my spit. Like, I don't have time to be stopping and getting snacks.
He literally told me, he was like, I don't eat or drink because he's like, what if we're in a line or whatever, and then I have like go or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen to me at that moment. I'm like, what? Like, I was like, I'm dying right now. And I was
I'm like, I'm not gonna
"Alright."
die in one day if I don't eat or drink.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'm braving it through now with AA. But fucking such a great movie. Anyone out
Highly
there that hasn't
recommend that
seen
movie.
it, I highly recommend Big Fish. I absolutely adore it. AA, I think you're on board. And sis,
Oh, yeah.
you're definitely on board for that one. So that's 2003, and let's go to quick 2005 because there's another big one because it is like big one after big one. But this one is like one we all know is it's no longer Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but we get Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And this was like kind of already now we're like in the internet age, and people were like seeing images of like Johnny Depp, and they were like, "What the fuck? His
What
Wonka
year were
looks
we in?
different." 2005. But I remember that.
Did we miss Nightmare?
Well, because it's not under. He didn't direct it.
That's right.
technically.
Yeah, he did
Okay.
not direct it.
Like the stories is for sure. Like
Mhm.
like everyone
Yeah.
knows that. But
Shit,
he
we
didn't
definitely
direct
we
it.
definitely got a hit on that though
Yeah.
at a point.
Yeah.
I think
there.
the characters in the story are his.
Yeah,
You're
are
right.
his. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't direct it.
It's interesting how they put it because I think it's just something like from based on ideas or something like
Right.
that. But
I think in one part it does say the characters.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
And
And they show
the
it too,
story
like
is his.
early drawings that he did,
Yeah.
like back in like the 80s or something that he did for the movie.
right. Do you want to go to that one real quick and then we'll come
Okay.
back?
It doesn't matter. No, we can start with what you.
Well, I was gonna just say Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We can go quickly. Like, where do we stand on it? Really,
I like it. I like
I
the
like
movie.
it.
I like how they show the Oompa Loompas a little bit more, where he got them from.
I always use
Yeah, that's a good
Right.
point. Like,
I hated the Oompa Loompas the way they looked and their songs because they weren't as good as the original. But I thought Depp's is no Gene Wilder by
Oh.
far. That one's a better
nobody's
movie.
Gene Wilder.
That's a better movie. But he is weird. Like he's like a weird Willy
Yeah.
Wonka. Like you're like even when he's like you're really weird. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like even me and you know, your brother Will like had a life. We're like, man, he fucking comes off like a creep. Like, and now, like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
right.
really, like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's
like,
right.
Well, Gene
you're
Wilder's really weird too, and
You're
just
rude.
like,
yeah, and rude,
Rude.
yeah. But this, like, Johnny Depp's is like it's like a creepy weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get like creepy vibes from
He's
Gene
still like
Wilder.
a kid, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. So there's a different aspect to it or whatever.
But I loved it because like I love how the grandpa tells the story of like how he came to, you know, be rich. Like he was like the dominant chocolate guy.
Yeah,
And then it was like people started going in there and starting to steal the ideas. I love that whole
like, he
part,
was
that
like,
kind of
shut
stuff.
it down.
Yeah, shutting down, and then he goes to try and find, you know, what different flavors or whatever, and that's when he runs into the Oompa Loompas.
Right.
I love that
He's
part.
going to like different countries
Yeah.
and everything.
And where he saves them too from the fucking beasts that are killing them or whatever it is.
I don't
'Cause
remember that part, but I remember
Yeah,
him
because
going
I think
to
it's
find
actually
them.
in the book. Like there's like some beast that like hunts the Oompa Loompas, and he takes them so they can be safe.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like stuff like that. That was kind of cool that they didn't show in the original. It was kind of like all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
So, I mean, I
The
like
dad
it.
aspect, I guess, of why.
Oh, why he became like a candy connoisseur?
man, yeah.
His dad was a dentist, right?
hmm
His fucking.
And he got rid of all his candy that Halloween. Christopher Lee.
That's fucked up.
I like the prince. How he builds that chocolate house for that prince.
Oh,
That was fun,
yeah.
And he wants him to build him another one.
How he did like different things.
He's like, you better start eating.
Yeah, that's right. See, he's like his little like nuances come out. Where you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? So real quick, I know that we meant to get to this and we should have gotten to it sooner, but let's talk about it real quick. If you guys are we done with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Great movie.
I liked it. Yeah, I mean, I might even own it. To be honest.
Yeah. This should have been probably much higher when we mentioned it, but because we're back in 1993
Again,
now.
we're talking about his directing.
His
movies.
directing.
Right.
However, I mean, obviously a skilled writer as well. And this one specifically, because Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993, is directed by Henry Selick. But writers, the first one they list, story and characters, is Tim Burton.
That's all his.
Now-
Yeah, so because I know obviously they collaborated because they
Yeah.
were working together, but I think it was really all Tim. I don't know why he didn't direct it. Maybe he had something else going on at the time. I don't know.
Maybe he
You know
thought
what?
the other guy was better, maybe for the claymation stuff.
Maybe
Or
maybe.
timing, maybe because 93, I mean,
Yeah.
he would have been maybe coming off of what we just
Batman.
said was Batman,
Yeah.
and then but obviously this guy that did it, Henry Selick did a great
Oh,
job.
he did.
Sometimes they have a heavy hand in it, like someone like Burton, I imagine, did have a heavy hand in what was going on. But it said that the adaptation for the story and characters was by a guy named Michael McDowell, and then the screenplay by Caroline Thompson. But you think of Nightmare Before Christmas, you think of Tim Burton.
Mhm.
They go
Oh, yeah.
hand in hand.
I mean, it's
I mean,
his. That's him.
Roxanne says it's the same director of Coraline.
Yeah,
Okay,
Right.
maybe he thought he was better at like the
that's what I'm saying. Maybe that guy
stop-motion
had
type
more
stuff.
feel for that kind of stuff.
Before that, Roxanne says there's something about Marion. I can't say her last
Her
name.
last name that I never care for.
I never cared for her. Really,
Ugh.
Rox?
Man, so
why?
you don't like
I
Anne
wanna know
Hathaway,
why.
and now you don't like Marion.
Well, she said she does like Anne
Oh,
Hathaway, just
okay.
not
Sorry,
as
Roxanne.
Catwoman.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I really like that actress though.
What are we talking about? We're talking about actors from which one?
Marion. What's
The
her
one
name?
from,
the French actors.
The first
Yeah.
one.
Oh, right.
Sorry,
right,
we're
right,
reading
right,
her
right.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Nightmare Before Christmas is pretty cool. It's pretty damn cool. I flipped even more when I found out it was Chris Sarandon that was the voice of Jack, because I love Chris Sarandon.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know
So
that
I
for
was-
a long time.
I was
I
fucking-
didn't know that.
That was cool.
I always thought it was Danny Elfman but
and
only
he does the
singing
singing voice,
part.
which is pretty
Yeah.
damn cool too.
Then to find out that he is a singer from Oingo Boingo, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Boogie Boogie.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But the band also, that
Oh,
Oingo Boingo
okay.
band.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
which they have a.
Yeah, so
Roxanne will tell me the main hit right now. I'm sure.
when me and my wife met Chris Sarandon, she's like, man, does it ever
This
kind of
is
like,
him that plays.
Yeah, mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
she goes, does it ever amaze you like all this shit that comes out like every year? And he goes, yeah, it's like it's every Halloween I'm seeing something new from Nightmare Before Christmas, and he's like, every year he's just getting stronger and stronger. He goes, I never would have thought when I was voicing that character it'd be like this big old mascot for Halloween now and Christmas.
Yeah.
And Christmas, he said,
Very iconic.
This movie, so there's a lot of stuff. So this movie for me, sis, with you is like people tie this movie to you.
Right.
Like, like
I
I don't
really
know
do.
if there's something like that for me, but like people like a lot of people like they're gonna get me some. They're gonna get me some like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's like I'm kind of tied to Star Wars or Marvel stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't ever really get DC stuff. I never get Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, and I like the Nightmare Before Christmas a lot. You know what I mean? But it's like I almost feel like I can't wear a Nightmare Before Christmas shirt because that's Amy's thing. You know, like we're brother and sister, so it's like
I don't mind.
you know, like
I don't mind
you know,
sharing.
I don't know if you have a thing like that for you, Double A, because I think you're into like a lot of things. Whatever,
Well, see,
but,
like, and actually, Sabrina's the one that actually, my daughter is actually the one that got me back into this movie. I'd only seen it like one time.
Mhm.
And
I
then,
think she had a birthday party.
Yeah, she did.
and
couple
she
years
was
ago.
Sally.
and she was
She was
Sally.
a
Like,
Sally,
she
yeah.
loves Sally. She loved the
Uh-huh.
Sally character.
I love Sally.
She
too.
loves how she's always trying to kill the scientist. You know, like she thinks that's just fucking hilarious that she's poisoning him and
That
everything.
her spoon with holes in it.
Yes,
I love
uh-huh.
Sally, but Jack's probably.
But she just loves Sally. She
Mhm.
loved the look of her. I think it's Catherine O'Hara, right? That does the
Uh,
voice of
let me
Sally,
check real
the one
quick.
from Home Alone, the mom from Home
Oh,
Alone.
I
No
think you're
shit.
right.
Yeah, I think
What
she's
the
the one
fuck?
that does Sally's voice. And you know that
Yeah,
scientist,
you're right.
like I said, is fucking funny. You know,
And she's also Shock from the Boogie's Kids.
and
Yeah.
then like I said,
Something like a burgle.
Mhm.
Oogie Boogie was fucking scary. I was like, holy shit, that's actually a pretty fucking scary
Yeah,
character.
he was. I thought it was cool. Like when he gets unraveled,
Yeah.
and he's all bugs.
Yeah.
Like I think
yeah.
my favorite part is when he finds the doorways
Oh,
to
that
all the
part's
holidays.
really
I was like,
awesome.
man, that's pretty damn cool.
It really,
I like that.
really was like, man, I wonder what's behind the
Right?
doors.
I like there's like one for Easter, one for
Thanksgiving.
Christmas, Thanksgiving. I
Uh,
forgot what
There's
the other
even a
one-
Shamrock.
Yeah, there's St.
for-
Patrick
for
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
and a heart for Valentine's.
How about this? I just said that not only is Captain O'Hare Sally, and she's also Shock, but one of Boogie's kids, Locke, is Paul Rubens.
Ah,
So how's that for calling back
That's
awesome.
to your people there?
Well,
Paul
who
Rubens.
does
Very cool.
Beryl? I'm all.
I don't know who Beryl is, but I can tell you. Do y'all want to know who the mayor is? Glenn Shaddix. Y'all are like, who the fuck is that? Otho.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Otho
That's
is
so
fucking.
awesome. I didn't know
That
I
that.
fucking
didn't
mayor
know
is
that
funny.
either. What the fuck?
yeah.
Like-
So one year, my daughter wanted a Nightmare Before Christmas party, and man, I made my damn tree like very like dark and black. I was like, man,
That's awesome. That was the best treat
I
ever.
was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness! And I even put like gold, so it can be like the moon. You
That's
know, it was
awesome,
like
man.
purple. It was all purple and black. I was like, golly.
Talk about daddy's
like,
girl.
Uh-huh.
Right.
This movie, again, like says, it's like I feel like it's tied to you. People get you this shit all the time or whatever, and I say this shit very loosely because I love it too.
Right.
Walgreens has like some type of
Oh,
relationship
man.
with them.
Yeah.
They have like so
Actually,
much
when I
stuff.
needed decoration for a
Decorations, that's
party,
what
I
you
went to Walgreens.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff that you had gotten, I had seen at Walgreens. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want that.
And
Yeah.
it's a Disney movie. It's a Walt Disney
That's
movie.
right.
Yeah, you know
That's
what I mean. It's
right.
like it was in the game. Amy, you're a big fan of the game, the Kingdom Hearts games,
Oh, that's
where
right.
the levels, each level is
I've
like a different
never
Disney
like
movie.
really played, but I've always wanted to. Like when Marquise,
Yeah.
our friend Marquise, first started playing it, and I was like, oh, I really want to. Like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And I know they had put a nightmare level in there, which is very cool. But I mean, yeah, I can watch this one over and over again. I do not know if I own a copy, but it's probably because I'm waiting for a good. She has a really cool, I think, like slipcase one, right?
What year is it?
I think so.
93?
Okay, so it's coming up.
It's probably coming up. Yeah,
It's
so
coming
I'll
up,
probably be
yeah.
getting my good copy soon, whatever.
I have
you know.
that. And I have a.
I want a Blu-ray. So
And it
first of
will
all.
probably.
But she has a nice slipcase, and I think I bought you the
I
soundtrack,
might even
right?
have two. I have the soundtrack. It comes in like a Jack Skellington head, and it even comes with like a little pin. I really would like the soundtrack, but a record.
Oh,
Oh,
that'd be
nice.
badass.
I really
yeah.
like that.
They even did what they call like the Nightmare Revisited, where like Marilyn Manson and other big bands covered the songs,
Which are really
from,
good.
Yeah.
from
really
the Nightmare
good.
Before Christmas. And not even at that. At the end, there is like whoever narrates the original, that's narrating it in the Nightmare. He narrates like an end scene or whatever, but he's doing it as Santa. I think it's the guy that does Santa. He's like, and one year I went back and visited Jack, and I went to see how he was doing after all that. And we talked about the time when he did. He goes, and there was little. He talks about there being little kids running around that were like Sally and Jack's kids.
Oh,
So
shit.
they become parents.
Damn.
It's a really interesting, and it's supposed to be like a canon ending kind of to that, where him and Santa goes, and we sat there, we laugh about that time,
Wow,
whatever, when
okay.
they're remembering the Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm like, damn, this shit is like really fucking cool, and it's only on that end of that CD or whatever that you can hear that little
okay.
kind of ending, whatever. But we have a really cool story too, where we went to the McName Museum, me and Amy, and we took Kalel. It was a couple years ago now, right?
Oh yeah.
They had a lot of the claymation stuff there from the movie, the real stuff. It was there.
Sometimes they
You
had
could view
exhibits, special exhibits.
Yeah.
One of their special exhibits was A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I took quite a few pictures, whatever. It was pretty badass.
Serena would have loved it, man.
It was really cool, man. But yeah,
it was definitely smaller then, but
yeah.
That's always a really good memory for me because that's something. And Kelly was too small. I don't think.
No, he was walking. We had pictures with him like standing by the entrance of. But I mean, probably to appreciate, remember it. You know what I mean? Plus, it's a lot of like random stuff. It's like one of the houses or one of whatever. But it's neat to see the fucking detail and all that of the display. You know, so definitely love Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite Tim Burton movie, although he didn't direct it.
No, it's funny. It's like what me and TM said. Like we think True Romance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like it's a Tony Scott, and Tony Scott's a great director.
Amazing
but I mean
director.
that's a Tarantino movie.
I fucking love True Romance.
And they put it in the Tarantino box.
It's in his box set.
So,
like,
I mean,
what do you mean? Like you put another director in this guy's box set. It's like it's such a Tarantino movie.
But I did like the Tony Scott that he was like, I fell in love with these characters, and I couldn't do the ending.
I feel like
that
if
Tarantino wanted.
Right.
You directed it, but I mean, if you didn't write it though, and it's not your idea, then is it your movie?
But the director has a lot of influence because in the end of any movie, you're seeing the director's vision.
Well, he's the one kind of telling them like, hey, do this, do that, or don't do this.
Well, not only that too, but he has to get the performance out of the actors.
Right.
He has to interpret the material to be viewed by the audience. Like, there's a lot. I think it's a lot. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I'm not saying don't give them credit, but at the same time, it's like, this was my idea, but I'm giving it to you so that you can make it.
I would say this, a good example to help anyone that has that is like, read The Shining and then watch The Shining and you see what the director, you're like, is this the fucking same thing? Or whatever?
I never read the
These
book,
characters are named the same, but it's a lot fucking different. Like, it's
I was going to say, so Roxanne had some interesting comments. She goes, Tim Burton was super busy. He tried to do both, but he couldn't and had to delegate it to another director.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes that, he was busy directing Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
She says, what's that song? What's that band group, whatever?
Oingo Boingo.
They sang Weird Science and Dead Man's Party.
Weird Science, it's a dead man's
And then
party.
she goes, yep, Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara, and Paul Rubens actually sang live, Kidnapped the Santa Claus. It's on YouTube. So there's actually video of them singing.
That's awesome.
I will be watching that tonight.
But yeah, that's like another thing it's all Tim Burton. That's all his. There's footage of him developing the whole story already,
And that's the thing, right? When your influence is felt so heavily upon it that.
And I'm sure he called
like
him. I'm sure whenever he saw the footage, he was like, okay, this needs to be different. This needs to be changed. Because I think it took a long time for it to
I would imagine.
Well,
Stop motion is
stop motion takes a really long time.
One day when there's a Tim Burton box set and there will be one, that movie will probably be in there. Because it feels so him. Like we said, we talked about Jack's first appearance being in Beetlejuice. It's literally like the culmination of the character. You know what I mean? The fruition of it. So love that for him so much.
Definitely in my top
definitely
5.
So getting kind of back, whatever, which just I'm not sure how much sense this makes, whatever, but we're back in 2005, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but we also have that year The Corpse Bride, directed by Tim Burton. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell a quick story about this movie for me and Amy. So this is going to come out before, but in the same year as Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
So I remember me and Amy talking about it, and she was like, and I was like, she was like all gassed up for it or whatever. She's like, oh, because like Hot Topic, like they had put out all the shit before it even came out. I think I might have been working there at the time.
Probably.
Why? And I was like, and she's like, man, bro, like I want to get this, I want to get that. And I was like, dude, you're like going so heavy, like you're investing. What if the movie's not any good? And her quote to me was, and she goes, come on, bro. That's like saying the next Star Wars movie is not going to be any good. And I was like, all right. Like for me, that made sense. I was like, that's your shit. Star Wars is my shit. You know what I mean? Like, but although it's everybody's shit, you know, I was like, all right. But I do remember you were saying you felt a little bit flat afterwards about it.
I mean, because you're expecting and wanting what Nightmare's
the bar, by far.
Right.
Yeah.
And because it's a stop motion and
Yeah.
you're thinking it's just gonna be amazing. And I do love the Corpse Bride. Actually,
It's good. I liked it too.
Yeah.
The
And I
first,
think it's kind
I
of
love the
grown too.
storyline.
yeah, it aged well. Yeah,
I
it's
think
grown a
that
lot.
every time I rewatch it, I like it and love it more.
a little bit more.
Right, because you're
See, and Sabrina loves it.
Yeah.
She loves it a lot.
yeah.
The first year that Jessica and I were together as a couple in 2012, she dressed herself as the Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
She had that idea. She did the makeup and stuff. And it was neat because she did it where her eyes were like on her eyelids, so she had to close her eyes so it looked like she had the full big eyes,
Yeah.
like
I
Emily.
remember that.
Okay.
That's
You
really
know,
cool.
and I will always remember that as like this. I have like interesting memories with the Corpse Bride, probably more the memories than actual movie. Like that conversation she and I had about it, where I was like, she compared it to Star Wars, but it was like, to her, it was like, it's Tim Burton, so there could be no wrong done. Just like, well, Revenge of the Sith was great, but we had previous kind of like, there were things that could have been better from
Right.
George and Star
Like, of
Wars.
course, it
or
was
whatever.
great, but like it wasn't like as good as Nightmare.
Sure, although
Because
they aged well, because we did a whole episode on
Right.
that, how the prequels aged well for that. So yeah, I need to rewatch it. I watched it. I think this last past Halloween we watched it,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah,
I think
this
that's
is
the last time I
this is
watched
pretty still. It's pretty solid.
I like the
It's a
story.
neat little story.
I really
yeah.
like the story, like how she gets murdered by her husband,
Mhm.
and he's gonna do it again to this other one.
Liquor.
Yeah.
And they fucking get his ass at the end. I was like, oh yeah.
And all she wanted was kind of like to get married and
to be
like,
loved. Yeah, like
you
how
know,
she
so.
deserved.
And it's Johnny Depp, right, as the voice of Victor or whatever.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think Helena is
It's Emily.
Emily, yeah.
Yeah, and then people were saying too, like, there's a lot of fan theories where they say like, like, is Victor when he dies he becomes Jack, and
That's right.
and
That's
she
right.
like they want is
Yeah.
Emily like some version of Sally or whatever.
I think Sabrina even told me about something about the dog.
Yeah. So supposedly that's supposed to be the Frankenweenie dog, because in that one,
that's what it is.
in that one, the little boy looks like him. He looks like how
Mhm.
Victor looks
Like Victor.
older or whatever. And then they're like, oh, that the Frankenweenie dog becomes Zero from Nightmare, which it doesn't all make sense, but it would be neat to tie it all together.
Yeah, she told me somehow.
Yeah.
There's this big old theory.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be cool. Like you're building a multiverse there, right? You know what I mean? So we're for
The
that.
Burton
So a
verse.
Facebook user says, I love the Corpse Bride. I always wanted to use the vows in that movie. I can't remember the vows. I want to look them up because I really did like the vows in that movie.
Let's see if we can find.
And that's kind of how her and Victor become married, because he says the vows, but he drops his.
Ooh, so romantic. Who wrote that?
He
Whoever
drops
you are,
his
Facebook
ring
user.
on what he thinks is a branch, but it's really her
Her
freaking ring
finger.
finger saved from the ground.
Yeah,
And he's practicing because he's gonna marry. I can't remember the other girl's name.
I don't remember her
And
name either. Yeah.
Then she freaking rises up out of the fucking
Grave.
shallow grave that she's in.
Which isn't that like so Tim Burton?
Right.
What is like
Yeah.
creepy Tim Burton like love
Right.
story?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but for kids.
Oh, it's Roxanne.
yeah. So the next
Okay, Roxanne didn't.
that's 05. The next thing we
That would
see
have been
here
so cute, Rocks.
on
I'd been
IMDb
crying.
is
I'd been crying.
Cinema 16 American short films, but it doesn't say what. It says it's a video. Then he did something called I think it's the band The Killers, a video called Bones.
Oh, okay, like music videos.
He
and
did the
shit
music
like that.
video.
Okay, what about movies?
The next big thing though is 07, which the very famous musical Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
What are we talking about?
Johnny, his next thing after
Oh,
Corpse
okay.
Bride.
I just wanted to read the Corpse Bride.
Oh, go ahead, read
vows.
the
It
vows.
says, with this hand I will lift your sorrows. Your cup will never be empty, for I will be your wine. With this candle I will light your way into darkness. With this ring I ask you to be mine.
I guess John didn't like that.
Ooh, that gave me chills. I didn't know that was. I bet Jess would let us get married with those vows.
Right? She's creepy like
I
that.
guess John was
John
like,
was
no.
like, no.
No.
He's like, so we have some stuff from the Bible that we're gonna read, honey.
Yeah.
So,
Damn, come on, John.
Man, good old Christian John.
I mean,
there.
John.
Roxanne, you're cool for both you and John.
Damn it, John.
It's a nice day for a white wedding.
Roxanne's on black wedding.
Who gets married on Halloween? Or the crow?
Damn.
Who gets married
that's
on
right.
Halloween?
Yeah, nice looking couple over here. Nice couple.
Roxanne says, I want to see Sweeney Todd play in theater. This was a movie that I really loved. Like when I read about it, I was like, man, this sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah.
A guy that gets wrongly accused of a crime gets sent away. He comes back very pissed off. Like, just fucking full of rage and vengeance, and the killing of people and putting the meat in the pies or
Yeah, the
whatever.
meat
and
pies.
But he
the
doesn't
meat
mean
pies.
to kill at first, right?
No,
in
he
the movie?
doesn't. No, he's trying to get to.
Well, he's wronged.
Yeah,
Because
he is wrong.
he gets fucked over
By the
and then
mayor. Is it the mayor?
Yeah,
Or
because
is
it
it-
wants.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, because it's
the Burgermeister.
It's
Fucking-
it's Alan Rickman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I
Classic
think
Alan
he sends
Rickman.
him away because he loves Sweeney Todd's like woman.
He wants his
Yeah,
chick.
He wants his meat mince pie.
He's a judge, Judge Turpin.
John goes, I don't even know what's going on. Yeah, you do, John.
No,
you know what's
yeah.
going on.
You know what you did, motherfucker?
It was all about you at your wedding.
Mhm. It's a nice day for a
Hey,
white wedding.
John had just half the tuxedo and the other half was the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John's got the show on in the background, but he's just
Just
looking
kidding,
through
John, I love
he's
you.
looking through the wedding album right now, like, oh great, I did this great, I did this great.
I wanted to like it. Again, this was something different from Tim Burton. We said it earlier. It's
Yeah.
a musical.
It
It was
is
a
a
musical, which is I think the story is old. I think the
Mhm.
Sweeney Todd, the demon of or
Fleet Street.
yeah.
Or,
Mhm.
I think that is an old story.
I was gonna say,
think
so
it's
is it originally like a movie or a play?
I think
A play.
it's a play.
It's a play,
Yeah.
okay.
Roxanne, if you're still out there in viewer land, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we went to a production of this by your sister. Your sister, Shannon, put on a production of this from her. Maybe it might have. I thought it was her school, but maybe
So-
I'm wrong.
Originally, when I first saw it, I didn't care for it. I was kind of disappointed. I think I had too much high hopes for it, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch it again, kind of
And it
without
doesn't-
all that.
It doesn't say
And-
that it's a musical, right?
No,
so
I
you
don't
don't
think it
know.
was. But I think if I see it again, I think I will probably appreciate it more. But the first viewing around, I didn't care for it.
It's definitely like dark. It's definitely like macabre. Like
I like it, and I don't
then-
like musicals.
And then I
Right.
think Helena's character kind of like tricks him, right, to keep doing it, right? Like, 'cause
well,
she
she,
loves,
loves-
wants him, yeah. So
Yeah,
she's like,
and-
I'll help you out.
and then he
if
finds
you-"
out like what's going on.
well,
right?
also the meat pies are selling like hotcakes, so she's
right?
like,
Because
I
don't think
stop.
he does.
'cause-
Yeah, he doesn't know
Right?
that she's doing the
Yeah.
prize.
Yeah.
He just knows that she's disposing of the bodies. you
But
know?
it's kind of got like kind of Monte Cristo vibes, you know what I mean?
Big
So
time,
it's where
yeah.
he's like,
Oh, I love that movie,
he's
by the way.
wronged,
Yeah, big time.
in love, and he's like,
Well,
he wants to
also-
come back, and his plan is just to kill the judge. Like he's like, I
Yeah.
just want fucking
Yeah.
revenge. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of Mr. Freeze-ish in a way as well. It's like,
yeah, it's also
fuck you that wronged me.
yeah, it's fucked up because Helena knows that his wife is still alive,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
and
yeah.
she doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
and that's why
so-
she gets got at the
Yeah,
end.
she gets got at the end because she fucking up too. So, do you own a copy?
Oh, I don't know if I have a copy of
That's
that
an
one.
interesting. Okay, not you, obviously.
No,
don't
no,
worry.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
I
It
don't
says we
know.
can watch that one on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's
right
on.
now.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
kind of like, I wanted to take
rewatch.
another viewing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
We
It's
should
good.
watch that one
It's
together.
very
Uh,
like
all
fucking
three of us.
Roxanne says Sweeney was written by Steve Sodom.
Sound-
I know that name.
Sondheim.
I'm not pronouncing it
Steven
right.
Sondheim.
Where am I at?
Right here, the bottom one.
Oh,
He knew how to-
Sondheim, yeah.
He knew how to be morbid and dramatic, and truly understood how to capture the creepiness into song.
Mhm.
Tim saw this play in the 70s in England and fell in love with it, and always wanted to bring it in film. Damn. So okay, so he saw it in the 70s. So it's a real old one then.
Very
Okay.
nice, Rox. Thank you. CM, was another
School, but we did see it.
Okay.
Okay.
What's cool?
Well,
the play that you said.
Shannon's-
Oh, it was another school, but
Wow.
it was
He
my
only
bad.
had 2 beers.
No, it's yeah. That's right. I have a bottle of wine at home, motherfucker.
Sam was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, wait a
Okay.
minute.
No, it's been
Jack.
like 3.
Where's Jack's lament on this? Because I was like, wait a minute. I know that I fucking have a bottle of wine at home, right?
He did. I forgot.
So yes, thank you, Roxanne, for that. But it was also a very good production of that.
But again,
Play.
another collaboration with Helena. I don't know if this was his last before they broke up. And
I think
with
we
Johnny
may
Depp.
we may have.
Oh no,
we have one more with Johnny Depp. We have a couple more with Johnny Depp. Actually.
Okay.
But with both of them.
Oh,
we
that's
talked
right. That's
about.
right.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
the next one we have, the next big one, this is 07, so we kind of have a big leap here to 2010. Well, really, no 3 years, right? 7, 3, 9, 10. So yeah, so 2010, we get another classic with Alice in Wonderland, right?
Right.
And we had kind of all known, they had said Johnny Depp's going to be playing the Mad Hatter, so it was like a big deal. Like
It's funny because he was like the main character.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a big
it's
role
like
for Jack, which is not how it is in the Disney version, which we're probably all familiar with.
So
was
I
the
actually
most-
put on the Disney version the other day because that's actually one of my favorite like top 5 Disney movies, like the animated ones, Alice in Wonderland. And CM was watching it and he's like, I don't remember any
getting
of
high
this.
or not getting high?
Plead the fifth.
Damn.
CM was like, I don't remember any of this. This is so weird that this happened. Is this the original? And I'm like, yeah, this is how it happens.
The
like,
whole story is just fucking weird. The Alice in Wonderland story.
I love it. I just
In
love
the,
fun.
in the
It's fun.
Disney,
It
the
is
animated
fun.
version
Fun.
or this
Oh,
version?
well, I mean, the animated one too.
The
This
animated one, I think, is more like, who's smoking motherfucking weed?
Yeah, because I was like,
Who's
I know I've seen this, and I was like, I don't remember any of these parts, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, and I was like,
it
maybe
is kind of like all
like
over the place.
double
but
A.
she's
I
in-
watched it long enough to think. I was like, I've not ever seen this movie.
She's
before.
in
I was
Wonderland.
wrong. I was wrong.
She's in Wonderland.
Yeah, like everyone, and like who was I talking with? I was sitting with
It's
somebody, and they're like,
filled
you don't
with
remember this
wonders.
part? They're like, what parts do you remember? And I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, she's there at the thing at the party, then she gets lost. She follows the rabbit. I was like, she drinks the potion. She gets small. Like I was like, all right. They were like, yeah, you're right. And then I was like, everything after all of this, I don't remember. I remember her meeting the Cheshire Cat, and I
Yeah.
remember the worm is still there, right? With the
Caterpillar.
pipe, the worm is there. So I was like, I remember these things. But then I started thinking to myself, like, am I mixing the two movies in my brain? I was like,
Probably.
you know what? I'm not on drugs, but I need fucking drugs right now to get
to
this shit
follow that
to
movie.
straighten it all out. So, but what a huge project, right? And I bet
Very
that
huge.
people are like, you know what we're gonna redo? We're gonna make a live action fucking Alice in Wonderland. You know, who do we get to direct? Let's get fucking Tim Burton. That's a great idea. Like,
And
and
it kind of is for that particular Disney story. That is.
Did you
Yeah.
watch the Alice in Wonderland?
yes, the first
You
one I
said
have
you
seen,
did
where
too.
Helena Bonham is the
I saw it
the
at the
queen.
theater,
She's
actually.
the
Yeah.
you know, I think maybe I saw it in theater too. To be honest with
But
you,
you said you haven't seen the second one because there is a second
I didn't even know there was a
And I
second one.
actually did like the second one. I don't know why it flopped. I actually did like it a
Yeah, I
No,
lot.
remember
that's
the
not in his
second one.
filmography, so I don't know.
No,
if-
he didn't do that
Yeah,
one.
no, I don't think he did that. He
no,
just did this first
no.
one.
Oh, I see.
It was supposed to be what's the next book called?
Through the Looking Glass.
Through the Looking Glass. Yeah.
You know who they should have got for that one?
Oh,
Guillermo
shit.
del Toro.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah.
If you're gonna like do big director, then you lose big director. Who directed the second one? Do y'all know?
No.
It's just like
No.
some.
No.
They probably were like, just do it like Tim Burton would do it, okay?
He's like,
Does it have the same tone? It's kind of different. Like Mad Hatter's actually losing his mind in that one.
right? Yeah, I was like, I don't remember the
So
second
is he
one.
sane in the first one or what?
Exactly.
Well,
What the fuck?
Well, see, that's the
he's
thing.
as
But see,
sane
that's-
as a Mad Hatter.
But
can
see, that's
be.
the thing. I love that about that. Like, there's like this part. He's like, he tells her, "You knew me when I was older. Now I know you when you're younger." Or some bullshit. You know, it's a classic, Alice shit. That's always like twist and turn, like
Yeah.
with
And
the
then you're
fucking
like,
phrases. And
let me
but
hit
yeah,
that
it still
pipe.
makes sense. It's like, what the fuck,
I was always telling Amy, I loved in the first one the line that was like the, I try to accomplish 9 impossible things before breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? That's not.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. So
Yeah.
I did dig that first one a lot.
And it's his highest grossing movie,
Oh, really? I did not know that.
over $1 billion.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. So
There
that's
you go.
by
Obviously
far
popular.
his highest grossing movie ever.
So there, I mean, yeah, I was wondering. I mean, huge property, and obviously did well for him. So, I think you own now.
I may own the first one, maybe,
Okay,
but definitely not the second one.
but you like it to revisit, right? Double
Yeah.
A, so-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watch it with
There it
my
is.
daughter.
I'd watch it
Yeah.
again. You know, what I mean? I'd watch it right now. 2 years after that, we get Dark Shadows.
Yeah, so I was
Barnabas
not,
Collins, huge.
I was not familiar with the whole 80s thing.
I would watch this with my mom.
Neither
too.
was I.
We liked it.
I knew about it because of Dad, actually.
Yeah.
And we actually own
the
VHS
VHS
of the
versions of
show.
that, yeah, which I think my dad bought like in later years. He ran across and was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy it against Dark Shadow. But
Um,
I remember watching it with mom.
No, I don't
part. Me and her
remember.
would watch it, me and my mom, because she liked like vampire shit. And it was also too, he was like I think he was like Silver Surferish, where he was like lamenting a lot about shit. And I was like, oh, you kind of like always in your feelings, Barnabas. Like, what the fuck?
He's like,
Barnabas?
let me be. I've been alive for fucking millions of years.
Yeah. Like I'm like, you like the saddest vampire I know and shit.
Real quick before we go
Mhm.
off, Roxanne said Angela Lansbury was one of the original Mrs. Lovitts.
Mm.
You can see her on
Mm.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess it's John says we watched it at your house. I'm guessing Sweeney Todd or one of the
No,
movies.
The Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, Alice. Okay.
I think she's talking about the
Oh,
you
right
watching
here.
Shannon at the thing, the play.
Oh, wow.
No, we went to a school to
Oh,
watch
okay.
that, but I thought I was at Shannon's play, but I often don't know where I am.
Too many
at
years
times.
of alcohol
Damn.
intake.
It's a lot.
And then
Then it's like, let's go here. I'm like, all right, I'll go.
Okay.
And then Roxanne says Mad Hatter Jabberwocky dance was a little cringe.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It was too much.
Oh, so in Dark Shadows we get our Sin City alum
I fucking
Eva
love
Green.
Eva Green.
What a knockout, man! Also, Catwoman returns. Michelle Pfeiffer
Hey, look at that.
is there. Helena Bonham is
right.
still back,
Yeah,
so
she's
they're not
still
yet
there. Okay,
broken
okay,
up
okay.
yet. Jackie Earl Haley, who we know and love, another Watchmen alum, who is Rorschach in The Watchmen, but here he is.
Oh, I think he's a
somebody else here.
The ground
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Chloe Grace Moretz is in here, who I
Yeah.
love her.
She plays a werewolf.
Christopher Lee is back.
Christopher
as well.
Lee.
Says right, and Alice Cooper.
Yeah, that's right. He does like a big scene.
Yeah,
at the
very
end.
nice. Very
I
nice.
remember that.
Yeah,
movie.
it's like I forgot what song he's doing. I don't know if it's Welcome to My Nightmare. Or...
Yeah, you can watch Dark Shadows right now on Netflix. It just kind of
I
came
didn't
out
get
on
off
Netflix.
to the movie. Honestly, I saw it and
like
yeah.
it is okay.
I know I was jamming to the Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin.
Oh, that's a good
And I
song.
was like, oh, that's fire. Yeah, that's the shit. Yeah, the story's a little like.
I mean, I kind of like the story between Barnabas and the witch. Like that part is like kind of okay, but the whole like
what's going on at the plant.
like she's
whatever,
like
the
she takes over
food
that
or
whole
whatever.
area and she's like
Yeah, that's a little thin.
I'm like, you're a fucking witch. Like
I
really?
can't remember what like the real premise of the show was that he was like trying to do or whatever.
We should try to
It
watch the
he-
VHS.
he-
Honestly,
he
I
was
don't know.
like,
I don't know, man, if I can do it.
From what I remember, the Barnabas Collins character in the
Which is
show.
weird. That's just a weird show. Like that was a novella.
Yeah, he was kind of like Louis in interview. Like I'm like, wait, you're like really like
Well, Louis
like,
Anderson?
no, like Brad Pitt Louis. Like I'm like, wait, you always
like
whining.
whine,
Like
yeah.
you're just like you're like so down on being a vampire or whatever.
You want
I'm
to be
like,
Louis when he comes back after he gets eaten by alligators?
no,
Oh
that's
wait, no, he
that's,
eats the alligators.
That's
Yeah,
not Louis.
that's
That's,
Lestat.
fucking Lestat,
Oh.
motherfucker. No, I'm Lestat
Yeah.
in fucking.
No, Louis looking for a lot of penis. That's what
Yeah,
Louis looking for.
yeah, that's what he's eating.
Wait, what movie were we talking about?
Armand penis. We've run quite the
Yeah.
gambit in a real quick span of time.
I love
of vampire
Armand.
movies.
I think
Uh,
Armand's
Louis.
the one that wants the penis, not.
No, I
I'm gonna
think in the
be-
book they actually do have a
Yeah.
relationship.
If I'm gonna
Oh,
be, if
wow.
I'm gonna be Lestat, it's gonna be from the other one with Akasha. I don't know what it's called.
The Queen of the Dam.
Beer's kicking in right now.
Fuck.
Queen of the Dam. Thank you.
Queen
Dylan.
of the Dam, where he
So-
actually likes women in that one.
On that note, I think we're gonna move on from Dark Shadows.
Oh,
It's on Netflix right now. If you want to watch it and give us your own opinion on Dark Shadows, well, by all means, I'd love to hear it.
by all means.
Also in 2012, again, it's weird where he's got like a regular one and then like an animated one
Oh,
comes out
okay.
the same year. But Frankenweenie.
Frankie Weenie.
So this is fun because
Like a remake though, because his original.
There was
was
another-
a short film.
There was a
yeah, there's a live action Frankenweenie. It's 30 minutes long, and
It was
put
just a
out-
short, but that
Yeah.
still,
the new one is based on.
and they put it out on Disney Plus now for people to watch.
Wow.
And
which
it
is really good too. I like that one.
We just watched it. I mean, I'd never seen it. It's cool. Daniel Stern is the dad, and
What did you say?
Shelley
Patricia
Duvall.
Arquette? Oh, Shelley
Shelley
Duvall.
Duvall is the
Oh,
is
in the live
mom.
action one,
The
yeah.
live action one, yeah.
But have you seen the animated one?
I have not seen the animated one in full, but what I have seen of it, I liked it because this was
That's
one
one I
that
don't think Sabrina's like
Too
Curious
nerdy
about-
to watch it.
yeah.
at Halloween.
That's cute. I
We
like
watched
it.
like that one and Corpse Bride. We put them both on, but like I was like in and out of
Yeah.
the rooms and like doing. I was trying podcasting and caught some of it, kind of, So I do a lot of shit, but yeah, just fine. It's cool. You know what I mean? Like I would definitely watch that Frankenweenie because I
Yeah.
thought the live action was really fun. I
Yeah.
was like, hey, this is cool. Whatever. It was like neat. Like
And
your
that's what
kid's,
it's based on.
your kid's dog dies, and then he's like, I doesn't want his dog to die, so he
It's
basically becomes like a Frankenstein and brings it back to life. And his name is Sparky. So it's like I thought that
It's
was very
cute.
like that's like what you would write as a little boy. You would write a story like
Yeah.
that about your dog that died. So he directed another video for the band The Killers in 2012 called
Yeah.
Here With Me. Then the next one, 2014. I don't know if either of you are familiar with this one, but Big Eyes.
I never
So
saw that one.
This
but I
movie
did want to see it.
stars Christoph Waltz and Amy Adams.
Oh,
And I know the story of this because I saw Jess watching it, and the story was basically, I think it's based on a true story where that the guy was an artist, Christoph Waltz, I think it might be based on a true story, or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but it says watch free on IMDb TV. But either way, he basically was an artist, but he wasn't any good. So then the wife tried art, and she was really good at it, and she was really known because she would draw these characters with these big eyes. I think this is based on a true story.
Roxanne, have you seen that one?
But yeah, so she started drawing, but she was drawing, letting him take credit for her drawings, whatever. Well, then they split up, and then they had to like fight over who was the true artist, or whatever.
Shit.
And apparently, there's a big mural of these actual like she drew
Yeah,
these
in
kids
the museum,
with big
right?
sad
I
eyes.
think,
Yeah, I think so. I think it might
I
be
think
in New
that-
York
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. So it
That'd be
says,
awesome to
let me
see.
just read you guys the breakdown. It says, a drama about the awakening of painter Margaret Keane, her phenomenal success in the 1950s, and the subsequent legal difficulties she had with her. Oh fuck! I clicked it.
I love her.
Where am I at? Where am I at? I don't know.
Roxanne, Amy said no, she has not seen it,
Oh, okay.
and she says that we're making her Miss
I
making
know.
her Miss Halloween,
Roxanne, have a Halloween.
Yeah,
right? Why not?
But-
party already.
How about it?
It'll be the
Should
summer ween.
Should be
Yeah, or
actually.
Easter, right? Have a Halloween
Oh
party instead
yeah,
of
Easter ween.
right? Black eggs,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The-
that'd be so awesome.
right?
The subsequent legal difficulties she had with her husband, who claimed credit
Worms
for her
coming
works in the 1960s. So yeah, so I think that it is based probably in some part on a real story or whatever.
So
but
wow, so he actually
Yeah, I think that.
that's something different too. Shit.
yeah, it's got a 7.0 on seven stars out of 10
Okay,
on IMDb. When Jess told me about it, I watched part of it with her. She was telling me what it's about. It sounded really interesting. It's cool. Another good cast again: Amy Adams, Christoph Waltz, Danny Houston.
I love Amy Adams.
Yeah,
I think that's
love-
another.
I adore
Roxanne, you
Amy
like
Adams.
Amy Adams? I can't remember.
I adore Amy Adams. It's
I
also
have a feeling
got
All right,
you might not
Roxanne.
like her.
She's okay.
yeah.
She's
So
no Isla
we've
Fisher,
got
but
oh, she's Lois Lane. So we've got Amy
Oh, okay.
Adams, who's Lois Lane. We've got
That's true.
Christoph Waltz. We've got Danny Houston, who's from the X-Men. He's Stryker.
Striker.
We've got Christian Ritter,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
also in the movie.
wait, young
who is
striker or old
also
striker?
young Stryker,
Oh,
who's also
he's handsome.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of the other one. You're thinking of the really young Stryker, not that one.
Who's in
Oh.
the middle?
This one, this
from
Stryker
Wolverine
from
Origins.
No, that one.
Origins.
Yeah, he's handsome.
Oh,
It was
Charlie's
like,
all, ugh, he's old.
okay. We've also got Jason Schwartzman, Scott Pilgrim, and then we've also got
Oh.
Terrence Stamp,
Damn.
Zod.
Damn.
So there's quite the cast of
Yeah.
comic book people in this
Okay.
movie.
Alright.
We can relate it back to the shit we talk about. So yeah, Big Eyes. So that's an interesting one.
That's what it was. She didn't like her as Lois.
Yeah.
That's what it
I
was.
don't like it.
So now
See, you're wrong.
here's when you're on your own with sis. I think. Am I,
Those things
correct me if I'm wrong,
redhead.
Double A. But we jumped from 2014
Oh,
to
shit.
2016. We're almost done, guys. Mrs. Peregrine's
Yeah.
Home for Peculiar
I
Children.
want to see it. It looks cool. I just
I wanna see
never
just
got
watch it,
around to
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I did watch it and I did like it and it was kind of creepy.
I
like,
think it
that
has
was-
that Asia kid, right? from Ender's Game.
Let me see here.
I don't know.
Asia Butterfield. Or
Evergreen?
something. Yeah, I love Evergreen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
the
Yeah, Asia
Teacher.
Butterfield.
That from Ender's Game. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not familiar. Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Madam Judi Dench, Rupert Everett, Allison Janney, Chris O'Dowd, who we all know from Bridesmaids. He's like, oh, it's the ugly carrot. You gotta eat it. It's good.
Oh
luck."
yeah, I love
That
him.
fucking
Yeah.
guy.
General Zod is
He's
back.
Irish.
Terrence
Damn.
Stamp.
Okay. I didn't know he was
Yeah.
a burning guy too. Shit.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, apparently, yeah. So Terrence Stamp's up in the mix. That'd be it for the big ones. But what's the premise of this movie, sis? Like, why should we watch it?
Sounds like it's a superhero kind of movie, right?
kind
they
of,
all have
so,
like special
like,
abilities.
I know, right?
Say less. I got you.
I think she, well, it's Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So these kids have different
Abilities, right?
abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the girls, she has to wear like steel boots to keep her down because she
Damn.
floats.
I like this one. It's called The X-Men,
Oh, also a good movie.
written by Stan Lee.
Also a good movie.
I was like, okay.
But they all have different things, and there is
It's probably
the.
just like the Umbrella Academy.
You know what? It kind of does have that feel.
Okay.
You've never seen it.
Okay.
Never seen
No.
Umbrella. You've seen.
Your
Yeah.
your boy
Yeah.
Gerard Way wrote that, so now I know who he ripped off.
I also.
Also, Stan Lee and the X-Men.
Actually, he did that first. He did the comic first, I think.
Yeah, Stan Lee did it first.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
In
when it comes to
1963.
that, yeah.
But that's cool. You know,
Um, But I
homages.
mean, before the movie,
you
I
know,
think.
the sincerest
Oh,
one.
maybe. I think he did the comic book before the movie. I'm not
Was
sure.
it? Yeah, he did the comic book first, but
Yeah.
but the show was the show on Netflix. But was the movie like good? Tim Burton esque?
I think so.
Has his people in it, so I
Yeah,
would imagine
and you
so.
know,
General
they're
Zod.
out to like I think like Double A said like they're out to kind of eliminate those kids that have those things because they are abnormal, you know, and so that's where Samuel L. Jackson comes in because he's the bad guy or whatever. And there's like
Damn
these
it,
fucking
Samuel.
monsters, and I thought it was cool. Like you guys should really check it out. Just
Mutant
at least
and
one
proud.
time. Kello actually has a shirt that says that.
Mutant and proud. I like that. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I would recommend watch one time so that you can at least see and feel it. And
Would
then-
you own a copy?
Yeah,
need?
I would.
You would. Okay.
Yeah, I
all
would.
right. All right. All right. Very cool. Okay.
Roxanne said seriously about the Halloween Easter.
Roxanne, you know you want to.
She says she still wants to do a Jaws party. I'm there.
I'm there.
Will
there be blood?
She doesn't like her as Lois, but she is beautiful.
we're gonna do a There Will Be Blood party. I'm there for that.
Oh.
Man.
A little bowling in a bowling alley. Dole, come on, Dole. Think about it.
I like that movie, but damn.
Your brother would be there. He'd be.
Oh, man. He'd be dressed up like Daniel Plainview.
I'm an oil man. I've always been an oil man.
Yep.
Let's do an episode on
Yeah,
that.
especially when he gets drunk. Golly. Roxanne said, I wanted to watch it, but missed it at the theater. I'm guessing that's at Mrs. Peregrine.
Mrs. Peregrine, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and apparently you can watch it right now. It says,
And then Jeremy chimes in, what about a Ghostface party?
there you go.
Okay, well, we have to watch Halloween while we're having a Ghostface party.
Well, I think he's talking about Scream Ghost.
No, I know, but they're
right.
watching
Oh, they're watching Halloween. That's
remember?
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. See,
You
look
know,
at
got
I-
you, Jeremy.
I
I
never
got
seen-
you. Oh, Roxanne says, I drink your milkshake. There
I
you go,
drink
Roxanne.
your
Damn.
milkshake. I drink it up. All right, so that was in 2016. Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It says that you can look at it on ABC.com. I thought it's on somewhere right now. I think it might be on HBO.
It
or
may be on
Netflix.
HBO
I just
Max.
saw it because I was gonna watch it for
Oh.
this, but I didn't get my opportunity.
I think it's interesting. I think.
Okay, I mean, I'd give it.
I
A
mean,
shot.
it's Heroes, it's Tim Burton, and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
I like
Kinda
him in
can't go
Kingsman.
wrong.
Yeah, I like him in the Kingsman. He was fucking funny in that movie.
anything that you copy from
Stan,
X-Men and Stan
Jack.
Lee is gonna
Wow.
be good.
Yeah.
So the last thing that shows up on Burton's filmography on IMDb, again, is what we're using, is the 2019 live action remake of Dumbo.
Oh, yeah.
Where do we stand on that? I don't think that none of us have seen.
I've never seen it
his
because
version.
my brother, boy, saw it for some reason. I think he got into it because it was Tim Burton and Michael Keaton.
That's a shocker.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Michael Keaton was in it.
Yes, he's in the movie. So it's
Okay.
it was
Okay.
cool because it was like them two got back together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long he's in the movie, but he's in there.
Yeah.
And I think even Danny DeVito's in the movie too.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
plays
it is.
like
isn't it? Eva
So-
Green is back.
a ringleader or
Uh,
something in the circus.
According to his review, it was a little long.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think he really enjoyed it. And I think he really wanted to enjoy it because it was Tim Burton and Michael Keaton.
But it's also Dumbo, and we've never been like.
And that's
"Ooh,
what I'm
Dumbo."
saying. Yeah, I guess he thought it was going to be kind of something different.
I
And
feel
At
like
some
Dumbo
point, there'll be a
supposed to
flying elephant in
yeah,
there.
I feel like Dumbo was
And I
like
think
a sad story.
it's Colin
but I
Farrell
don't
in the
know.
movie.
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
He's the one that's got top billing, whatever. And his first name in the movie is Holt.
Hey,
So that's something for
Hey.
Hey,
the
what's
Holt
up,
out there.
Donna?
But how about this? The modern penguin with the original. Well, not the
Yeah.
original, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
modern era
For the
original
movies,
Batman. Yeah. So that's interesting. So the Batman and Penguin are together in this. Oh, that Batman and both penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. And Eva Green. And Alan Arkin comes back,
Ah,
reunites
Alan
from
Arkin.
the Edward Scissorhand days. Who else do we got here?
Roxanne says, I haven't seen any of the new live action Disney movies.
Mm.
Which one do you think she would like? Because Beauty and the Beast was really good. That one was a good one.
with the Emma Watson. one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was a
like
good
Beauty and the
one.
Beast.
Oh, Michael Buffer comes out.
I
what's up?
started watching the Lion King one, but I didn't get to
I haven't got
get
through
all
that
the way
one.
through.
What that mean Sabrina saw?
What else is a live action?
Like, we love Alice in Wonderland. We
Mulan.
love.
Yeah, did you do Mulan?
Oh yeah, the Mulan.
She thought it was okay.
I-
Sabrina
I-
wasn't a big fan
It
of
took out. It didn't have
It took
like.
out the big parts, right?
Yeah,
That-
like it
that
took out
made
some
the
parts,
movie that-
and then it also didn't have.
There's no Eddie Murphy dragon, right?
Yeah, they didn't have Mushu, so I was kind of like.
Mushu.
But it was still good. It was still good.
I
but-
caught some serious Z's to some of these live action Disney
Wow.
ones. Yeah.
we
I don't want to
love,
tell you what I did.
we love
Beauty
the
and
Jungle
Beast.
Book. We love the Jungle Book.
Oh,
We did like that one a lot.
I don't think I watched the Jungle Book.
We like that one
the
a
live
lot.
action one. And I definitely didn't see the Dumbo one. So
Yeah.
Dumbo was never one of my favorite Disney characters to begin with. I don't even think I've seen
I think this might be
animated
Roxanne. I'm
one.
not too sure, but she said if it is you, Roxanne. I mean, if it's not, I'm sorry. Dumbo is too depressing, and that's a big.
I do remember that
Dumbo
in the
is too depressing.
hence on the too depressing.
Yeah.
I do remember that, even though I haven't seen the original Disney
Christopher
one.
Hernandez comes in. Jungle Book walking as
King Louis.
As King Louis.
Very nice. What up,
Okay,
Chris?
so-
Appreciate you being here, brother.
So Christopher Walken as King Louis.
I dig that.
Is that
Was
who plays
it?
him? I'm
I don't
sorry.
know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I have to look up the Jungle Book
I didn't see the
version.
Jungle Book version.
Because I remember
In fact, I call him
Bill
by
Murray, I
proper
think, is
name.
Baloo.
Yeah, it's me, Roxy.
Let's see. Jungle Book, the live action. I'm going to pull it up real quick here. The last thing that you see on Burton's filmography after that is...
Oh, so he still had more.
Well, it's done, but it says upcoming projects. And the two things it mentions is the Wednesday show, right? That we all talked about.
Oh, Maleficent, we like that one. Aladdin, we like that one. Cinderella, we did like that one too.
Which is the Cinderella one?
Cinderella is with Rob Stark. That one's actually really good.
Oh, damn! Did I see that one?
And
But you were right about the other two. I saw the first two.
Yeah. And then
Aladdin. I liked Aladdin because
we liked that one a lot.
Will
Like,
Smith.
Will Smith was great in that
Oh,
one.
that's right. He was
And
the genie.
then what was the one you said for that?
Maleficent.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we loved Maleficent too.
Both of them.
We thought that was really cool.
Oh, there's also the Snow White and the Huntsman.
That's right, and I did like that one too.
Yeah, I liked those two.
Yeah,
I liked Chris.
I didn't like the second one too much.
The second one
when it
with
was just
Chris?
about it was just all about Thor, the Huntsman character.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Let's hear this cast real quick, guys. I didn't know this. The live action Jungle Book. Baloo, Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Bagheera, Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Shere Khan
Was
Bagheera, sorry.
Doctor Strange, right?
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, son of a bitch.
Idris is good.
Yeah, I love that dude.
He's awesome.
Raksha?
Was he?
Raksha? R-A-K. Raja.
No.
Raja? Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh,
No.
Scarlett Johansson is
Scarlett
the
Johansson
snake.
is Ka.
Yes, and her voice is really great. In that one.
Giancarlo Esposito as Aquila.
Giancarlo.
Christopher Walken is King Louis.
Oh, okay, so he was right.
Yeah,
For
Gary
Christopher.
Shanling. Rest in peace.
Oh man,
Now I kind of want to watch it because I
it's good.
do like
I
the
think
Jungle
you'll
Book.
like
I
it.
think I need
I
to
think you'll
watch
like
it.
it.
It's good.
I have the Jungle Book Disney
We
animated
loved
one.
it. It's a little long, but we loved it.
But I would
Okay,
watch
I'm in. Like, this is selling me on the cast alone. John Favreau, and it looks like two other people with the last name Favreau, Max and Brighton Rose. I'm wondering if those are his kids. The Favreau and his kids all do some
I love him,
voice
so-
work in there.
Excuse me.
Sam Raimi does voice work in there.
Hey,
Russell Peters, famous comedian. If y'all don't know Russell Peters. Someone named Madeline Favreau. I'm wondering if that's another relation to the Favreau family,
I
obviously.
mean they've done some really good live action stuff.
Yeah, they have.
know,
I
I
really
mean-
wanted to finish the Lion King one because I was liking it.
I do know that James Earl Jones did do the voice of,
And then-
of Fossil.
And then I know Tom Hanks is doing a live action of Pinocchio.
Really?
Yes, he's going to be
Oh.
Geppetto.
Oh, this is getting
The
everybody
dad.
up in
Yeah.
there. Right? Yeah. So
Pinocchio, you're
they're
right.
going strong on.
And we
on
just saw that
those.
one. Me and Sabrina, that was the first time she ever saw
You saw the
the
animated
cartoon.
version.
Yeah, because I always remember, man, the whale scene was pretty fucking scary when I saw it like in the first grade. I was like, holy fuck, that
I haven't
whale's
seen
mean.
that.
I always
one
dig that
probably a
animation,
long
like
time
the
now.
waves and the water looks. So
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. So, yeah, I mean, his body of work is really varied. I mean, from
Yeah.
movies like Big Fish to like Ed Wood to Mars Attacks to Batman to Beetlejuice to Pee Wee Herman to Alice in Wonderland, you know.
it
kind
looks
of-
like you said, Double A. Early on, he had like hit. Then they just trusted him, and they gave him everything
yeah.
big that might have been like creepy or
Mhm.
weird. Or like he's the name that comes to mind. He is definitely on my list, probably of favorite directors. Maybe a top 10. He might be in
Yeah,
my
I
top
mean-
10. Would you put him in your top 10?
Yes,
Double A, favorite
yes, for sure.
directors?
Because I like too many of his damn movies.
There's so
Like,
many, and there's
it's like I told you, it's like when I saw like the Scorsese filmography, I was like, man, I've damn near seen a shitload of his movies.
Mhm.
Francis Ford Coppola is like another one I've seen a shitload. Tim Burton for sure. I've seen most of those damn movies, you know.
Yeah.
So even if they're like flops, I'm watching them and I'm enjoying them.
You know what I love when we do this type of episode, Double A, is that we end up doing too is we end up walking away with one or two things that we haven't seen that we're like, we said enough that I'd go watch it. Like I think you've convinced Amy to watch Ed Wood. You've convinced me to watch it. I would watch it.
I think maybe you would probably like it more.
Yeah,
probably than Amy.
That's
would.
my vibe. You know what I mean?
You just kind of had to get into it because Ed Wood really was just a weird fucking dude.
Yeah.
So.
But how did the movie play though? Like a good expose on that? Because I really loved. We compared it to the Tommy Wiseau, and I liked the movie they did with him. What was it called?
Oh my goodness.
With Franco.
Yes.
It was fucking hilarious, man. The Disaster Artist.
Yes.
It was so funny, and I was like, this is a really funny movie. I would watch it again and again. So
yeah, and like I said, I think Seinfeld even has a damn episode where he's like really trying to get them to watch Plan 9. Like he really doesn't want to fucking miss it. I think something happens that he does miss it. I forgot. I think Elaine does something, but they're trying to watch Plan 9. It's like considered the worst movie ever directed.
I didn't see that.
I'm not gonna watch that movie. I don't care how much of a cult movie it is. I'm not fucking watching that movie.
Plan 9.
It looks like garbage. Plan 9 from outer space. I'm telling you, once you see the movie, like the Tim Burton one, you'll see where he's just trying to put a film together, and he's literally putting a fucking film together,
whatever,
just using like fucking pieces that don't fit. It's weird. It's just fucking. It's like, what the fuck?
What me and Double A were saying, sis, is that like, despite the fact that we haven't seen this man's entire body of work, we still regard him as one of our favorite directors. And that we also, what I said, what's fun about these is like, even when we did with Scorsese, it's like we walk away with stuff like, oh, I would watch that, like, although I have not still yet watched some of the things, but like I still want to see like Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah, like when we're getting ready for that one, so I saw King of New York, which is still a really good one
too. I want to see.
You really need to see it because when you see you'll see how much of an inspiration it is for the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix one.
Right.
That's a big time influence.
I like that. I like that movie.
Yeah, and then Last Temptation of Christ, when you do have time to see it because it's really cool because even says Scorsese even puts it's not from the Psalms, it's not from anywhere. This is the point of view from him being a man.
Right.
And just him being scared of dying.
Right.
So it was a really great look. It was a really, really good look. I know the Christians hate that fucking movie, but it was a cool look for it.
No, absolutely. And for film, that's what it is. It's art. So we were saying that we were leaving with things from Tim Burton's catalog we want to watch. Like we mentioned Ed Wood. We talked about that when you walked in. For I think me and Double A were saying maybe Mrs.
Peregrine.
Mrs. Peregrine's. I think we probably would both give it a watch.
Yeah.
I mean? Especially if it's somewhere to stream, it's on already there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check that out. Like, fuck, it's already there. You know what I mean? So, were there any others?
And then it was like my daughter that kind of like reintroduced me to a lot of them. Like she fell in love with Nightmare. She loves Corpse Bride. Like she does love that one a lot.
And those that we mentioned, I can watch just literally any time. But were there any others just besides Ed Wood that you think that you would go back and say, hey, I haven't seen Ed Wood? Well, would we watch Dumbo? None of us here have seen it.
I might see it just because.
I would watch it.
Like I said, that cast is stellar.
It's based on a classic, so it's like, how bad could it possibly be?
And then, like you said, Big Fish kind of grew more for me because it's like something me and my daughter watched together.
Yeah.
Like, we love that movie, so it's kind of more personal for me now.
Yeah, that's cool, too. And then sometimes you watch something and you're like, what did we say about Nightmare Alley? We were like, you know what? This movie is kind of like, but there's good performances in it. Really good performances. Yeah. You can watch it and be like, man,
like I said, when I started thinking about it, like when I had days to actually think about it, I was kind of like, okay, you know what? I think this movie kind of grew on me.
Yeah. But it almost gets on that list of like, I don't need to watch it all the time.
I don't need to watch it again. But from where originally I was like maybe a 5 out of 10, it kind of grew maybe like 6.5 for me.
Okay.
Where I was kind of like, you know what? This was a really good story. This was a good Guillermo del Toro kind of like fucked up movie. And I think it's really the ending that kind of like just like really steals it for me. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. It pushed it up a little bit more.
I would love to do a Guillermo del Toro episode like this. You know what I mean, when we talk about that. But okay, well, before we go, guys, because we're already at like 3 hours.
Damn.
But I do want to get some a little bit of feedback from you guys. If you're ready, either one of you. I'm going to ask you. I did give you a little bit of prep, but I'll start with our guest, Untamable Amy in the house. We all know Mount Rushmore. We've done Mount Rushmore episodes on this show. Our Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
And guys, for you too, whoever's still out there, what would your Mount Rushmore of Tim Burton movies be?
That's what I want to hear. It says, what would be your Mount Rushmore? The way that we have, in South Dakota, the presidents. We've got Lincoln. We've got Roosevelt. We've got Washington. And we've got Is it Jefferson?
Yes,
Fuck
it's
it up.
Washington,
I don't
Jefferson,
know,
Lincoln,
but
and
shit.
Roosevelt.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is. So you've got the what they consider the four
At that
four
time,
of the
yes.
greatest presidents
Yeah.
at the time. So now, who would you? What films of Tim Burton's would you put on your Mount Rushmore?
That had to be
films?
essential watching, I guess.
Yeah, well, definitely Nightmare Before Christmas is my number one.
Oh, nice.
That's
And
nice.
then,
Nice.
you know, it was really tough between Beetlejuice and Edward, but Beetlejuice is second,
Mm-hmm.
and then Edward would be third. And I kind of struggled a little bit with the fourth one because although I love all the other movies, it was hard to put it in. Like, it might just be that 3, but
Well, it doesn't need to be in order. They just need to
So-
all be the four faces
no,
that would
yeah.
be on
So
your.
I put Batman Returns because
Oh,
Oh,
I really,
that's
nice.
because I really
cool.
love
And that one's
Catwoman.
probably more
Yeah.
Tim Burton-ish.
Yeah,
I really
it
love
really is.
Catwoman in that one.
There's a lot of big moments in that movie that are like, this is so Tim Burton. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Red Triangle, the circus gang, essentially. You know what I mean? Like them, the big duck, the fucking penguins with the rockets on their back. That's
Yeah,
very,
no, I really like that one, just the way that everything looked and the feel of it. And I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't remember every single detail, but the way it looked, you know, like it was
it's a great
Christmas
looking
time,
movie.
so it's
Yeah.
like it's snowing,
Yeah.
and like it
Even the
just-
ending's kind of like happy too, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
really just
I love that. You know, good peace towards goodwill, peace on earth, the goodwill towards.
Yeah. And then he even
Edward,
says
man.
Merry Christmas. I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah, Merry Christmas, yeah.
I really love just the way that Catwoman really looked in that one, the way she acted and the way that she sounded and the way that she made her own costume. And,
Yeah.
you know, she was. Just
You got her
badass.
sign, right? You get her hell here. The
yeah,
hello
that's
there.
right,
Where
yeah.
she smashes out the O, smashes out
Yeah.
the T, and say hell here.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's I think that might be my Mount Rushmore because
So,
although
really
I
good.
love
So we had which four again? Give me the four.
Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, and then Batman Returns.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Double A, do you have yours ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, and I put Alice in Wonderland.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
All right.
'Cause,
Interesting. Cool.
It actually was the first movie that started all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like the original starting
The
at
live action.
The live action.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then Batman, I mean, just
Wait, what do you mean? How the live action starting?
Because
What?
it started like Disney
Oh,
moving.
the live action
Yeah.
movies. Oh, that's very
Yeah,
important. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is
Yeah.
true. So mine was not hard except for the fourth one, which I went back and forth only between two. So this is what it was. But my Mount Rushmore of Tim Burton movies was right away. The first one is Beetlejuice. The very second one was Nightmare Before Christmas. It's shit. My mind is blank. Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands was the third one, and then I went back and forth between two because I was like, it's either 89 Batman because it's a comic book movie and kind of the comic book movie like this, the Superman of our generation because it set it off.
Yeah.
Or it was going to be what my introduction to Tim Burton was, which was, you know, Pee-wee's Big Adventure because I
Okay.
watched that so many times.
Yeah, I want to say that's probably up there for you.
So I really was like torn or whatever between those two. If I could have five, they'd both be on there. But because I can only have four, I will go with Batman. 89,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because
What was your number one?
Well, again, they're all up there, so there's not like
Yeah.
a ranking. But the first one is it's just Beetlejuice outright.
Oh, yeah.
It's Beetlejuice wasn't on yours, right?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah,
second.
that was on there.
He was
Yeah,
second.
we had a lot of similar ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like
I think we all have Beetlejuice for sure.
yeah, it's just too. It might be his masterpiece.
Jeremy in the house says Sleepy Hollow, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice, and Nightmare. So completely
Okay.
left out
all
Batman.
right, I like that. That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Sleepy Hollow is dope.
I
as
need a
fuck.
rewatch.
And it's
on
a different,
Batman.
but it's a different perspective though. Jeremy
Yeah.
grew up in a different time than
Right,
we did.
True.
So
right.
for
That's
him,
true.
Sleepy Hollow, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice, Nightmare. So
And
yeah.
we had the gentleman from 2 weeks ago on our Batman episode from Let's Talk Geek for a sec, Nene and
Brandon or
Brandon.
Nene?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are of the Christian Bale era. So
Yeah.
that's their Batman. Although they were very
Yeah, they knew, they watched it just like we do.
well, it's
you know?
different when you grow up a little bit, right? Because look at what Amy said. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, she's close to your age, whatever. But even though Toby's who she grew up with Spider-Man, she's like, I'm all in on
And
Holland.
that's fine. And that's what I was trying
Yeah.
to tell, like Brandon and Nene, they're comic book fans, so
Right.
they've seen them.
Yes.
Yeah, and so for them, it's probably the Bell movies are probably better ones than
Mhm.
than the other ones. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roxanne came in. She goes, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands. I guess. Oh well. Okay, I think she's
Jack
wrecking the
Skellington.
characters.
Oh, okay.
Jack
The Mount
Skellington.
Rushmore of his characters.
We were saying
Beetlejuice.
movie wise, Rocksmith. That's
That's awesome.
that's a
No, I
great,
didn't even think about character wise.
character-wise, yeah.
Because I mean, man, Jack Skellington and Beetlejuice have to be
on the
two of the
top.
most iconic
absolutely.
now.
That would be like way too
horror.
tough for me because
I'd still
Hollywood.
put Edward on there. So
And
he'd still
Edward
be on
Scissorhands,
mine. So I'd
yeah.
put those three. You know what I mean?
And then what the fourth
I'll
one
need a
be?
fourth.
Would it be Batman?
Uh,
I mean,
if
I
I
mean-
was gonna do it that way, character wise, shit, that's hard. That's different.
it might have to be Batman. With
No,
them?
because that's not his character.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, his
You
Batman,
know what?
His
I'm
Batman
gonna-
is different than.
Well, I'm gonna put Lydia on there on the other.
Hey,
I'll put
that was
Lydia
pretty
on
good.
there. Lydia's a good
Yeah,
one.
Lydia would be.
Yeah.
she's like
Really
my
good.
heart.
And you know what? I was thinking that, and I was like, you know what? It could be Sally too, though. It could be Lydia or
Ooh,
Sally.
well,
See, one of my
when you
favorite
see Nightmare,
characters-
when you see Nightmare, what do you think, Jack or Sally?
Well, although I love Sally, Jack was like my
Jack,
favorite.
yeah.
But
But
I adore Sally. I
My
like that
favorite
my
character.
daughter
character-
does too.
Yeah.
I think my favorite character is Zero.
She's the moral compass. She's trying to set him right. He's
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
but
lost.
she's still trying to kill the fucking scientist too.
Well, I think she's just trying to escape him. I
I
don't know.
know,
what she wants
but
to
golly, all this stuff that she tries.
Well, yeah, you see how he's all
Do,
possessed.
do you know who his
Well, he
voice
built
is?
her.
I know.
I looked up who his
Oh,
voice
it's the
was.
dude from the old man from My Blue Heaven.
Yeah, who's also from the Tales from the Dark Side of the movie
And
with the
Tales from the-
cat.
the
or
cat,
The cat's like
yes.
crawling in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd know him from, but if you see, you're like,
Dirty
oh,
Red.
yeah, you're like, oh, that old man. You're like,
Have you ever seen Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, National Lampoon.
Uncle Louie, the one with the
oh
toupee.
god, that's right. The
Well, he blows
The
up the
old man.
tree.
The-
Yeah,
oh
where he
my
blows
God.
up.
the tree.
That's him.
That's the voice of the scientist.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
poisoned my soup again. Frog's breath. I'm like, I was
So
like,
Jeremy says,
fuck
"Man,
this old
Toby
man."
will always be my Spider-Man."
All right,
Hey,
Jeremy.
right on, Jeremy. See, because even though that's
that's
past
fine,
the time,
'cause-
that's who you started. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably what your folks put on, or your teacher showed in class because it was like it already been out a while. Like, you watch that Spider-Man,
Yeah, but I mean, I get what Amy's saying though. I mean, Tom Holland is,
Well, sometimes someone does it better, so it just is better.
Yeah,
I just
because-
thought Toby was like too nerdy.
no, I get it because
Tom
like-
won me over in Civil War. Where I was
and,
like,
and you know what? He does get annoying, and then I remember, well, yeah, Spider-Man is supposed to be
Annoying.
an
Yeah.
annoying teenager that talks shit.
even
you
in
know?
the new Avengers comics, AA, when they write him like he's an Avenger now, like they still write him like annoying, like he's bothering everybody.
yeah,
Like,
so I was kind of
what about
like,
this?
so I was kind of like, oh yeah.
See, he's to me like the Deadpool. Before, like we don't need Deadpool. We already had comic relief. Like it's like it was like we've got C-3PO, but then you add Jar Jar. I'm like, you're doing too much now. We already got this part covered. Like
No, but it makes sense for I mean, yeah, there's so many people that just fell in love with Tom Holland.
Mhm.
It just, I mean,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, yeah, he's like the perfect.
I just think
Spider-Man.
about like who would you rather see cry? Because Tom Holland's cry was emotional for me.
fuck man, that shit.
But
I don't know about that.
Toby's always like, oh, just stop crying. You look ugly.
She just likes his face on the train when he's like. "Ah."
Yeah, he's so high right there.
I'm like, ooh. No, but there are Spider-Man stories that if you knew those
It
stories,
fits.
you'd be
Yeah,
like that. We
okay.
need like that.
Because I know he is like he's in high school and he is nerdy and he's smart.
Yeah, but there's certain Spider-Man stories where he's like a man already, and you're like, you're not gonna put Tom in that movie because you're like,
He's
you're
young,
not,
yeah.
you don't look, you're not like, you're like a
Like when I
beefed-up
did
guy.
see him in the most recent Spider-Man movie, I was kind of like, oh, like he looks like a man now. Like he's
No, he's getting up there a little bit.
Yeah,
but yeah, but
you know.
he's not getting any taller though. You know what I mean?
It doesn't seem like that.
When you're done, you're
I
done.
think he's done. Yeah.
Jeremy says, I will give Tom his props. He's my second favorite, although Andrew Garfield doesn't get enough credit.
I did like Andrew
See, this
Garfield.
is where I think Jeremy would have liked maybe Andrew more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely new respect out of No Way Home for sure.
Like I said, there's so many good moments in Amazing Spider-Man. Like I said, that franchise has the best Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
By far.
And you're the one that convinced me that it by far has the best love story.
Yeah.
And I was like,
where
when-
they're actually
when-
in love.
when you put that in my mind, I thought about it and I was like, it's like by leaps and bounds
Yeah.
that love story is
Way better than the Tom Holland
Yeah.
one and the Toby
and
one.
a really underrated Aunt May and Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
Really,
Sally Field and Martin Sheen. Yeah.
Two actors whose acting does not slack at all.
Yeah.
So they're fantastic. They're fantastic in that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Martin Sheen. Yeah. Especially the scene when he goes to the roof and they throw him off the top.
Because like
Wait a minute, that's the Departed.
Because like the thing with Spider-Man is like he does get in relationships. He's not afraid that somebody's gonna figure out his fucking identity. He's still a guy.
Yeah.
So he's dated like so many women. He's dated Betty. He's dated Mary Jane. He's dated Felicia.
Becky.
He's dated Gwen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in the Tobey Maguire movies, he's like, oh, I can't be with you. You know, somebody's gonna find out. And then Tom Holland, he's like, I don't know. They make MJ like
I like that aspect of it. Like,
but
she's
still,
like,
it's like Peter doesn't actually have problems with women.
It's funny that you're right, Double. The Tom Holland.
Little nerdy boy.
The Tom Holland version though felt a lot like Invincible, where she's like, "Oh, I knew for weeks, man. I was just waiting for you to be like." And I was like, I remember thinking of that character in Invincible. Like, I was like, "What a bitch you are!" Like, I'm like, I want to see him with what's his name, Eve or whatever. Because I'm like,
yeah,
you
like
suck.
Andrew Garfield like promises Gwen's dad, like, yeah, I'm not gonna go out with her, and like on his deathbed.
Yeah, but he can't resist.
But then, yeah, he's like, you know, sometimes promises are meant to be broken.
Oh, that's because Emma Stone is hot, and when you look at Kirsten Dunst, you're like, no, thank you.
And she was just so much better. I think has still been the best love interest.
You know what? I'll take Anne Hathaway over Kirsten any day.
Kirsten Dunst makes me want to tuck my stuff in and dance around like Buffalo Bill.
Fuck.
I'm like, fuck.
No, but Emma by far is like so much better as a love interest than Zendaya and Kirsten Dunst.
This concludes our Spider-Man episode again.
Hey, it's freeform now.
Fact, I know, right? We're freeform right now. We're freestyling over here, guys. No, but we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's 3:08, 3 hours and 8 minutes here, guys. Guys, final thoughts on Tim Burton. Turn it over to our guest, quick. Untamable Amy.
I love Tim Burton. He's one of my favorite.
I don't know a bigger Tim Burton fan than.
I love everything about him. I mean, it would be a dream come true if I could meet him and just shake his hand and get his autograph.
What would you ask him? What would you say to Tim Burton if you could meet him?
I don't know. Maybe like, what was your favorite film that you worked on, or are you?
What movie would you think?
Yeah, like I don't even know. Like I would probably be fucking too starstruck.
Yeah. I would say like do some of your stories have? Is there more to them? Like, is there more
like
to, the Room of Souls? Like there's so much stuff.
He's
I'm
like,
I
guess we'll never know.
What the fuck? Like, I need to know. Like, I'm like, I want to know. Like,
he's like a magician. You can't give away his.
Yeah, like why do you think there's sandworms on Saturn? Like, why do you think that? That's fucking weird. Like,
he's like, I don't know. I just thought of that.
I think that's cool. Like he thinks and creates like a little kid draws. Like
I would love to see everything.
Jeremy puts in caps. I love him.
Yeah,
Gothic style has always been my favorite. Damn, Jeremy, all right.
And although he's not that attractive, I'm extremely attracted to him because he's so not attractive.
Yeah,
and it's funny because I think he gets his look from Robert Smith.
Yeah, I would say that too. And he was kind of tapped to be a part of the Nicolas Cage Superman at some point, right? Like they had well, no, it was Kevin Smith, but I think they had wanted to get his input,
Burton, right?
Yeah, they had wanted to get his input because he had done Batman successfully.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, look up that Nicolas Cage in the Superman costume images.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That'll put you off of Nicolas Cage.
It's interesting, yeah.
What about you, Double A? What are your thoughts? Did you feel like
no, I mean, y'all know.
Did you love on him enough?
Y'all both know I love him.
I hope he'll see this.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of him that I was a big fan of comic book movies. You know what I mean? The Batman movies, like, golly, that was like the standard.
Yeah.
Like he brought it to
long.
life.
Yeah. You know, that one in the Superman movie, I always thought was like the most perfect movies, comic book movies, you know, until Marvel finally took over.
Yeah.
You know, but for a long time, I was like Superman and Batman. I was like, man, those two are the fucking best movies ever.
That's all we had at that time.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I love Ed Wood. I love Mars Attacks. I love Sleepy Hollow, you know, the Beetlejuice, you know, all those movies. So, yeah.
Okay.
And it's cool when you have a guy that has a style. And you can see it.
I know. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, it's like, man, that's your thing.
That's your movie.
Yeah. So
me and you are huge fans of Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
we do not have that without Tim Burton's Batman.
No, because I think even they use Danny Elfman.
Yeah, his music.
Yeah.
But it has to be Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah.
Because even the look and feel of the animated series is, you're like, what fucking era is this? The cars are old. There's blimps. There's like the cops are dressed like this.
And they said Michael Keaton was the first one that changed his voice.
Interesting.
And they
That's
said
what
that's where Kevin Conroy
did.
got it to make a Bruce Wayne voice and a Batman voice.
And Kevin Conroy is regarded by many, when you talk about all Batmans, whether in any incarnation of animated or live action, they regard sometimes Kevin Conroy as the absolute best Batman.
Yeah.
That series is absolutely fantastic, but it does not exist without the version of Batman that Tim Burton created, which is that gothic style, that dark, that weird, that and even you could say even his Joker, Mark Hamill's Joker, although he's mentioned many of his influences, it's like there's definitely got to be influenced some part by the Jack Nicholson version of that Joker.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's great. If it gave us that series,
it's great. If you've seen Mask of the Phantasm, right? The origin story of Joker is the same thing like the Batman.
Is that right?
He's a gangster.
I don't remember specifically.
He's a gangster in that one. Yeah.
But even the penguin in that too. He's got the He's kind of looks like that. He's a little bit more refined.
Yes, he is.
But he's still like kind of Oswald Cobblepot from the Batman Returns. Excuse me. So I mean, I definitely agree with that. If it birthed that for us, that alone is a reason enough to love the man and his body of work.
Roxanne says, I saw Batman 89 in the theater when it first came out, stood in line for a long time.
But it was worth it.
And then Jeremy says, but Wes Craven is always number one.
And there you go.
Last
That's all right.
sidetrack.
Yeah.
Wes Craven. Okay.
No need to keep Wes out of
Wes
the conversation.
Craven's a good director, but he has like very few.
Mm-hmm.
You know what though? But you can kind of say the same about
movies. Two huge movies that he did.
Yeah.
Nightmare and Scream.
But also too, like I could if I was gonna argue with that, I would say you could say something about Coppola.
The Godfather movies, the Dracula movies, Outsiders.
Yeah, but 3 is considered bad, and I love the Dracula movie, but is it regarded as like, I mean, it's visually striking. Yeah, and it is visually like it's just good to look at. So so I would say Godfather 1 and 2, Dracula. Yeah, Outsiders. All right,
because Outsiders,
but it's still kind of small.
It's a small
big
movie,
name.
but it's gotten so much bigger.
But what I mean though is, like, here's a guy with kind of a small filmography, but he has a big name. Coppola, his name is up there. Whatever. You could say the same about
Lucas.
We're talking about Wes Craven or Carpenter.
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven. Yeah.
No, not John Carpenter.
Yeah.
No, not him.
That
guy has too much of a big resume.
That's what I say. It's like a big resume. Yeah,
huge.
You don't think Wes's resume is?
Well, because like Wes Craven has like no disrespect, I love it, but he's got like The Hills Have Eyes, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, Scream, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Fuck yes.
And there's not. I mean,
sorry,
I can't think.
No.
I can't think of too many others.
But damn, Scream and Nightmare.
Oh yeah, the two big ones.
That's big.
So it kind of reset the horror genre in that, and then Scream just like really crushed it in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. Like that's another thing too. It's like, the filmography may not be strong, but you have two like majors because those two. I mean, Freddy and Ghostface are like considered like
big
heavy hitters.
Icons. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's like those are like our new monsters from like the old Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula. Now you've got these new guys, so that's an interesting pool, Jeremy. I do like that.
Jeremy says, of course I'm biased because Scream is my favorite series.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, no doubt. I mean that's we're all in that way sometimes, for sure. Like Tarantino could almost do no wrong to me. You know what I mean? So,
Hateful Eight.
Yeah. Huh?
Hateful Eight.
Yeah, I haven't yet to revisit. It's on my list to revisit, but almost no wrong. So yeah. For me, final thoughts on Tim Burton. I just adore the guy as a creative mind. He seems
very
to
creative.
still have it. I'm ashamed of the ones I did miss because I'm like, man, why didn't I watch this guy's like all of his work or whatever? But maybe the vibe of the movie didn't feel like his other vibes. Like it didn't feel Beetlejuice-ish. But the ones that are up there, again, it's like, my Mount Rushmore. I could watch it over and over and over again. And again, if you include even my fifth one that my dark horse, my runner up, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I can
Right.
watch that one over and over.
I
And
know
I
you're
did.
gonna put that in your
And I
four.
did. Yeah, it would have been up there, but I just think Batman had a little bit more influence on
Okay.
where I am.
Well, I thought you would
and
have
who I
took
am
something
today.
else on. So
Yeah, and really, you know what? I gave it a lot of credit for it. No, because Beetlejuice and Nightmare are really up there for me. Those are
Yeah.
like
Okay.
high on my rewatch
okay.
and quote and like I sing
Songs.
I sing Nightmare songs at karaoke, in the
Damn.
shower,
Damn.
like whenever I can.
Damn.
If you guys read the write up for this episode that I wrote today, it's like the whole write up. I just ripped it off of the Jack's Lament song or whatever. So, it's musically in a sense because there's several songs in it, and I'm like, if fuck that, I don't care. I love it, and I don't like musicals, but if that one's considered a musical, by all means, like like literally, I listened to that album I told you about. That's the redo on the songs. I love it. I don't know as much as Amy, but like maybe close. But it just that's not the first thing people associate me with. They think about a lot of other
Yeah.
shit. So, but I absolutely love it. So yeah, I wouldn't take either one of those out, Beetlejuice or Nightmare. And Edward Scissorhands just is like a really like I don't know. I really do love it. I have a special. I do own a copy. Like these are the ones like I own a copy of. You know what I mean? So, but it really did come down between two Batman and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and it was a split only because, like I said, one was my first Tim Burton movie. The other one was like my first Tim Burton movie that it was like like it's a Tim Burton movie. It's Batman though. His Batman's not his necessarily or whatever. Just like Pee-wee wasn't his, but they still feel like they have his stamp
Yeah,
on them.
Yeah.
because people always say the Burton Batmans.
Mhm. Yeah,
I mean that's how
absolutely.
heavy-hearted that is, heavy-handed that is.
Yeah, you
It's like the
forget that
Burton
it's him.
ones, and they still mention it to this day. Burton ones,
Yeah,
like they all still try to get that darkness from those first two.
yeah.
In the Nolan ones, and even in the Matt Reeves
yeah.
one, I mean, man,
Yeah.
the hallmarks are just there.
That fucking meme that we put up in the group, right, where it was like the dark Batman, and it's like down, and it keeps getting darker.
That's why
So it's like there's nothing.
I told him, I was like, man, I can't even see him by the end of the picture.
Yeah, exactly. But Burton started that all, and I was really, I guess I hadn't watched '89 in a while, but when we watched the other night, the last
that
me
movie
and
is
Amy,
still so good.
I said, oh, it still really
Yeah.
really stands up.
Yeah, because Kevin Smith, I saw some stand-up show that he's doing. He says he fucking hates the Burton one. I don't know. I think them two have had a bad experience together.
Wow.
And he
that's
says he
hurts to
hates
know.
it. Yeah, he says he hates '89 Batman.
Mhm.
He thinks he was like, you don't know anything about Batman, do you?
Mhm.
And that was like his thing. Like he thought it was just trash. So
Okay.
I was like, well,
to each his
perspective.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's funny about it though is that the movie is so iconic that that's what people do
Oh,
know
man,
about.
yeah,
Batman.
and then when you see it, like you said, when you see it again, and you look at Jack Nicholson, you're like, damn, like he's pretty fucking intimidating too as a Joker.
Oh, very much so.
And
yeah.
what a great Joker! I mean, his look was the look of the Joker for so long.
Yeah.
The comb back hair,
Mhm.
the look. His look was the look. for
Dude,
a
like
long
Alex
time.
Ross kind of draws him like
Yeah,
based
it
on
is.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it.
Yeah. I would say this. At that time, I was not a huge DC fan at all. You know what I mean? Like at that time when '89 Batman came out, like my favorite superhero wasn't even Superman at that time. It was probably still like Wolverine.
Spider-Man or Wolverine.
Yeah, Spider-Man or Wolverine, because I was just like a Marvel guy. And it's like, man, like I really got on the Batman boat because of that movie. And I was like, I felt like this is a superhero movie can look cool.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that scene, right? I'm Batman.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that, I mean, all
Yeah.
of it. The videos were coming out on MTV. You know what I mean? Where did
Yeah.
we get those wonderful
Yeah.
toys?
Yeah.
The lines, the way the car looks.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much there that
I mean, that scene, right? That boop,
yeah.
where his face is all like,
Yes.
man.
Imagine, we were watching it, and Amy's son, my nephew was coming in and out of the room, or whatever, and he was whatever he was doing is had in front of his face. He was putting it down, and I could see him like watching it and he'd be watching big parts of it, or whatever. And then it was almost like he didn't want us to know that he was watching, so he'd like go back to whatever he was looking at. But then he'd be like watching it. He was watching in these big, because he was like, "What are y'all watching?" Because I was like, "What are y'all watching?" They're watching. And he knows the characters because he knows what they look like. But then he starts like watching and watching. He's like, what's going
then
on
the
here?
ending, right? I mean, even the ending became so iconic of
Yeah.
him just like standing like on the roof with like the
Oh,
bat
yeah.
signal.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, man, even that became like
dude,
an
Axis
iconic
Chemicals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The mirror,
Yeah.
people talk so much now about Joker laugh. I'm like, his Joker laugh was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here's a guy that's doing it before all this shit is able to be said about it. I'm just gonna go for it. It's brave. It's brave to be like, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna run with it.
And it's cool. And I thought about it too. I was like, man, how cool is it that you had Jack Nicholson do it? It's almost like when Gene Hackman did Lex Luthor. It's kind of like, wow, this guy's like an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have to like, wow, you got Gene Hackman to do like Superman, where it's like so over the top, you know, and then you get Jack Nicholson, who's like a 2-time Oscar winner, who's known for like so much serious shit, and then you get him to play a Joker. It's like, wow, you know? Like his Lex Luthor is always still like number one, and Jack for a long time, was still considered the best Joker.
It's like it makes me sad that we didn't get like Gene Hackman to be like the businessman,
right? Yeah,
that was like, damn, you know what I mean? I always see these images that people like they create, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, you know, like Jerry puts up a lot of them on his new group too, the Totally Rad Arcade, you know, but it's like the Christopher Reeve Superman shaking hands with like the Michael Keaton Batman, and you're like, man, imagine the role we would have got that. It's like, damn, that would have been
the world's finest,
so badass, you know. So yeah, I mean, it was bold, and he did a great job with it, I think. And again, for a person that never read a comic book, and we're just like, I just want to go see this movie because it looks pretty cool or whatever, and I know Batman from Super Friends or whatever, or Adam West. I don't read comic books. That's a badass movie to you. You're like, that was fucking cool or whatever, you know. So it kind of sucks to hear that. I didn't know that about Kevin Smith thinking that he
but I think him and Tim Burton have like a beef.
That might be something else.
I think there was. I think they were working on something together. It might have been the Superman movie.
Interesting.
Because I think he had I think Kevin Smith wrote like an outline for like a Brainiac thing.
That's right.
And I think that's probably where they fucking beefed her.
Yeah. Interesting.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It does suck. Well, I think he's great. I love his work. You know what I mean? I put him in my top directors easily.
Top 10, for sure.
And a outstanding writer as well.
Yeah.
So,
and if not a writer, just a creative genius.
Absolutely. A super creative mind, no doubt. No doubt.
Almost like how we always say with Lucas.
Yeah.
He's great at coming up with ideas. Might not be the best writer, but he's great at coming up with ideas. You know, the Star Wars movies, the Indiana Jones movies, probably the same thing like Tim Burton. Probably doesn't write most of his movies, but he probably gets a lot of the story ideas where the writer's like, okay, I think I know where you're going with this story. Let me start writing it down.
Yeah. And sometimes they may even write for him because
that's what I'm saying.
We know you can execute this, so we're gonna we think Tim Burton. I'm writing with Tim Burton in mind. You know
like he probably writes like a rough draft, and then the writer probably refines it to where he's like, okay.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, great choice, Double A, for our topic tonight, and great job bringing in Amy to talk about that too.
Thank you guys for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always a pleasure.
Anything else we want to say about Tim Burton before we get going?
Just that if you guys haven't watched any of the movies we talked about, you should definitely get on that because highly recommend.
Yeah.
And I'd love to watch the ones that we haven't seen. So.
Same. Any final comments, Double A, there that we got?
Just watch his movies.
Okay, cool. Nothing else in the comments here. I think we got all of those.
Yeah, we did. Thanks, guys. It was great comments.
Yeah, awesome. Man, absolutely. 3:30, a little bit more than I thought we were going to do. But
thanks for whoever stuck with us.
I think it needed to be said for sure, and I hope that people picking it up later on Spotify or YouTube will get to post their comments and let us know what they think about Tim Burton and his films, because we're all three huge fans, and I would say for the most part, pretty close in agreement on what's good and what's not. But for myself, CM Chuck,
Double A,
and
Untamable Amy.
We like to say a little something at the end of every episode of Just Another Friday Night, and that is, guys, just something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish, something that you want to create, whether it be macabre or not. Like Tim Burton, go out and do it. Today's the day. Seize the day. Write that freaky story. Write that weird song. Write that strange movie. He certainly did. You know,
before he became a director.
Yeah, his Frankenweenie in I think '84.
Nightmare.
It was weird. Yeah, definitely weird. So do that and make yourself the next weird guy with crazy hair and a long list of great movies. But to do it, you're going to have to do a lot. You're going to have to spend some time and think outside the box and use all your creativity. Like the great Captain America says, in Endgame, you're going to have to do whatever it takes, guys. And so we like to say at the end of every episode here, seize the day and do whatever it takes. For us here, just another Friday night. It's been just another great Friday night talking about Tim Burton, the demon of Film Street. All right, guys. Good night.